965 on the Jay's Southland Tow Service text line. Video stream will be up and running as well. Some of the chats over there. Make sure you subscribe on YouTube. That way, it just pops right up there. You don't miss any of the shows here on 96.5 The Fan. You said it, though. It is trade deadline day, and it's quiet so far. It's so far very quiet, even across the entire league, let alone in Kansas City, where nothing has happened yet. And there will be, I don't know for Kansas City, there will be other moves made today while we're on the air, probably. I would like one of them to be the Chiefs, but
yes, please.
I think it's very evident to this point with some of the moves that have been happening. So Jalen Phillips, an edge rusher yesterday, gets traded to the Eagles for a third-round pick. Half-season rental, 26 years old, some injury history, but a pretty darn good football player when he's on the field. You know, you see Jermon Jones, a Tennessee Titan, who has been playing really well the last couple weeks. I believe he's got 3.5 sacks, 4 sacks, something like that.
His last 4 games, I think.
Yep. And he goes for, a fifth-round pick or so? I know Fesco was talking about this yesterday with Dusty, that, the Chiefs are going to be kind of cautious with their draft picks here. And I don't disagree, but I feel that way with third and fourth round picks, not with a fifth or sixth round pick. Like, to me, if you tell me I get a rental for a fifth round pick, that to me is not mortgaging your future. No, I don't want to trade I wouldn't have done the Jalen Phillips trade.
For a rental?
Not a third round pick. Not a third round pick.
Yeah. I probably wouldn't have done that one just for that. And I'm wondering if they're stuck where we thought they were going to be stuck last year, or could have stuck themselves last year, but didn't because they were in the middle of a three-peat campaign, which is the roster has some parts that are old enough that you don't want to give up too many draft picks because you need those draft picks to get younger on the defensive line, more talented on the defensive line. Multiple corners will not be under contract at the end of this year, including Jalen Watson, Joshua Williams. You have a year left of Christian Fulton, who you don't want to pay now, or play now, sorry.
Yeah.
So, that version of it. So, there are some roster gaps coming. There's some checks due in the let's get younger, let's draft more players, let's improve the roster department. So I wonder if that's giving you some hesitation yet. I'm here to say, man, you've been to 3 straight Super Bowls. It is worthy giving up a 4th, 5th, 6th, 7th round pick, somewhere in that range. And I would start with 4th. I'm with you, Gold. I probably wouldn't go any higher than that. And improving your defensive line. The Jones one, the most recent Tennessee trade, is a really good example of that's the kind of style of trade you could make a significant difference. Look, I don't know if they're going to swing for a guy like Malik Collins, which I think might be on that higher end. That would still be high on my list.
Day out of Tennessee as well.
Yeah. I think there's a move to be made. I don't think you can look at this defensive line and say, fine. Look, this goes back to the Chris Jones has not been the same Chris Jones. In fairness, George Karlaftis keeps showing up in every advanced number of he has been a very good defensive end. Splash plays, which is an analytic number they use, total sacks, pressures, all the stuff that you want to look at. Karlaftis is not a no-show this season. Kind of everyone else is. Chris Jones isn't a no-show, but by his standard he is, in the sense that, like I think you'd mentioned on Monday, he's not taking over a game. I don't know how you could look at that defensive line and not say, let's help them there. I could see how the secondary could work. I could be talked into the linebackers working. I can find ways for the offensive line, the wide receivers, the running backs, all of it to make some sense. I can't, on paper, parse out, other than if you're just telling me Ashton Gelati and Charles Omenihu are about to get a whole hell of a lot better. And Omenihu's been a second-half player.
Yes.
So I'm not saying that hasn't been the case, but those two guys are going to have to get a lot better if that's your plan.
Yeah, I think anybody expecting a huge splash from the Chiefs is going to be disappointed. I don't know if that was really ever in the cards for Kansas City. That was before the Bills game. No matter the Bills game, what the Bills game did to me is, though, show that they have to get some more depth, though. Even as much as we all would like an edge rusher to come in and be dominant, sure, I don't think that player exists. I think, though, what we saw on Sunday was a defensive line that wore down. And so if you're hoping that Chris Jones still can find it in the big moments later in the year, in a weird way, he's got to play less snaps. And I know you're like, hey, he's making too much money. What do you mean he's playing less snaps? I'm just telling you, late in games, he looks worn down, and he's being asked to play a ton of snaps. And at this point in his career, I think, and the frustration level is very high.
He might be more effective playing less.
I think they need to have another body or two, probably not trained for 2 guys, but another body that can rotate in to keep some of these guys healthy. As we said yesterday, I thought that was what was key for Buffalo, and why Joey Bosa and some of their guys were so effective, is that they got a few extra bodies back just in time for the Chiefs game, and so they weren't asking Bosa to play every single snap, and he was playing the key snaps, third down pass rush type of snaps. And so that is how I see this, moving forward. I think the one trade, if you're asking which one I've seen so far that I'm like, like that one. Like that one would have been the move, and I'm wondering why they weren't. I mean, who knows if they weren't interested? That's not fair to say.
Yeah,
but
we don't know.
Jermon Jones, 28 years old, he's now with the Baltimore Ravens. He gets traded, as we said, from the Titans. By the way, conditional 5th round pick. I think I said 5th, but a conditional 5th round pick that I think can become a 4 if he plays well. But the guy's got 4.5 sacks, as you said, in the last month, and financially, nothing too crazy. He's a rental. He is a rental, but you're talking less than, I think, $5 million or so that he was getting paid the remainder of the season, if not less than 4. So
honestly, I
that
want
was
them
the
getting younger
one.
on the defensive line. So I actually don't kind of mind the rental aspect of it, just as long as the cost, the acquiring cost, is not out of control. Like a 5th round pick, Gold, that's an acquiring cost I can handle. And I understand that, generally speaking, for whatever reason, Brett Veach has been more successful drafting guys rounds 4 through 7 consistently than I would say he has been drafting guys 1 through 3. It's not all whiffs. I don't want to have to go through every single team and point out the things that happen to exist, because this happens all the time. We're like, look and point out all of his misses. Clyde and Felix Anudike-Uzama and the other ones that do exist, and they'll go all the way back to Breland Speaks, which I think really doesn't matter anymore. But
it's so far removed now.
But also, like, that's every GM. Don't make me go through every GM and point out all their misses. There's tons of them. He is just, I would say, he's still not hitting it quite the rate I'd like rounds 1 through 3. Maybe just a little uptick in the success rate. But his work 4 through 7 has been phenomenal.
913-586-7965. If you're Brett Veach, what's the realistic trade? Because, don't tell me you go trade for Myles Garrett. That's not realistic. But what's the player or position you realistically want and think they can still make a trade for by the 3 o'clock deadline? Yeah, I would like a Myles Garrett as well. Okay, it's not going to happen.
Is that what you're saying? Realistic?
Yeah.
I'm not allowed to say Myles Garrett.
You're not. I mean, yeah,
I'm not allowed to say Max Crosby.
Look, you can say whatever you want. I just can't take it seriously. How about that? You can text them whatever you want. I just think we all know that's not happening. So I'll see. I think the other part of the equation here is, and why, if you're Brett Veach, I actually think you have to be cautious with what you give up in a trade, even though I would have done the Jermon Jones trade, is you also have to have the conversation with your defensive coordinator, if we're talking defensive line. As we all know, they traded for somebody last year that just never found the field. Now, that's one time. It doesn't mean he'll never play someone they trade for. But if I'm giving up a 5th round pick, I want to know that you are going to give that guy an opportunity. I'm not saying the first game he gets traded, he's got to have 30% of the snaps. No, it can gradually build up, but I'm not giving up a 5th round pick if you're not playing the guy.
Well, and the truth is, based on that, Gold, you should be rooting for one position over the other, and that's interior defensive line. Yeah. That player right now for the Chiefs is far more likely to get on the field than an edge guy, because first, Spags uses edge guys in a lot of different variety and needs them to have more jobs and do more jobs. So, and he likes using Chanel there. He likes using Minihue and Gelati, and he'd probably like to grow the rookies' playing time. Interior, who's he competing against?
True.
Who's he taking snaps away from? Like, if you trade for an interior defensive lineman, they're borderline an instant starter. Not even an instant rotational guy like a defensive lineman might be, or a defensive edge guy would be, where maybe they would be sprinkled in. An interior guy would, like Calais Campbell, I see mentioned by the text line in multiple spots.
With the Cardinals.
Instant starter. Come on in. Now, look, maybe they're going to convince themselves Jacoby Brissett's going to take them across the finish line.
Yeah,
and what might be the most difficult division in football. So I guess good luck with that. And so, look, they got to win. They deserve credit. They're going back to Kyler Murray, so they're just going to lose more games anyway. But when you start looking at where they're at, like a guy like Calais Campbell, a big interior guy, that kind of deal.
I'd be interested.
That kind of deal just makes sense for me.
I would be interested in a player like that. I don't think it's going to cost you all that much, assuming the Cardinals are willing to move him. Some other names on the text line. Collins, as you brought up from Cleveland, is a name that everybody keeps. He's got connections to Kansas City too. That doesn't hurt, right? That's not the end all be all, but that doesn't hurt. Colin Saunders is someone that has been mentioned for a week or two. Jermaine Johnson, Mozzie Smith, who was some of the Chiefs we know were interested in around the draft a couple years ago. And then what was the other name? Oh yeah, Kayvon Thibodeau. Of the Giants, and whether or not, and they should be, whether or not they're willing to move on from him. That would be the biggest swing of all that you can make. If you're so that would be the one that would require the most compensation to pull off.
Because outside of that, it's like the rest of the team, I know they're 5-4 and they've certainly got problems. Some of those problems I think existed when they did not have Xavier Worthy, did not have Rashee Rice, and were not their full complement of team. They've only had Rice back for 3 games. They're 2-1 in those games. They obviously got their ass kicked by Buffalo on Sunday, and we know that. But they're not exactly falling apart at the seams. As I've said before, I can talk myself into, can the secondary work for the rest of the year if there's not a single other player in it? Yep. Can the linebackers work? Even though I think, and we'll talk later in the show about some of the coverage difficulties they're having. Do I think that those can work? Yep. All of that makes some sense to me. It's just one interior defensive lineman. Look, somehow we'll end up with like over on YouTube, Peter's mentioning Tony Pollard. Somehow we'll end up with that kind of trade. I'll be like, that's what you wanted to do? That was the instant improvement. And you and I had said the only reason we want a running back of that, not like versus Breece Hall, who's just the instant starter, is if you're telling me that there's a longer term injury with Pacheco we don't know about because he got hurt. It didn't sound serious the way they were talking about it, but also like we won't know because the Chiefs won't talk again until next Monday. Andy Reid will say the guys are just getting in. So it won't be till like Wednesday or Friday till we know the actual health status of Isaiah Pacheco.
Yeah.
And so unless they think it's longer term than we do, which they've indicated, I guess, publicly that it's not that bad, then I wouldn't be thinking running back.
Just a couple NFL notes. Obviously, throughout the show today, these are some really fun shows. There's going to be breaking news we expect, whether it's Chiefs related or not, across the NFL with trade deadline coming. Drew and I and Cody will be keeping an eye on it throughout the day right here on 96.5 The Fan. Just a couple minor ones. The Patriots just signed wide receiver Brendan Rice, who was with the Chargers, son of Hall of Famer Jerry Rice. He's been with the Chargers the last year or whatever it was. But just a minor wide receiver move. Also, Logan Wilson, the Bengals linebacker that requested his trade like a week or so ago. The Cowboys did trade for him. I don't know why the Cowboys are even bothering trading for anybody anymore, quite honestly, but that was a move that the Cowboys did make.
I like that they thought
morning.
backup linebacker for the worst defense in football was going to solve their problems.
Yeah, last night was pitiful for them, to say the least.
Oh,
to say the least.
Completely no-showed. I also saw that I apologize. I believe I also saw that MVS is officially on the Steelers practice squad.
Yeah. That was rumored going into the weekend. They were, I guess, brought him in for a workout last Friday or something.
Can I say that this always does go back to this? Like, if you genuinely, like, if you're of the belief, you're listening to this from outside of town, or you've just given up on this team, can I just quickly, like, if you're just like, this isn't it, this team doesn't have it, can I just remind you that the Chiefs won a Super Bowl when their 4 wide receivers at one time were Kadarius Toney, who's not in the league, MVS, who can't get off a practice squad, Hardman, who is not on a roster, and Sky Moore, who's currently just a punt returner. Like, I mean, it's like there's not much to that. I think it was, how about your Chiefs? Like, someone was pointing out the exact thing. Like, we've pointed this out before. They've got no wide receivers at times in this, and they made it work. Like, the defense has gotten better historically in the second half, so I'll still count on some of that.
Yeah. The team, for me, it's like the team to me overall is going to be fine. It's the fact that they have 4 losses already, and so they just have no wiggle room. Even in the years where we said they had these issues, they were finding ways to win close games, and that gets us into the conversation again, Cody. They're now 0-4 in 1-score games in 2025. Now, the easy response to that is just say, regression, man. Like, you won 17 straight 1-score games. It was going to come back and bite you on the you-know-what at some point. And here they are. They're 0-4 in 1-score games, and then you dove deeper. It's surprisingly 0-4 when they give up more than 20.
That stat was way more concerning to me.
Now, 2 of them were the first 2 weeks of the season.
Sure.
You know?
But, I mean, give up 20 points, Chiefs lose? And Gold, look, if you had told me that last year, I'd actually be a bit of a believer in that, right? In the sense that we know how the Chiefs work, right? Historically, or last year, like, not how the Chiefs work generally, but last year, yeah, you'd have told me, like, hey, the numbers get up in the higher scoring digits based on the offense, no good. I kind of like this year's offense, but you're telling me every time they give up 20 points, it's an L? And look, I think people were using that. They were weaponizing that stat as an anti-Mahomes stat, as in they didn't have an entire career's worth of stats to support that he's the most winning quarterback when trailing by double digits, the most winning quarterback when giving up more than 20 in NFL history. Why I'm pointing out these two are, they're now in an anomaly year. They have 4 losses, and all 4 losses go against everything they've ever been. And I get stuck back where we were in those first couple of weeks of the season, Gold, when it was right. And look, and they defied me. It was right before that Ravens game. And I had said, look, if they don't win this game, then I'm going to start thinking that this team is different than all the other ones, and I need to treat them differently. These stats are now starting to stack up in a way that it does make you wonder, like, what is the missing element? Because you're not so bad of a team that I just don't think you have the talent to compete. Why aren't you winning any games in which you're giving up 20? Why aren't you winning any games that are only 1 score apart? What is different about this year's team than any of the others that have been electric in those moments? or better than anyone else in league history in those moments. And I can't pin it other than they can't get to the quarterback late. Like Chris Jones is not Chris Jones, but he's not Chris Jones in the final 4 minutes of the game.
As we said,
and Patrick Mahomes has been making mistakes in those parts of the games.
Yeah, taking over games at the end from Chris Jones, being able to be the closer at the end of the games that we've seen throughout his career. That was the conversation yesterday that I don't think he's necessarily washed, but he's not able to take over games and close out games the way he was before. That might be part of the equation. I think each season is unique. Right, each season is different,
life,
and so like you look at some of the closer games this year and some of the different elements. Like the first 2 weeks of the season, I can explain why
they lost games, but
they lost because their offense was awful still in week 1 and 2. They didn't have Worthy or Rice available in week 1 or 2.
The Jags game they blew, so we can just set that one on its own.
And then they hit a stretch where let's call it like it is. I mean, they other than the Jared Goff one, they played Geno Smith and they played Marcus Mariota. And so in those games, those guys were not scoring 20 plus points against this defense.
I guess, is there a part of you that's starting to worry that they can't beat good teams?
I'll answer that in 2 weeks. Like basically the next 2 games it'll be definitive, won't it? Like,
yeah, as in like you don't have to give the answer yet. You can wait until after the
right Broncos and Colts. I mean,
Colts.
Those are 2 very good teams. We would all agree. And
teams,
so if let's say those are 1-score games, and by the way, there's a great chance they are 1-score games.
History would say so.
If the Chiefs go 0 for 2 in those, then all of a sudden you're 0 and 6 in 1-score games.
They can't be good teams.
Then it is they don't beat quality teams,
and then they're likely to miss the playoffs at that point if they lose both. If they go 1-1, I will still have their question about the regular ability.
No, it's their 2 toughest. Considering the Broncos on the road, these are the 2 toughest games remaining on the schedule. I would still argue. I know they have the Chargers and the Broncos still,
but those are both at home.
Yeah, so these next 2 are the toughest games remaining on your schedule. Can you find a way to win? Because let's be real, as frustrated as everybody is right now, if the Chiefs come out of the bye, win in Denver, you're feeling great again, aren't you?
I feel pretty good. Yeah, not great because I learned my lesson a little with the Bills. I'm not all the way back to pre-Bills feeling. But I'm certainly feeling a lot better than I do today.
Great in terms of, they beat a quality team. They're making the playoffs. No need to panic anymore if for those that were that kind of, and the division still's alive at that point. So the vibes are completely different if you go win in Denver a week from Sunday.
They've currently faced 5 teams who are actively in the NFL playoffs. We're halfway through the season. They're 2-3 against those teams. They're not quite as bad as you think because 0-2 against Los Angeles and Philly. Oh, no, I'm sorry. 1-4. It is worse than I thought. 1-4. The only win is against Detroit. They lost to Buffalo, the Chargers, the Eagles, and the Jags, who are all currently in the NFL playoff field. They're 1-4 against those. You tell me they get 2 wins against Denver and Indianapolis, and they're 3-4 against winning teams. I would say that's most teams in most years. How are you against playoff teams? 500. And we'll take our chances come playoff time. We're going to have to beat Patrick Mahomes when he takes it to another level historically and typically takes his game to that separate level. And so, there is part of it, though, right now, being 1-4 against playoff teams and then being, 4-0 against non-playoff teams, it just starts to feel like the thing I've knocked a lot of other teams in the league for over the years, including earlier this year. The thing the Chiefs have, and I'm not saying it matters necessarily for this year, but it's Mahomes, Reed, and they have a historical element. They have been in 5 of the last 6 Super Bowls. And I don't have it in me to write them off at a 5-4 start and be like, well, this team's talentless and has no chance. But there is something just slightly off about the unit. And I think it's their inability to close.
Coming up in 10 minutes, we'll get to the one area that has been exposed this past week, and it's been a problem over the years. Some teams exploit it more than others. We'll tell you what that is, and then we'll get into a little college football. I know Drew is very excited about something that is taking place tonight. You guys know my feelings, although it's a little bit different.
This one matters.
It's a little bit different for this. We'll explain what that is coming up in about 20 minutes. But last night, college basketball got going for 2 of the locals. K-State will be in action tonight. Last night, it was KU against Green Bay. It was Mizzou on the road against Howard. Both locals took care of business. How do you guys feel about any of these teams right now? Look, it is very, very early. It's November 4th. It is way too early for me to really judge any team in college basketball. You asked me the question, and all of us during the random question, when do I really start to hone in on college hoops? Not till January. So keep that in mind here. But and we're talking about playing Howard, and we're talking about playing Green Bay. So not exactly a barometer. Now, KU gets North Carolina on Friday, so a bit more of one. Although there's plenty of early season upsets and stuff, and don't really end up meaning anything. by the time we get to January. But look, Darren Peterson looked the part last night against the team he should dominate. He played in 22 minutes, had 21 points, 4 boards, 3 assists, got off to a great start. They destroyed, they were 30-point favorites against Green Bay, and they won 94-51.
How'd the 29-year-old do?
He played, like, I don't have it in front of me, like 10 minutes and had no points or something like that.
Oh, okay. Wait, so it wasn't
He was a little bit nervous.
You think it was nerves?
Yeah, he was a little
you
bit
think it was nerves?
Playing
Allen Field.
Oh, yeah. I think the nerves got to him.
I don't know if he's supposed to be good or whatever.
Sorry, man.
But if you're
a
playing,
29-year-old college basketball player, you better not get 13 minutes and a board. What are you doing? Get a job, like an actual job. Start your career. Go to Centric, and you can start your career in IT in as little as 4 months.
How much
that
does
make
his
him
NIL
play college
do?
basketball.
I'll cut this kid's kid. He's not even a kid anymore. I'll cut this guy some slack.
That grown-ass man.
Only reason why I'll cut him some slack is he was in the military for 4 or 5 years and then went back to junior college, and now he's wanting to fulfill his dream of playing college hoops. So I applaud him for that. But I'm with you. If you're 29 playing D1 hoops, you would think that you're getting on the court more than 11 minutes. I'll agree with that.
Anyway, back to the actual teams that matter, the locals. Look, Kansas obviously has a chance to be one of the better teams in the country. And I think there's a decent chance that they reverse what happened last year in the sense that they started number 1 and they ended up being like pretty much the 25th best team in the country, 20th best team in the country, whatever. And this year, people downgrade them a little bit. It is weird to see a Big 12 preseason poll, even if we think they're meaningless, and see Kansas behind 7, 8 teams. It looks weird. You see them behind, like Houston, fine. That's currently a very good program, a great program even at the moment. When you see them behind 6 other Big 12 teams in a preseason poll, and they've got the number 1 recruit in the country, it just feels weird. I think it's more interesting this year for MU and K-State because while it's less of a year for Gates, it's a huge swing year for Jerome Tang and his job security at K-State. Gates has now been there. This was like he's gone to the tournament a couple of times. They haven't gone far in the tournament. They got knocked out in the round of 32. Can he improve? They're picked 7th in the SEC, which is a pretty good spot. That'll get you in the tournament again. K-State's picked slightly below Kansas by a couple of spots.
9th, I think, depending on the poll.
It's a huge swing for Tang this year.
Well, it comes down to PJ Haggerty, the star guard from Memphis that they get to come over. He actually could have got more money at Memphis. To me, he miscalculated his whole transfer portal process, but he ends up at K-State. And we all know last year with Coleman Hawkins, that was a flop. There's times where in the transfer portal, you nail the decision, and there's other times where that player doesn't turn out. And that was the case with Coleman Hawkins. Remember how emotional he was at the end of the year. It was a really brutal year for him. PJ Haggerty, they hope, has a much better showing for Kansas State. If he does, he's one of the top guards in the country, plain and simple.
Yep.
Not, I think
preseason, I think someone had him like
Jerome
the
Tang,
second or
Jerome
first.
Tang said he's the best guard in the country. That's fine. He's one of the best.
Independent Observer had him as the 3rd or 4th best.
I think he is one of the best guards in the country. And so if they get the best out of him, then Kansas State will be just fine this year. And the talk about Jerome Tang and job and all that will go away.
Yeah, he will recruit a star guard who plays
If Haggerty's the player that everybody thinks he is, then they'll be just fine.
But because Tang's had a couple of bad years in the old portal, if Haggerty's, because this is not his first big-time player who's gotten in the portal who's supposed to do big things for K-State. If it falls flat again, Tang's going to be on his ass.
And he went heavy in the portal again. I feel like, which is a weird,
Been a common trend for him.
Yeah, the dynamics of portal versus recruiting and freshmen and all that other stuff. It feels like Jerome Tang is taking a big swing because he knows that this is that sort of a season where he's got to be able to deliver at the very least a tournament berth.
Yeah, I would say.
He also got one of the best shooters in the country too, in Abdi Bashir. So guard plays very good for K-State. It's just, can they put it all together in a conference that's maybe the best in the entire country?
I was just saying, we know KU's first test is North Carolina coming up
this weekend
on Friday night. K-State, I'm trying to look through. When's their first? All right, Creighton probably December 13th.
Creighton's really good.
They do have Indiana on the schedule, but I don't know what Indiana's supposed to be these days.
Creighton's probably the biggest one.
But top 25 right now, Creighton.
Indiana's
It's hard to say. I don't know I don't know. It's a Power 5 school. I just don't know what Indiana is.
Well, they got the new head coach in DeVries and everything like that. It feels like they might be interesting, but
we'll see.
It should be a more because what wasn't K-State's schedule last year pretty manageable and non-con, but they got off to a terrible start.
Yes, it's just been a weird stretch with Tang. That's all.
What's Missouri's first big non-conference test? I always like to just kind of for each of the locals.
Honestly, it might be the KU game.
Is that going to be their first one? Okay.
I couldn't tell you exactly though. I can't. I don't know their schedule. I'm pulling it up now. Too.
They do play at T-Mobile. We all know that. So they got Minnesota. That's a Power 5.
The first ranked opponent on their schedule is Kansas.
Yeah.
Like
Their first
currently
big
ranked
one is
opponent.
Kansas. Then they've got Illinois as well.
Florida, Kentucky. They play a 6-week stretch.
The big non-cons are KU and Illinois.
Yeah, Florida's conference game. I mean, obviously you're right into conference play once you get to January. So, all right. I would like all three locals to have a much better season.
I'd like all three locals to make the tournament again.
That would be a lot of fun.
Yeah, I think I would enjoy that.
All right, coming up next, guys, right back to the Chiefs. And one thing that the Bills did in a great way on Sunday that has been an issue for the Chiefs defense over the last couple of years. And then we'll talk a little college football with Drew next.
What's up, Chiefs Kingdom? It's Trent McDuffie. You're listening to Cody and Gold, weekdays 10 to 2 on your home for Chiefs football. 96.5 The Fan.
Brought to you by Heartland Men's Health, the leader in men's sexual health. Thousands of men have been successfully treated for low T, ED, and more, all with discretion and compassion. Make your appointment at heartlandmenshealth.com.
Life's better with Drive My Way from American Family Insurance because we know it's more than just a car. It's your escape pod, your adventure mobile, your memory maker. And we help protect the dreams that drive you. Personalize what you pay for auto insurance and you could save between 5 and 20%. American Family Insurance. Get a quote and find an agent at amfam.com.
Products not available in every state. Unsafe driving behaviors may increase your rate. Visit amfam.com to learn more. American Family Mutual Insurance Company SI and its operating company, 6000 American Parkway, Madison, Wisconsin.
The Chiefs have been scoring a ton of points lately, and that means I'm saving a ton of money at Hy-Vee. And now I have even more reason to cheer on the Chiefs because I score big fuel savings when I shop Hy-Vee the day after any Chiefs game. Win or lose, I'll earn a fuel saver discount equal to the Chiefs score based on the amount I spend. If the Chiefs score 35 points, I save 35 cents a gallon when I spend $35 on groceries. So the more we score, the more I save, only for my friends at Hy-Vee.
It's the most wonderful time of the year. Time for Hy-Vee's holiday baking sale. Make your list and check it twice. Time to stock up on the sweetest deals of the year, like Hy-Vee sugar, $1.99, brown sugar, $1.48, Hy-Vee butter, $2.49, peanut butter, $1.88, and don't forget the Hy-Vee pumpkin pie filling, just 88 cents. Jump in your sleigh and dash away this Friday through Sunday at Hy-Vee.
Hey, Chiefs fans, Crown Royal is the official whiskey of the Kansas City Chiefs. And this season, it's not game day without the generous spirit of Crown Royal. Whether you're at the tailgate, in the stands, or watching from home, Crown Royal is the reason and the reward for coming together. Grab a glass with the Crown Royal rig at a stadium near you because we'll be sharing the generous spirit with fans across the country. Crown Royal, fueling game day with a generous spirit. Visit www.crownroyal.com/Royal Rig for more on the Crown Royal Rig Tour. Please drink responsibly.
Get ready, Missouri. FanDuel, America's #1 sportsbook, is coming soon. Starting on December 1st, new customers in Missouri can get up to $300 in bonus bets when you make your first $5 bet. From touchdowns to three-pointers, with FanDuel, any play can be the play of the game. With live betting, you can even get in on the action after the game has already started. All on an app that's safe, secure, and easy to use. Visit FanDuel.com/Missouri to learn more. And you'll be all set to bet when FanDuel goes live in Missouri on December 1st. That's FanDuel.com/Missouri. Play your game of FanDuel, the #1 rated sportsbook app. Must be 21 and present in Missouri. First online real money wager only. $5 first deposit required. Offer starts 12/1/25. Excludes customers who redeem pre-launch sign-up offer. Bonus issue is non-withdrawable bonus bets which expire 7 days after receipt. Restrictions apply. See terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER or visit fanduel.com/RG.
Morning, Zoe. Got donuts.
Jeff Bridges, why are you still living above our garage?
Well, I dig the mattress, and I want to be in a T-Mobile commercial like you. Teach me, Saldana.
Oh, no, I'm not really prepared. I couldn't possibly. At T-Mobile, get the new iPhone 17 Pro. On them, it's designed to be the most powerful iPhone yet and has the ultimate pro camera system.
Wow, impressive. Let me try. T-Mobile is the best place to get iPhone 17 Pro because they've got the best network.
Nice, Jeffrey.
You heard them. T-Mobile is the best place to get the new iPhone 17 Pro on us with eligible trade-in in any condition.
So, what are we having for lunch?
Dude, my work here is done.
24 monthly bill credits on experience beyond for well-qualified customers plus tax and $35 device connection charge. Credits ended. Balance due if you pay off earlier. Cancel. Finance agreement iPhone 17 Pro 256 gigs $1,099.99 and new line minimum $100 plus a month plan with auto pay plus taxes and fees required. Best mobile network in the U.S. based on analysis by Ookla Speed Test Intelligence data 1H2025. Visit T-Mobile.com.
This is the story of the one. As a maintenance supervisor at a manufacturing facility, he knows keeping the line up and running is a top priority. That's why he chooses Grainger. Because when a drive belt gets damaged, Grainger makes it easy to find the exact specs for the replacement product he needs. And next day delivery helps ensure he'll have everything in place and running like clockwork. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
For more than 75 years, University of Maryland Global Campus has given you the opportunity to build your next success. Choose from more than 135 degree and certificate programs in career-relevant fields like business, healthcare, data analytics, cybersecurity, and more. Plus, we offer 100% online and hybrid courses, personalized advising, and lifetime career services. Learn more at umgc.edu. Certified to operate in Virginia by Chev.
Makita knows that pros never settle, and neither do we. With Makita, you get tools that perform at the highest level on every job without compromise. Makita is for the most detailed pros, expertly engineered to deliver precision, job after job. When your work calls for the best, call on Makita. Makita, built to be the best. Available at the Home Depot.
Spreadsheets, clunky software, 100 different logins just to run your business? Ah.
There's a better way. Odoo. One simple, connected platform that handles sales, inventory, accounting, and more. So you can focus on growing, not juggling. Make the switch today at odoo.com. That's ODOO.com.
The technicians you can trust with your house keys. Anthony Plumbing, Heating, Cooling, and Electric.
When comfort's on the line, Anthony shows up. Same day, 24/7, even weekends and holidays. For a limited time, tankless water heaters starting at $88 per month. Schedule your complimentary proposal today at anthonyphce.com.
You're listening to 96.5 The Fan from the DM Injury Law Studios. Mike's got this.
All right, we have our first, I will say, impactful trade of the day. How about that? One that I think could move the needle a little bit. Adam Schefter during the break reporting that Raiders wide receiver Jacoby Myers headed to the Jacksonville Jaguars in exchange for a 4th and 6th round pick. Remember, he had been wanting a trade. He hadn't played in a couple weeks, or off and on, I should say, the last couple weeks. Due to that, the Steelers were interested. They don't get him. The Jags do. We know that's significant with Travis Hunter being on the IR. So it's Brian Thomas and Jacoby Myers, the top 2 wide receivers now in Jacksonville, a Jags team that has a tiebreaker on Kansas City. Remember, the Chiefs have to at least play one game better than Jacksonville the rest of the way, if in fact we're talking about just getting the final playoff spot.
Who just got a little bit better today. Not trying to pretend like Jacoby Myers is a nobody.
They didn't trade for AJ Brown, okay, but
but he's a nice player.
It's a nice piece to add to a wide receiver room that was going to have some issues without Travis Hunter being part of the picture.
And Brian Thomas is a little dinged up.
He does. He has a hamstring injury. Yeah, that's true.
I think there's still a thought he might play this weekend, but Jacoby Myers, 33 catches, 352 yards so far this season. He's coming off a game in which he only had just 4 catches for 23 yards against the Jags, but has been a pretty decent.
That was his first game in about a month, Cody.
I know. But is coming off, like 332 yards. He was off to a really nice start, and then he's kind of cooled down into the 30 yards per game over his last 5 games, which did include some time off with injury. Honestly think that probably speaks to the number of wide receivers who must be available in the market. For getting a 4th and a 6th, I think it's a pretty good deal by the Raiders. I thought they got decent value back in return for a expiring contract in Jacoby Myers, but not nothing. As the Jags, a team who currently sits 1 spot ahead of them in the wild card standings, who, as you pointed out, they have to play better than the rest of the season in order just to, and obviously I don't hope that they finish anywhere near the 7 seed. And instead, that's not really
that's
being
just the
called
minimum,
into question,
the
but
minimum
right now,
to make the
minimum.
playoffs. Yeah. Last year, Jacoby Myers, 1,000-yard receiver for the Raiders in 15 games, had 129 targets, most targets in his NFL career. So we'll see what impact he has on the Jags. Just the first somewhat significant trade on trade deadline day. Deadline 3 o'clock this afternoon. We'll keep you guys aware of any other moves throughout the show today. We want to talk about something the Bills were able to exploit, something that I think we've seen over the years with this defense. And I don't know if it is truly personnel based, if it's just part of the scheme, if there's like a loophole, if you will, and like, hey, all these other areas are going to be effective, but the tight ends, the one area you can exploit Kansas City defensively. And we saw it yet again. There was a point in the game where 126 of the receiving yards were all tight ends, whether it was Dawson Knox, whether it was Kincaid, and then the third tight end, I forget his name.
And at halftime, they had 123
Starts
yards.
with an S. I don't remember that guy's name. You know what I'm talking about. The third receiver, third tight end. So this is not a new problem, though. Now, the Bills exploited it better than anybody else has all year, but it's something that we discussed even going into the Baltimore game. Mark, because the history there, Isaiah likely, going back to last year, likely and Mark Andrews, what they were able to do. This is a known thing. I think it is personnel and scheme-based. I think the answer is both. One, Drew Tranquill was put in some really bad spots. He also fell down on the one touchdown.
I thought he was going to get beat on that pass anyway.
Maybe,
but he
definitely
fell down.
He tripped. Turf monster got him. It happens. But that was that. We know Nick Bolton struggles in coverage. If they're going to put him in those spots, it's something that teams can take advantage of if they have a capable tight end. And the Chiefs are about to face a Broncos team in a week that has Evan Ingram, who I think is actually a pretty darn good tight end this league, even if he hasn't elevated his game the way people were expecting he would.
I think what stands out is, so last week, Sal Capaccio, the Drive played the clip again yesterday. He was on the show and he had said that the Bills had or he was on the morning show and said the Bills had kind of built their team to beat the Chiefs. And when you start looking the way the Bills have changed who they are over the last 2 years is, they've become significantly more on the ground, significantly more high use in tight ends, and they've become bigger in a way to beat the Chiefs, right? On offense, where they're trying to bully you with mismatches. What's changed this year for me, even though this has been a years-long issue in the guarding of tight ends, is what I think is, and what I need to see out of Spags is the adjustment to take risk. Because what I think is happening, Gold, is, and I think Spags would agree with this, is that teams are intentionally leaving personnel groups on the field to directly take advantage of it. There's a reason why Jaden Hicks only played 4% of the snaps for the Chiefs in this previous game, and that is because they stuck him in that spot where they tried to take advantage of, let's keep Jaden Hicks off the field, let's force Drew Tranquill and other guys in order to guard the other side. And so I think that there's a real advantage teams are going to have in this. And I'm kind of scared of it, especially because, I don't know, Tyler Warren is at least one of the two guys that they're going to face in the next 2 games, which feels like a bit of a mismatch. And I think they need to try to work on a way to get safeties in there. Right?
Yeah, the Jaden Hicks part, I think there's definitely something to be said there. And there's some truth when it comes to his athletic ability. And will they be willing to do that? I would say, Cody, based off of years of seeing this be an area that teams can exploit if there's one area on defense, and this is when not even talking about just this year where the defensive line's a problem, it has been linebackers in coverage. And I don't know if they're willing to shift to what you're saying. I think
get safeties on guys, man. Come on.
That's an area that they just haven't been willing to make that adjustment.
But why not? You're getting beat, Like at some point,
we say that it's the only time this year, though, really. And so, it happened against Buffalo. They're willing to do it. Now it's on film, but I would argue it's something that other teams have known about for a while. And this isn't like some groundbreaking stuff. I mean, how many years have we come on this show and said, hey, you know what? Got tight ends were really having a lot of success against Kansas City. Go back to last year. It was a huge theme of last season. Go look at the tight end numbers and how the Chiefs stacked up. They're one of the worst teams in against tight ends in yardage given up. So this is just part of the scheme, I would argue.
You're just saying, like, they accept the losses against it and are just willing to accept that this is who they are. Look, I do understand, like, part of what you're saying in the sense that, and I'm not saying there's been a ton of tight ends who have gotten the better of them this year, and obviously the Bills do it. Do you buy into that notion, I guess? The idea that part of the reason and part of what we undersold about the Bills is the Bills have been slowly constructing their roster in the effort to only beat Kansas City, a team they know they have to get past in order to win a Super Bowl. And this was a good key example of when those matchups could take advantage. And look, Kansas City also played a poor game. We talked about that. I thought it was a much better game by the Bills, much better game plan by the Bills, and everything in between.
The other issue, if we're acknowledging today on trade deadline day, and we're saying that they need defensive line help and they need more depth there, and we're mainly discussing it in the world of go and get some help getting after the quarterback. But if they're worried about their rush defense on the interior, well, you're saying, and I agree with you, help against tight ends, have a safety come in. How much faith do they have in Jaden Hicks coming up in the run game and helping him there versus having Drew Tranquill, Nick Bolton, and Leo Chenal on the field? And so you give that.
Not enough.
That's the give and take. Are you willing to risk what could lead to some issues on the ground?
If they sign another defensive tackle, I sure as hell am. This goes back to that.
Exactly.
Sure.
Yep.
Like they're interconnected. It's not like and I think if that's the inevitable question we're trying to get to ourselves as, do they need another defensive lineman in order to get themselves in the lineup preference to get there? But like they're doing it on purpose. This is 2 games in which Jaden Hicks didn't play at all. And we said, hey, what happened, Spags? Why didn't Jaden Hicks play at all? And the answer was fairly simple. It was because they were stuck. He said this after Jaden Hicks came. He said, oh, it was just and I had said warned before. It's like, that's defensive alignment. They probably were putting them in spots in which they weren't allowed to play him. I don't think it's an accident that's now 2 in the last 3 games that's been the case. And I'm not saying they're trying to keep Jaden Hicks off the field as in they deathly fear Jaden Hicks. I think it's they like taking advantage of the Chiefs linebackers in coverage. And look, this is their worst game. Drew Tranquill's had actually an okay season for the most part. That was a pretty bad game. Lots of people had their worst game of the year against the Bills. Juwan Taylor did. Jalen Moore did. I would argue Drew Tranquill did. Had his worst game of the season all year. So, he's not alone in that regard. It just feels like a consistent thing I'm watching teams take advantage of, and then I think the Chiefs are going to have to be careful of.
That music means it's time for a little college football talk. Drew?
Yep.
What do we got, man? What do we got today?
Is there any college football today? Is there random Tuesday Maction?
There is some Tuesday Maction
Oh,
today.
boy.
There is some Tuesday Maction. But I'm not talking about Maction today. I'm going to talk about we'll do the locals real quick because we haven't quite talked about the locals in a little bit more in depth. And then something that's going on. You guys teased it tonight. First time of the season it's going on. But for the locals, KU beats Oklahoma State. They took care of business. First half was a little bit shaky, only up 10-7 at halftime. Could have been down at halftime, actually, but they ended up getting the job done to get them right back on track in terms of a bowl appearance. 6 wins is, I think, at this point, just get to a bowl game and see what happens. See if you can finish above 500.
That's all they got now, really.
Is where we're at, I think, with KU. For K-State, they lose to Texas Tech. It's kind of crazy because if you just looked at the score, you're like, dang, they were never in the game. K-State, they were trailing. They were playing from behind, but they were in the game up until really the beginning of the fourth quarter. They had a shot to go and make it a one-possession game. They were down 29-20. Had scored a touchdown, but went for 2, didn't get it. Couldn't find a way to get back in it because they had 5 turnovers against Texas Tech. They were -3 in the turnover margin. Anytime that happens, guys, you know this as well as I do. When you face good teams, like Texas Tech is a good team,
yep,
you can't not only lose the turnover margin, you can't have 5 turnovers and expect to win that game. So ended up 43-20. Avery Johnson's look good. It feels like K-State is... It's weird. We're still trying to figure them out because 2 weeks they look really good. They dominate. KU, they look really good. And then all of a sudden they fall flat on their face and they can't stop turning the ball over. It's been a very mixed bag at times from K-State this season.
Yeah, Tech got their starting quarterback back, and they...
That did help a lot.
And they're just a better team.
Yes,
and
agreed.
K-State's having a down year. They're just praying for a bowl game at this point, aren't they? K-State.
Yeah, K-State has 4 wins, correct, and then KU has 5.
K-State gets the bragging rights over Kansas for whipping them in the game that they played against each other, and now they're both trying to get to the
Independence Bowl, or whatever.
The Liberty Bowl, whatever the case is.
Yeah, they'll end up in Memphis again.
For K-State,
the Gasparilla Bowl, whatever they're trying to end up in.
For K-State, they've got Oklahoma State this week, so KU's former opponent, they should get to 5, and then they got Utah and then Colorado, so K-State should get there.
Colorado should be the one that gets them over the hump there to get to 6.
Yeah, especially the way they've been looking, the way that Colorado have looked recently, too. Holy cow. They've been outscored, I think, 131-7 the last 2 games.
KU's got Arizona, right, coming up?
Yes.
It's a tough one, actually.
That's the one I think if they get it, that's the one where you don't want to play around with Iowa State or with Utah, who KU also in the season with. Tonight, we get the first college football playoff rankings. So for the
All
first
right.
time, the AP will not matter this season. We're done. We're done with the AP
We start to get to
tonight.
the ones that the people that are actually making the
Serious
decision.
questions. How many differences do you think there will be between the top 6?
I don't even know who's. I don't even know who's in the top 5 of the AP right now.
Like 1 through 12. Here's the current order in the
Okay.
AP top 12. You tell me how many differences you think there will be in any order, even if it's just like one team's 4 versus 5.
Yes.
Ohio State, Indiana, A&M, Alabama, and Georgia are 1 through 5. Then it is Oregon, Ole Miss, BYU, Tech, Notre Dame up till 10. Oklahoma, Virginia are the final 2.
I think Virginia will not be in the top 12. I think they'll put Texas in the top 12.
There'll be like 2 or 3 differences. Again, the main argument is
like 1.
The main argument has always been that we don't need any poll until now, though.
My point is that they just copy this poll. So this poll actually does matter because...
Well, these are the people that are going to ultimately...
Yeah, but they're like...
The college football playoff committee is who actually will eventually make the ranking that allows teams to get in the college football playoff.
But this is the trailer for the movie.
Fine.
I already know. Like, I want to decide if I'm going to, what the movie's going to look like.
Oh, tonight is actually... If one of the locals was still in the mix, you're like, tonight is actually kind of fun. It is about building up hype for the college football playoff. But these are the ones at least are determined by the same people. Like, to me, you're not hype. In week 2, the AP poll isn't hyping anybody up for this one. You can start to dream a little bit. This is why if one of the locals was still in it, like, you could start to dream if, let's say, Missouri hadn't lost to Vandy. You'd be like, oh, wow, they're in it right now. Like, they'd be in it. But, of course, that's not the case.
Missouri's going to be in the top 25, but
sure,
obviously
the top 25.
Setting up what is going to be that, because I think the top 5 will all be the same, but I do think in terms of just movement of teams being in or out, forgetting the order, I don't think Virginia is going to be 12th in the CFP rankings, but we'll see. I'm also intrigued to see where BYU and Texas Tech are, because that match, not only is game day there, but also are they
I bet Mahomes will be this weekend.
Are they 8 and 9, or are they outside of the top 10 still? Like, I think BYU will still be in the top 10, but I wonder if they put Tech inside the top 10 as well.
Because it's a bye week, my official prediction is Patrick Mahomes is the guest picker. Has that already been announced?
So they haven't announced.
It's been announced yet.
So it's a great.
And love it.
I'm sure they would love it. The question is, would he is he going out? Does he want to go to Lubbock on his bye week and do that?
I don't know. I mean, he's a big supporter of Texas.
I could see him
that would
going.
be huge.
I could see him going.
That would be a huge get for college game day.
You're getting ready to head out of town.
Yep.
They get movie stars and stuff, so it's not the question. You're getting ready to head out of town. Jay Binkley's in with me tomorrow. We got a mixed bag of people for the rest of the week, but Binkley's in tomorrow. I know we'll talk about it more with Binkley tomorrow. Can I say it's cowardly for Sark to already try to lay the groundwork of like, hey, if I lose some more games, it's embarrassing that the SEC. He said it was embarrassing the SEC only got 3 teams in the college football playoff last year when being asked about 3 lost SEC teams and whether or not they should be in it, because he knows he already has 2 losses and still
he's
has
campaigning
to go
already.
Georgia
I don't have an issue with this.
A&M.
I don't have an issue with that. This happens all the time. You're already starting to campaign. It happens during the NCAA tournament when coaches are complaining that they're on the bubble or whatever. This is normal stuff. That's not unique to Sark.
It's lame.
You got to campaign for yourself. You got to try to set the narrative. So much of it is narrative.
Pretty big game against Georgia next weekend.
Very big. And then they also have A&M later in the year. Like, I don't know if they can afford to lose either of those, just based on history's sake, at least, regarding teams that are 9-3 not being able to make it. That's the cutoff line.
I will say, like, the rankings that come out tonight from the committee, this is one of those, like, I'll just wait for the text alert or tweet alert or the graphic. I don't need to sit there at halftime of the college basketball games tonight and wait for it. This is one of those where you just check Twitter and it'll all be right there. They're literally just giving me a list.
I'll be in the same boat as you. Yep.
I don't need to watch. I'm assuming it's Reese Davis probably who's unveiling this, or
probably. And
they'll have Kirk Herbstreit from his house with the Ohio State stuff in the background coming in and talking about it and how he can't believe the committee decided to do this, or yada, yada,
We will, of course, react to this on the 249 Miles of College Football podcast, as well as previewing that big game between A&M and Mizzou.
Last stance on the college football, since this is your take. Can I ask you a question, Drew? Do you think that Kirk Herbstreit looks tired? I think that man needs to work less.
I think he always looks tired, dude.
He needs to work less.
Agreed.
Take 2 less jobs, Kirk. Get your ass off Amazon or something. Take a couple of... Say no to a couple of things.
He's like Stephen A. Like, they're everywhere, and it's like, guys, take a deep breath and enjoy some personal time. Like, relax a little.
I don't think it's impacting his performance, though. So he's 56 years old, and you maximize your earning potential. Now, he's not going to be able to work at this level when he's 65 or 70.
He's going to get burnt out
But
here
right
soon.
now, he's in his mid-50s. He's healthy. He's working his ass off. He's changing his entire, in terms of family and for generations, and he's making crap ton of money.
He's out here looking like the living dead.
I understand. I think he is worn out, but like I think he's been great still.
100%. Yeah, I like.
I don't think
go get your money, man. Well, I would agree with that. He definitely is more passionate. He's definitely more passionate about college football. There's no debating that.
I do think it was very funny. So he said
his net worth is estimated to be in the $90 million range.
He brought this up when he was doing Thursday night with the Bengals game, but he mentioned the group chat. I don't know if you guys remember
that. Can't be right. That seems high.
I don't know if you guys remember the Pain. The group chat he has is called Pain. So the Bengals go up on the Bears, and he said, "Just wait, the pain is coming. They lose the game. #pain."
$90 million.
Unbelievable.
Quick Google search. That seems too high.
It does seem.
You would think so, but
two other sites say net worth of 12. That seems more like it.
Who had 90?
Either way, it's
a big
A to
disparity.
Z Sports had. It says Herb Strait's net worth.
Maybe it's the money he's made
is estimated to be in the night. Yeah, but that's not your net worth.
Well, I know, but just
because you make $10 million a year doesn't automatically mean you're worth $10 million.
I honest, you work that hard and you only got $12 million. Not worth it.
I wonder if that's the confusion.
That man's working that hard. He's only got 12 mil. Stephen A's he's got like 300 mil.
Did you guys know that he?
I'm saying you're working. You got to work.
He's
smarter.
signing contracts bigger than athletes. Stephen A. is.
Yeah, this other side says net worth 14 to 20 million. For Herb Strait.
That's probably about right.
That sounds more.
All I'm saying
how
is
long he's been doing game day for, and then the Amazon stuff.
Yeah.
No, he works his ass off during the college football and NFL season. But maximize your earnings while you can, man.
Yeah, he's doing that.
He's doing the prep for Wednesday on Thursday night. He flies to the game Thursday. He flies back home to go to his son's football game on Friday night, and then he'll fly to game day. It's unbelievable the amount that he travels.
Someone says he can just retire when he's old, Cody, and he can't do anything anymore.
Wow, what a life. Just the American dream. Work until your body is quit on you, and then finally retire. He can retire now. He's got enough money. His ass never has to work another day in his life.
He doesn't have to. Yeah, he doesn't have to. But Stephen A. doesn't have to work another day in his life either, but he enjoys what he does for a living, and he's making a very good living at doing it.
Sure is.
So
he seems less tired. Maybe it's because he's yelling all the time.
He's not traveling. That's travel where, and you guys know this. Like, I don't care if you're just going on a quick travel, just wears you out.
That dog's gonna be aging horribly. What, does travel not wear out dogs?
He already took. Is the other dog go with him now too?
My stance still is. It seems kind of favoritism. It's like choosing a favorite kid.
I think
the other poor dogs just stuck at home.
Well, does he only have one now, or is he? Because obviously the one passed away.
No, I think he has multiple.
He has multiple.
Look, he needs it for companionship. I just don't think it should be as featured on the show as much as it has been. But if you want to take your dog and you're able to, and you want it you're away from home so much, and it connects you to your family, you do you. I think sometimes College Game Day features the dog way too much. Like, we get it. He has a dog. We get it. And I'm a dog person. You know this. Love dogs.
Would your dog do okay in studio?
She'd be barking. No, would not work.
The whole time?
Yeah. Great dog. Love her to death. But Zoe would be barking. We wouldn't make it through a whole segment. She would just sit here, start staring, wagging her tail, and you would be hearing barking throughout the entire 25-minute segment.
Just like pet her head?
She would bark.
I'd
pet her head, and then she'd back away and then start barking from a distance is what would happen. Yeah.
Someone said Jay Billis works as much as Kirk. Now that he's doing NBA games, I think there's a more of an argument, but I think Kirk Herbstreit works more than Jay Billis does. In fairness to Jay Billis,
totally.
Because Jay Billis
of the
NFL,
because of the NFL stuff.
Yeah. Jay Billis
is great. Does some NBA stuff more than ever.
He's been doing more NBA stuff the last couple seasons, but it's because ESPN's running out of people to have as color commentators.
It's like, as we were talking about dogs, Bleacher Report just put out an article that said
about his
Tom
dog?
Brady revealed that his current dog Junie is a clone of his late dog Lua.
That's weird.
Wait, died December 2023.
That's weird.
The dogs were cloned by Colossal Biosciences, a biotech company that Brady is an investor
I
in,
was just going to say he must be an investor.
Blood collected prior to his previous dog's
would you
death.
I was just going to say he must be an investor in this company. That's the only reason why he did it. It's weird. Go ahead.
As much as you love your dog, would you ever have her cloned?
No, to me, the dog, the connection, the special connection with that dog, it's special for that period of time.
I agree.
And that's dog special. Like, you don't want to, that was the moment you have. Like, we all wish
Feels
dogs.
like I'm cheapening
the
time we had together
we all
by
wish,
just cloning for the identical dog. I could just get another dog and have a different memory.
Yeah, like we all wish dogs lived a lot longer than they did. That it stinks that dogs live, depending on the type, 10 to 15 years or whatever on that. Like, that sucks. We all wish they lived for 30 or 50 years. But no, like, The dog is that dog, and you'll have memories with that dog. And then if you choose to get another pet, there's new memories you create with a different pet.
Come on, Tom.
Yeah.
Come on, man.
I'm sure there's plenty of people that will do it, though. Clearly, they think so. There's a business that's trying to.
Oh, I'm sure there's plenty. I mean, there's people who get their dead dog stuffed and just like put it up on their mantle. So, you sure they wouldn't just essentially keep the dog alive?
Yeah.
Seems plausible.
All right.
There you go.
Up next.
Could have saved that for trash today. Sorry.
Could have. Yeah. Up next. Let's talk about a survey you might have been sent as a Royals fan, related to the stadium, related to the ball club. A couple of the questions were interesting. We'll answer them. We'll see how you answer them as well next.
This is Cody and Gold on your home for Kansas City sports. 96.5, The Fan, brought to you by Heartland Men's Health, the leader in men's sexual health. Thousands of men have been successfully treated for low T, ED, and more, all with discretion and compassion. Make your appointment at heartlandmenshealth.com.
You're looking to work with a locally owned and operated company when you do things on your house, and what we're talking about here is roofing. Trust Century Roofing. I did twice on my roof, as I had a repair done to the main part of the roof, and then I had a little part of the screen porch where wind got the better of it earlier this year. Called him up, got the owner, even though that's not who I was trying to speak to, immediately recognized, said, "Hey, Cody, happy to get somebody out there. Let's get this fixed for you." Take care of those problems to make sure it doesn't become a bigger problem. I legitimately thought I might need a roof replacement. They came out, took a look, said, "No, just a few repairs. We'll take it out there. You've got great life left in this roof." And that's the kind of company that you can stand behind. A trusted local company who have 35 years of experience in Kansas City with a warranty they'll stand behind and be around to honor. That's what's important. There's lots of roofing companies that pop up, try to knock on your door as a storm comes through. No, they have the expertise to handle filing claims with your insurance if that's what's needed. They have those ability to have everybody who's been working with them for years and years to take care of this the way it needs to be taken care of. So if you have any signs, maybe your neighbors have been working on their roof, hail came through and you weren't sure, Century Roofing can take care of those needs. Voted best of Johnson County 4 years in a row, and recently voted best roofing company in Kansas City by readers over at the Kansas City Star. Go to centuryroofingkc.com to book your inspection today and tell them that Cody sent you.
Another summer is ended, and you may have noticed that your energy is lower, your workouts aren't as productive, perhaps you aren't sleeping as well and feel foggy all the time, maybe even your sex drive is off. This is Jeff for Heartland Men's Health, and if you're experiencing some or all of these symptoms, it's likely you have low testosterone. And if that's what's going on with you, don't wait. You need to call us at Heartland Men's Health and get treated for your low T, because living with low testosterone is no way to live. With our low T treatments, if you're like most guys, your life will change considerably. Improved sleep, better energy, greater gains in the gym, better mental clarity, and your sex drive will likely improve as well. Plus, most men see these results in just a few weeks. So call us. Your initial visit is just $99 and includes PSA and T-test and a medical consult. And if you start on testosterone the day of your appointment, your visit is free. Call 844-447-6600. That's 844-447-6600. Or go to heartlandmenshealth.com.
Hey, Zach, are you smiling at my gorgeous canyon view?
No, Donald. I'm smiling because I've got something I want to tell the whole world.
Well, do it. Shout it out.
T-Mobile's got home internet.
Whoa, I love that echo. T-Mobile's got home internet.
How much is it?
Look at that, Zach. We got the neighbor's attention.
Just $35 a month. And you love a great deal, Denise.
Plus, they've got a 5-year price guarantee. That's 5 whole trips around the sun.
I'm switching. Me too.
Yes, T-Mobile home internet for the neighborhood.
Donald, you still haven't returned my weed whacker.
Carl, don't you embarrass me like this, please.
What's everyone yelling about?
T-Mobile's got home internet.
And Donald's got my weed whacker.
Yes, T-Mobile's got home internet. Just $35 a month with auto pay and any voice line. And it's guaranteed for 5 years.
Beautiful yodeling, Carl.
Taxes and fees apply. See T-Mobile.com/ISP for details and exclusions.
Hellsberg gifts checked off the list. Now, time for wrapping. Earrings for mom. A gold bracelet to match the rings Danielle wears every day. And for dad, a new watch, because we all know he needs one. All right, this is going to be a good one.
Our favorite things for your favorite people. Shop in store at Hellsberg.com for up to 50% off.
FanDuel is putting you in control right from NBA tip-off because every day to start the season, you get to choose your reward. Take your shot with the Profit Boost token. You can play it cool with the no sweat bet, or you can get a little backup with the bet back token. So what I like to do is I like to pick 3 players that I think are going to score at least 20 points. It gives you something to cheer for. It gives you something to root for. So you can put a little bit of extra sauce on it with the Profit Boot token, or you can just play it easy. You can play it relaxed with that no sweat bet. Whatever your pick is, whatever your strategy is, get into the game and play it your way. Head to FanDuel.com/KFNZ to make it your choice. FanDuel is an official sportsbook of the NBA and also 96.5 The Fan. 21 and present in Kansas. Often required. Rewards are non-withdrawable. Restrictions apply, including bonus and token expirations, league requirements, and max wager amount. See terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. FanDuel is offering online sports wagering in Kansas under agreement with Kansas Casino LLC. Gambling problem? Get out with your best bet. Call 1-800-522-4700. Visit kansasgamblinghelp.com.
250 years ago, a promise was made to connect families and friends near and far. And during the holidays, that promise is more important than ever. That's why USPS is building a better network to meet your needs with timely deliveries, easy and affordable ways to ship, and everything you need to make your season full of holiday cheer. Our purpose is delivering your peace of mind, knowing your love will arrive, bringing joy to all. The United States Postal Service. Learn more at USPS.com/holidays.
This is the story of the one. As a maintenance supervisor at a manufacturing facility, he knows keeping the line up and running is a top priority. That's why he chooses Grainger. Because when a drive belt gets damaged, Grainger makes it easy to find the exact specs for the replacement product he needs. And next day delivery helps ensure he'll have everything in place and running like clockwork. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done. This is the story of the one. As a maintenance supervisor at a manufacturing facility, he knows keeping the line up and running is a top priority. That's why he chooses Grainger. Because when a drive belt gets damaged, Grainger makes it easy to find the exact specs for the replacement product he needs. And next day delivery helps ensure he'll have everything in place and running like clockwork. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
For more than 75 years, University of Maryland Global Campus has given you the opportunity to build your next success. Choose from more than 135 degree and certificate programs in career-relevant fields like business, healthcare, data analytics, cybersecurity, and more. Plus, we offer 100% online and hybrid courses, personalized advising, and lifetime career services. Learn more at umgc.edu. Certified to operate in Virginia by Chev.
Fesco and Dusty, weekdays 6 to 10 on Kansas City's FM sports station. 96.5 The Fan, KFNZ FM and AM, HD1 and HD2 Kansas City, and Odyssey Sports Station.
Gold and I just spending the break talking about all the dogs we had in our childhood now.
Yeah.
Drew, did you guys have dogs growing up?
The dogs are the best.
Yeah, 2 of them.
What kind?
Chocolate Lab and then a Chihuahua mix that my sister found.
Very different dogs.
And we actually, the craziest story, or part about the story is, we found the dog, took it back to the place where the address on the collar was a police officer. And the police officer said, you know what, you can go ahead and just keep the dog.
Oh.
Which is very odd.
Whatever owner didn't previously want it. We
very
had bad
odd,
luck
yeah,
with
the Chihuahua
dogs.
mix was great.
I don't know, look, I was a child, so it definitely wasn't my fault. But we had some bad luck with dogs. So, we had a lot of different dogs as kids, and then they just, unfortunate fate for a few of them.
Jeez.
Yeah. We had one that got hit by a motorcycle.
Oh, jeez.
One who got overheated, and one who died of parvo, and just a lot of problems.
That sucks.
Yeah. Pretty bleak childhood. That doesn't even include the summer where all the kittens died.
Both dogs.
All the kittens?
Yeah, we found a litter of kittens whose mother had abandoned them and tried to feed them by a bottle. Oh. And it was just every couple of days, man, another dead kitten.
Oh, jeez.
Oh, my gosh.
Jeez. All right, coming up in...
transitioning from that.
Coming up in 15 minutes, we will get to the trash of the day. All right.
There is no transition from
I'm going to delete that first part of the hour. Just so nobody has to,
so it's never on the podcast?
So
probably smart.
Anyway, so the Royals sent out an email yesterday to season ticket holders, and I think anybody that maybe bought tickets any point in the last year, I don't know the exact criteria, they can tell you, but people were given this feedback survey. And some of it had to do with just your feeling about John Sherman and where the organization is headed. And, of course, a lot of this was centered around the stadium. We all know, here we are, another month has gone by without any real clarity on, are they going to downtown, North KC? Are they going over to Overland Park, Leawood area? What are they going to do? I wanted to go through some of the questions, how we would answer them, and then also what you guys answered, and how many of you have filled out this survey or plan to. 913-586-7965. You want to start on the stadium stuff?
Yeah, so I had the survey sent to me by somebody who was obviously sent from and had received it. Let's start with the stadium stuff, and I'll tell you some of the other questions because I am curious about some of the other stuff. First, on just the current stadium, they're obviously looking for some sort of idea of what the things you like at Kauffman in an effort to incorporate it. So I guess here's the questions I'm curious to get the answers. They were saying, what are the things that you currently like at Kauffman that you would like to see in a new version of a stadium, no matter where that stadium is? We'll get to that in just a minute. And what are the things that you think are lacking in the current stadium? So I am curious what your answers are to that. Because other than the fountains and maybe Crown Vision, what is it? And I love Kauffman, but is there anything that can't be or needs to be? The rest are just services. What makes Kauffman is the Crown Vision and the fountains.
Yeah, and the history, right?
And the history, and how long it's been around.
You can't take the history necessarily with you as far as the stadium history and games that are played. But I'm with you on the elements. I think if you were to ask any Royals fan, whether the site is North KC or anywhere, people want to have fountains. That's a big deal. It's the city of fountains. People, whether it's I understand people would argue if they go to the Kansas side, they're not in the same city, so it's not the same thing. But the metro area is the city of fountains, all right? And that is something that I think is important to a lot of people. It's something that I obviously would like to have included. And people love the video board. Now, I don't know if they can replicate the exact size of that thing in a new stadium. It might not work.
But it is one of the true unique elements of their stadium that is different than any other stadium that exists. It for the same as like the Minneapolis St. Paul, where they've got, the two characters on the side of their scoreboard. I do think incorporating that is important. What I found most interesting about the survey was they ask about all three locations that we have recently discussed.
Right.
So, and you and I can talk about this in a minute, are they still haven't decided which of the three sites they're interested in? They mentioned the Washington Square Park location, the North Kansas City Clay County location, and of course the 119th location that we have talked about on the Overland Park side. What I found most interesting about this survey was not that they didn't simply ask, which site would you prefer? Which would you would think be the question? They instead asked different things depending on the site. So, the Overland Park site, they asked, do you think this is an attractive site for a stadium? Yeah, like pretty much, do you like the location of this? Here, I'll give you the exact reading because they're all in different screenshots. Sorry, somebody sent it to me. Do you find the proposed ballpark location in the Johnson County Overland Park area to be an attractive location or an unattractive location? Very attractive, somewhat unattractive, very unattractive. So you would be like, is that what they're going to ask about the Clay County site? No. The Clay County site, they simply ask, if the ballpark were located in Clay County or North Kansas City, do you think you might go to more games, go to about the same number of games, or go to fewer games than you do now? So then obviously asking a different question about that site, and then they're asking about and then they just asked, what are the things you want from a new ballpark? Barely asked anything about Washington Square Park.
Because I don't think that's happening.
Not that it wasn't in there, but part of me is just like, the difference in the question is, I think, based on this, they prefer the North Kansas City site, but they want to know if Johnson County season ticket holders will accept it as a location in which they will go to an equal number of games they used to go to on the independent side. And I'll be honest, if you've been going to Independence the entire time, why the hell would that change your opinion? Other than you might prefer the site that is now very close to you.
We've talked about this for years now. I mean, I've grown up on the Kansas side, so to what you just said, I'm used to going to the Truman Sports Complex. I've spent 95% of my sporting events I've gone to in my life, if not 99% of them, going and spending money and going to games on the Missouri side. So you're correct. For me, it wouldn't change. Now, I think what you said about the wording of the question is important because I think the thought, you can tell me if you disagree, is that, all right, on a Tuesday night, because remember, this is different than football. We're talking about 80 nights out of the year. So you're trying to make sure you can also get people that show up on
not just Fridays and Saturdays,
Tuesday and a
Wednesday.
Is it more likely, if you believe your base, ticket holder-wise, is on the Kansas side in Johnson County, okay? Do you think it's more likely on a Tuesday night that, let's just say a family of 4, is going to go to North KC
This is tough.
or stay in Johnson County?
If they're on the Johnson County side, stay in Johnson County.
Yes, I think that the
But
location.
do they think they can get the downtown people to come to North Kansas City?
For sure. Now, people won't like what I'm about to say. I will say that this goes back to the season ticket holder number. If they think a majority of the people that are spending money on season tickets are in a certain part of town, they would be more
the
willing.
Royals number. The Chiefs number has been 52 or 53 or
I think it's
whatever
55% of the Royals. I'm not 100% sure on the exact number, but that has been kind of the number for a couple of years. So that would be that's why I think the question is worded that way. And it'd be interesting. We've talked about on the show, I think the renderings, now that they could change, those on the North KC site look really, really cool. We've never seen renderings for the OP site, Cody.
What's interesting,
right? We haven't seen one single rendering for that site.
No, I think that they've worked
They
on
have them, obviously.
Yes.
We just have never seen them.
What I think is interesting about this is, and there was another study done I had read a couple of weeks ago where they had interviewed and messaged people about Johnson County Gold. And there was more people in Johnson County than I was expecting that are season ticket holders that still don't want it in their backyard. As in, fine, I still want to go to the games and I'm happy to have the tickets, but that doesn't mean I want it next door to where I live. And so there was a part
once
of
it's
that.
next door to you, people's tune changes. Like it depends how close. Like are you 10 minutes? If you're in South Johnson County and you're 10 or 15 minutes away, maybe you don't care. But if you live near 119th and Knoll, that might be a problem for you on a given night. So that's probably where some of that's coming from.
And so like from the 913, as a Johnson County resident, I'm not going to games in Clay County. It's too far away. That's over an hour for me. Which part of Johnson County are you in though?
I will say it's easier to get to the sports comp. I don't know about the hour.
Outside of the highway.
Than it is to go to North KC. Currently, depending on
35 is your only real way, depending on which part of Johnson County.
So I don't know about
and you'd have to take 69 around to 35 if you were in South Johnson County, which this person very well might be.
Yeah, for me, the sports
What's the drive to
I was going to say,
North
the sports complex for me right now is like a 25-minute drive, let's say, max.
I know where your place
Yeah,
is,
you
so
know
I
where
can
I'm
just
at.
look it up. Here,
So,
let me see. Now I'm just curious. Like, what's the exact drive time from Kaufman?
I think North Kansas City is like 32 minutes.
You are 29 minutes away right now, this time of day, from Kaufman Stadium from your place.
That sounds about right.
And I'll just look up, I guess the YMCA down there. In North Kansas
search,
City. That's right there. That's
Center
like
block
right
or
31 minutes.
Yeah,
I mean, and
very
you're
close.
you're in South Johnson County, not the southest Johnson County, but you're like in that area, and it's not an hour. Look, maybe in traffic or the other things, or depending on where it is. And look, I see plenty of people. I'd cut my leg off before driving to the Northland on a Wednesday. I guess my question about this is, and this would just be like,
that person's not alone. I don't know if it's a majority, but there's definitely people that feel that way.
I'm not trying to be critical. Like, this isn't about like Kansas versus Missouri. Johnson. I'm not like, I don't care. You choose to live where you live. Everyone's a part of Kansas City. It all is what it is. My question is, so like, then you weren't going before. No offense. Like, you're telling me that you were all gung-ho to get your ass out to Independence on a Tuesday night?
Well, that's the follow-up
from Johnson
Cody.
County. Get the hell out of here. You were going on Fridays and Saturdays all the same.
Yeah, that's the follow-up I would love to know in the survey. I don't have it up in front of me.
I do.
Is in that same survey, then I'm assuming at one point early on in the survey, they ask, how many games did you attend in the last year? Because what you just said, that solves that. I mean, if at the beginning of the survey it says, when's the last time you went to a Royals game? And if your answer is 5 years ago, and you're then in the survey saying you weren't going to go to North Kansas City, well, you haven't gone in 5 years anyway. Now, you're also always trying to get new people to come to your ballpark that haven't gone. How do you get people that haven't gone in 5 years? Right? There's the diehards that are going to go no matter what. But
you're not worried
to your
about
point, there's some people that haven't gone to a game in 5 years anyway. But why haven't they gone in 5 years? Is it because the product on the field? Is it because of the location of the stadium? There's a lot of reasons that you try to get answers to in this survey.
I know that it's not an option, but I think they would eliminate a lot of these questions with maybe not the location, but the drive and everything like that if they just put it downtown. Because it's the same, it's in a central spot.
But there's
everybody
some
gets
people.
I know that that's not happening, obviously, but they would be able to eliminate that question, essentially, or that concern of everybody's got this. You have the same distance from downtown as I do, probably as Cody does, as somebody else in Independence.
I think you're right. The only pushback on that I would say is you're never going to appease everybody, but
you can't hit every corner of
But I will say there's also the same way somebody might have texted in and said they wouldn't go to Clay County. There's also somebody listening.
Who won't go to Johnson County? I'll go less. I will go to less games.
There's also
it's a long drive for you.
There's
Cody.
also a lot of people that will say I'm not.
Zero.
There's also a lot of people saying on a Tuesday night they're not going to downtown Kansas City, Missouri.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Right,
now what percentage for each, I do not know. But I know there's what we just listed. There's plenty of people listening that apply to each one of the things we just said. And that's the challenge of what you're trying to figure out and why they're doing a survey.
And look, no matter what, in individuals, this is why they do it for a large scale of people versus just us. Gold, for the same reason I just mentioned, I am likely, Gold, to go to less games a year if it's 119th and Metcalf.
Yeah, and I'm more likely to go to more, right?
Yeah, I'm more likely to go to more in North Kansas City than you are.
Yeah.
But neither of us is just going to eliminate the habit or never go to a game again. But we're bad examples. Yeah. They did send which of the statements applies best to you. Kauffman Stadium is a great place to watch a game. There is no reason for the Royals to leave. I love the K, but it lacks the amenities of modern ballparks. That our region would be better served with a brand new ballpark at a different part of town, or Kauffman Stadium is past its prime and needs to be replaced by a modern ballpark that is surrounded by an entertainment district with shops, bars, and restaurants. Back to the same thing, which is which part of the town would you like it in? Some parts of towns, we will be surrounding it by an entertainment district, shops, bars, and restaurants. Other of those, 119th and Metcalf, have some of those things built in. Would I be surrounding them with those things? Those things exist. If they go to North Kansas City, there will be some more. There are shops, bars, and restaurants, but not as many as in that area.
Well, the Washington Square Park.
Yeah, there'd be a lot more at
the issue is
there's not space.
Yeah, the issue is there. The debate is whether or not only the financing element, which is a huge problem, is there actually space to do what you want to do? I mean, the whole point of the new stadium, a big chunk of that from the beginning was building and owning the real estate around it and having new revenue for the team, which ideally you would invest some of that back into the product on the field. And if you are building a new stadium, let's say downtown, and you're not able to own some of the real estate around it, well, then you're not getting the same benefit that at least you were selling everybody on way back when.
We were going to make more money, spend more money, and be in a better position. I did find this very interesting. And again, I wasn't sent the survey either. I simply messaged a few people who I thought might be sent the survey.
Yeah, I saw people on Facebook. People were screenshotting. For full disclosure, I have not filled out the survey. I was not sent the survey. But on Facebook and some other people that we know have been sent the survey, have filled out the survey, posted their answers as well.
What's also crazy about this is you're asking someone a survey to answer something, which I don't think will be true in the first 5 years. You have to play the 15 years. Gold, in the first year of a brand new stadium.
Everybody's going.
We're all going all the time.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter where it is. It doesn't matter if it's 119th and Metcalf. It doesn't matter if it's in North Kansas City. It doesn't matter if it's Washington Square Park. You and I are going to be at more Royals games that year. Everyone's going to be at more Royals games this year. It is 5 years from now. Let's say the winning is about where it is now. You're around 500 ball club. You make the playoffs some year. You don't make the playoffs other years. Then what do you do?
That was the other thing. It was all stadium.
Oh, yeah.
It wasn't just stadium.
No, it wasn't.
There was questions about your faith in the organization. Are they headed in the right direction? Let's go through a couple of those.
So here's just a quick rundown of them we talk about. Do you feel like the Royals baseball team is improving, falling behind, or staying the same? Do you believe the Royals will be better next season than they were this year? How much have you heard about recent investment by John Sherman and the Royals ownership into the team? Do you think it's a lot, some, not very much, or nothing at all? And then just talking about the increased resources in baseball operations. And have you heard things about those, including signing 2 of the 3 biggest contracts in Royals history, all in the face of declining TV revenue is exactly how the question is faced. And so they ask level of importance. They're trying to get a feel of, do you actually think we're trying here? We think we're trying.
Or how can they get the message across better and future marketing campaigns and PR and things like that. Yeah, that makes sense. They're not the first organization that the stadium part is the part that's relevant to a little more unique to Kansas City. The questions you just posed there, I would imagine a lot of teams send that kind of stuff out to gauge feedback from their fans.
Because the truth is, I don't blame them for this. And look, it is their job to get this messaging out or to do it.
Mm-hmm.
The Royals have actually put more investment in the team, and I think
since
John
he's
Sherman,
owned the team, absolutely,
far more effort, far sooner than Glass ever even dreamed of putting in the team in the early stages. He is, in my opinion, tried way harder to win than Glass did in the early stages of team ownership. And so, they have paid Bobby Wood Jr. more money, quadruple the highest contract, triple the highest contract they had ever handed out, and they've given out several other large contracts to go with. So do I think they're spending more money and trying harder than they have? Absolutely, I do. But it's not my job to get that message out for them necessarily.
For sure.
for them to make sure that
For sure.
and you got to win.
I still
winning
think-
is what will make you feel that they're spending the money. That's always a thing.
And going back to the stadium part of it, I still think, and this is where they really messed up. I think they let a narrative and framing about John Sherman happen right before their eyes, and it really hurt them. I think there was, incorrectly, by the way, because not only on the product on the field, but also in the community, I think he's done amazing things. I think people were able to quickly make him seem like out of touch and things like that.
And then the stadium makes you look like a bad guy because,
a lot of folks on the opposite side of the stadium front were able to make him look in a certain light. And I think it didn't tell the full story, but also they did a poor job of trying to push back on that. But I think if people really dug deep on some of the, not just hours, but obviously dollars, and that he is invested in the city, take away the baseball stuff.
That has to be
in the city. Like in the city, he has done way more than people realize, but they unfortunately, around the stadium election a couple Aprils ago, allowed a different picture to be pushed. But anyway, all right, let's get to the trash of the day.
Trash of the day.
All right, two quick ones. Let's start in Ontario. I did not know this was a thing, but someone stole $80,000 worth of whipped cream.
What are you going to do with $80,000?
Yep.
Did he try to have another party?
Someone in Ontario stole a trailer loaded with $80,000 worth of whipped cream last week. Police said a business manager reported the theft around 11 a.m. while a refrigerated trailer was hooked up and towed away around 4:30 in the morning. The trailer had 30 pallets of some brand I've never heard of whipped cream.
What's the
inside.
brand?
Gailey brand. Whipped cream. Police don't have a description of the suspect and aren't sure where the trailer went after it was stolen. The investigation is ongoing.
I will say,
Black market for whipped cream?
You ripped off the wrong truck.
You think that's what happened?
Dude,
they thought something else was in it?
There's no way to secondary market, sell off an entire truck full of whipped cream. That's not possible. I don't care. I mean, what are you going to do? Go door to door? For every, who's the market? You're not convincing grocery stores, so your next stop is, every sex shop that exists in the rest of the United States. So, good luck getting rid of a truck full of whipped cream. No chance. No chance.
Someone says nothing like a bunch of whipped cream and whipped cream bikinis. Yeah, I don't know, man. I don't know what the plan is there. All right.
I think they just ripped off the wrong truck. You want to know the
sounds
truth?
right. That sounds about right. All right, we go to China for this one. A gym offering a Porsche Panamera to the first person to lose 100 pounds in 3 months. Yeah.
That's a crazy amount of
So
weight.
it's a 2020. It's a used Porsche. All right.
Not even a new Porsche?
No. To be considered now, you do have to spend money. So this is where they get you a little bit. You have to pay a fee of what comes out to $1,400 to go through the process covering your 3 months of intensive training, accommodation, meals. So if you don't end up winning, you're getting in shape at least. But whoever loses 100 pounds in 3 months first wins. This seems very unhealthy.
Experts criticize the people behind the challenge for putting people's lives at risk.
Yeah, 100 pounds.
According to the article.
I'm no health expert. 100 pounds in 3 months, that seems very unhealthy to lose.
They said
that's too quick.
Losing a half a kilogram a day is too fast, a medical expert wrote, unless you're severely overweight. This pace will lead to muscle loss rather than fat loss, which can lead to hormone imbalances, hair loss, irregular or absent periods.
Yeah.
A safer goal weight is certainly less than that. Honestly, though, if you had been really thinking about the change in life and you were, as this person's saying, like severely overweight or needed to lose over 100 pounds.
Sure.
And this guy's offering up a Porsche. Kind of tempting.
Right,
know?
but you only have 3 months to qualify. And I'm saying, someone that's a doctor can listen. Losing, and as you cited it, losing 100 pounds in 3 months is not healthy at all.
No, it's not. What? Can you give me the Kelly Blue Book on this car? What was it?
2020 Porsche Panamera.
2020?
Panamera for sale. I want to know what the Kelly. I want a little KBB on it. Figure out where we're at as far as if I tried to go buy this car. CarGurus.com.
Well,
No,
it's
it's used.
it's used.
Ah, dude, CarGurus.com. Well, maybe this is a crappy one.
The whole contest isn't worth it to me if it's,
$50
if it's
grand.
a used Porsche.
Look like the cheapest you can get it for is about 48
Brand
grand.
new one for 140.
48 grand, 42,000 miles. You could have one right now. Gold, drive it up from Dallas.
I don't need to lose 100 pounds, but if it's
You'd die. You'd be dead.
Well, yeah.
You wouldn't make it.
Someone says, what about performance enhancers during this contest? Yeah, how do they make sure no one's doing Ozempic in the middle of this contest?
But I'm not. Can't. Better test me. Otherwise,
the car's not even new. This is not worth it. To put your health, to legitimately put your health at risk for a used Porsche? Sorry.
Someone said they're picking the smallest Porsche possible to try to get these people in the vehicle.
No.
Well, they're going to lose 100 pounds.
They'll be much smaller.
Oh.
And it's 50 grand. If you're actually the fastest person to do it.
Honestly, what you do is lose the weight, even though it's very unhealthy, get the Porsche, sell it, pocket the money, take care of your other things in life.
Yeah, I think that's probably smart. You don't think it's just going to be your daily driver now?
Yeah. Sell the Porsche, then go to Shawnee Mission Ford and get a vehicle.
Way to do it.
Let's get a Ford instead, you know? That's the trash of the day.
Instead of a used Porsche?
Yeah, there you go. They'll take a trade-in. They'll take a trade-in over there. All right, up next, let's get to the Chiefs Red Half Hour. We'll talk about Rashee Rice a little bit, how the Chiefs have utilized him. One thing that looks really promising moving forward for the rest of his career, as a matter of fact. That's coming up.
What's up, Chiefs Kingdom? It's Trey Smith. You're listening to Cody and Gold weekdays 10 to 2 on your home for Chiefs football. 96.5 The Fan.
Brought to you by Heartland Men's Health, the leader in men's sexual health. Thousands of men have been successfully treated for low T, ED, and more, all with discretion and compassion. Make your appointment at heartlandmenshealth.com.
Gen Z guys, did you know whether you have a college degree or not, your chance of being unemployed is basically the same, if not the same, or your chance of being unemployed is basically the same as whether you have it or not. So, look, there's another way. Centric, we mention this all the time. Centric Training gives you real hands-on experience, Gold, where you can get started in that career, and you can do it in as little as 4 months.
No gen ed classes. You're not wasting your time. You're not wasting your money. You mentioned 4 months. You're trained in just that period of time, not 4 years. Plus, Centric's going to help you land that job as well. So maybe you're not sure about your future. You're just trying to figure out, maybe you don't like your job right now. You're also looking perhaps to increase your salary.
You want to work while you go to school so you can get that career. You can do both of those things. Like you mentioned at Centric. Talk to our guy, Russ Mondry. Centric.com. Book a call with Russ Mondry. He'll get you all set up on that career in cybersecurity.
And Doug. Here we have the Limu Emu in its natural habitat, helping people customize their car insurance and save hundreds with Liberty Mutual. Fascinating. It's accompanied by his natural ally, Doug.
Limu, is that guy with the binoculars watching us?
Cut the camera. They see us.
Only pay for what you need at libertymutual.com.
Liberty, 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 liberty.
Savings vary. Underwritten by Liberty Mutual Insurance Company and affiliates. Excludes Massachusetts.
I'm worth more.
I'm worth more.
I'm worth a lot more.
And I completely agree. That's why I'll pay more for your car at GiveMeTheVin.com. That's the name of our new campaign. I'm worth more. You are worth more, and your car's worth more. And that's why I will pay more. And remember, if I don't beat the price on a CarMax or a Carvana deal, I'll pay you $100 at GiveMeTheVin.com.
Sell us your car. GiveMeTheVin.com. So easy you can do it in your underwear.
Ready for action, basketball fans? BetMGM, an authorized gaming partner of the NBA, is giving players another reason to hit the court this season. BetMGM is adding extra excitement to every basket, every slam dunk, and every buzzer-beating shot with special promotions, new features, and more. Log in throughout the season to find odds boost tokens, no sweat tokens, and same-game parlay boost tokens in your account to amplify your winnings. Enjoy enhanced product features like Dark Mode 2. Log into BetMGM, an authorized gaming partner of the NBA, all throughout the basketball season to see what's new. BetMGM and GameSense remind you to play responsibly. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. See BetMGM.com for terms. 21 plus only. Kansas only. Existing customer offer. Subject to eligibility requirements. Rewards vary and expire in 7 days. Please gamble responsibly in partnership with Kansas Crossing Casino and Hotel.
It's a classic odor tale. You fried fish for dinner, cleaned up, but the smell is still in the house. And the neighbors are coming over for game night. They're on their way. And then you spray Febreze Air Mist. Febreze Air starts working instantly to fight even your toughest odors, so you go from fish to fresh like that. Now all you have to worry about is Pam cheating at charades.
Breathe happy, Febreze, la 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 la.
Let me tell you about this new pretzel cheddar club.
Hey, I'm Carlos.
And I'm Ebony. And a little thing we love about the Chick-fil-A Pretzel Cheddar Club
is the tangy Dijon with the pretzel bun. It takes it to a whole nother level.
It goes perfectly with the chicken and the cheddar cheese and the bacon.
Man, you know how much you love bacon. And I love the different varieties. Grilled, spicy, original. It gets you nice and excited for fall.
Order the Pretzel Cheddar Club with Cherry Berry and Sprite for a limited time on the Chick-fil-A app. Real guests paid for their testimonials.
Gear? Check. Snacks? Check. Tires? Not so much. I didn't have time to deal with this, so I asked my friend. Her answer was simple. Take it to Telly, she said, and I'm so glad I did. They didn't just take care of my tires, they took care of me. We got you, they said, and they did. Fast, friendly, and stress-free. Now I know when life throws you a red card, take it to Telly. Stay in the game. Take it to Telly.
250 years ago, a promise was made to connect families and friends near and far. And during the holidays, that promise is more important than ever. That's why USPS is building a better network to meet your needs with timely deliveries, easy and affordable ways to ship, and everything you need to make your season full of holiday cheer. Our purpose is delivering your peace of mind, knowing your love will arrive, bringing joy to all. The United States Postal Service. Learn more at USPS.com/holidays.
We all hear the radio ads about the IRS. They tell you to be afraid, to be scared, and they try to frighten you into calling. I'm not here to do that. Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000, $50,000, or $500,000, we have a solution. It doesn't matter if you're sitting in your car, at work, or with your kids. No matter where you are, call now. 800-575-9834. Don't lose hope. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS. Generous programs are now available that can give you a fresh start. Our passion is taxes and helping individuals fix their IRS problems. We have over 1,000 5-star reviews on Google and an A+ with the Better Business Bureau. You don't need to be afraid of the IRS any longer. End your tax nightmare today by visiting us online at TRA.com or call 800-575-9834. That's 800-575-9834. Tax Relief Advocates. Real solutions for real people.
When you're hiring, have you ever felt like you're missing out on meeting truly great candidates for your roles? It seems impossible to find them, but they have to be out there somewhere, right? Well, they're not hard to find when you know where to go, and that place is ZipRecruiter. And right now, you can try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. ZipRecruiter helps 10 million people with their job search every day. And because these people are actively looking for jobs just like yours, it's easy to find the right person right away. In fact, 4 out of 5 employers who post on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. But if you're not using ZipRecruiter, you're missing out. So see what it's like when the impossible is easy. When you go to ZipRecruiter.com/free right now to try ZipRecruiter for free. Once again, that's ZipRecruiter.com/free. ZipRecruiter.com/free. Never miss out on great candidates with ZipRecruiter.
You're listening to 96.5 The Fan from the DM Injury Law Studios. Mike's got this. Welcome in to the Chiefs Red Half Hour. Every day at 11:30 with Cody and Gold on your new home for Chiefs football. 96.5 The Fan.
Chiefs Red Half Hour brought to you by All Weather Decks, Kansas City's most respected deck builder. Check them out at allweatherdecks.net. And because YouTube said, please never start a segment the way you did the last time, I swear to not do that anymore. Drew said Drew, you seriously deleted that from the podcast page? That's just not going to exist?
Don't delete it from the podcast page.
No,
It's part of the show.
No, the hour is okay. Like I didn't podcast the direct little minute 30 snippet.
Yeah, that was quite the start to the hour, Cody. Thank you for that story. Also, people pointing out Drew.
People just want to know about your childhood.
Drew's story about the dog, where he found a dog, returned to the owner, and the owner's like, "Nah, I'm good. You can keep the dog." Is also bizarre.
That was very confusing.
Yeah, very confusing. Is correct. Today is trade deadline day in the NFL. 3:00 this afternoon. Pretty quiet. The most notable trade so far: Jacoby Myers, the Raiders wide receiver, now a Jags wide receiver. He's with Jacksonville, a 4th and a 6th round pick going back to the Raiders. So
Tom Brady trading his dog in for the same dog is about as exciting as the trade deadline's been so far.
Brian Thomas, a hamstring injury. Travis Hunter on IR. That's why they pull off the trade for Myers. The Steelers were interested. Yes, Tom Brady cloning his dog. I'm convinced that if there was a pro athlete that was offered like $30 million, hey, Tom, we want the rights to clone you, I'm convinced he would take the $30 million check and then just see what happens.
Can I say, though, if you were cloning an athlete in order to make them a future professional, it ain't Tom Brady. Wouldn't I just clone like Cam Newton or some other freak athlete?
You wouldn't.
What am I cloning
I
Tom
agree,
Brady
Cody.
for?
I totally agree.
Well, so the
Tom Brady's low on the is not.
He's pretty low on my. I'm going to clone as a physical specimen.
Well, yeah. So
wouldn't I just clone LeBron and make him a quarterback instead of a basketball player?
Yes,
Damn.
yes.
Well, so my question
SGA and
is,
just turn him into football.
my question would be for someone that knows way more on this than we do with cloning. Am I cloning? Do I get the elements of like the brain as well? Like,
I don't know, man.
What I'm saying is, Tom Brady. I want the brain of Tom Brady, but I want the physical specimen would be more like Justin Herbert.
Shake them together in a test tube, and then your baby's essentially a combination of the two.
Because the only thing is, just Cam Newton as a clone, you wouldn't want that. That wasn't the greatest quarterback of all time. I need I need combinations here.
I got to say, if it's that, though, I'm all for football players altogether. The best athletes in professional sports play the NBA. So if I'm just saying I get Tom Brady's brain, but an athlete, I'm getting like Russell Westbrook, but with Tom Brady.
Sure.
Like I'm getting I'm getting an NBA athlete
in
there, I feel like. Other than like, your fear of a Cam Newton is the injury-related stuff.
Yeah. Like Tom Brady, he would even tell you, like, physically, he's by far not anywhere near one of the top 15 quarterbacks in the last 20 years, even. But we all know when it came to just knowing and knowing the defenses and being able to have the clutch gene and all that, I want all that.
I'm guessing you couldn't, like, at a certain height, you just couldn't stay healthy. But would Wembayama, would he work in the NFL as a tight end for a couple of snaps?
He would only have a 5-year career if that.
What about in the red zone? Drew, what if you only used him inside the 5 in jump ball situations?
Here's what I would do.
Like oh, come on. You're trying to tell me that wouldn't work?
I would be very
intrigued.
Wemby inside the 5-yard line on a fade route.
But wouldn't I just...
How?
But wouldn't you just, this is, you get penalized, but wouldn't people just go low and just take out his legs every single time? That's all I would do. You just go low and take out his legs.
That's why I think the red zone thing, Cody.
Not in the red zone. You can't swipe out his
but he's going to get hurt and his career's over.
So you would purposely hurt the guy.
I'm saying somebody would do that, not purposely. Like he would get injured on a play like that.
I don't know, man. I think it was just fade routes in the red zone. I think this works. Now they play at the same time, so this obviously isn't going to play. He's going to make a lot of money playing basketball.
Someone says I just cloned Bo Jackson. That's a good answer. Yeah.
But again, athletes, we just know this, evolutionary, are getting better over time. Yeah. So Bo Jackson was a great athlete in his time.
He'd be a freak. He would still be just as like the fact that he was playing 2 sports and all that.
Yeah,
like he would still be a freak today. I'm convinced.
But he also, now his was more of a freak injury than like what we're discussing with some of these other guys. But this was not the conversation. Damn you, Tom Brady, for getting us down this road today.
Cloning his dog.
I still think Wemby would work in the red zone. I stand by that.
I'm
just imagining some 5'11" corner. Dude, I mean, it would be... It's a 2.5 foot
It'd be
height
a one-hand
difference.
catch every
Before
game.
reach.
You just throw the ball up and just...
I would legitimately just have him put his 2 hands in the air and he doesn't even have to jump, I don't think.
No.
Isn't he
I legitimately think no NFL player in the league who plays corner can jump higher than the reach of Wembayama just holding his arms up, not jumping at all.
Wouldn't people just press the what out of him though at the line of scrimmage? He's too skinny. He would have to bulk up.
Oh, you're saying he wouldn't get to
he would just get pressed inside 5 yards. You would just mug him.
You would have to that's fair. You would have to block. You would have to get him open, I guess, in some way.
All right, let's talk about Rashee Rice.
We'll make it work.
let's talk about Rashee Rice a little bit here.
Sure.
One element of his game that they've now done twice in 3 games since he's been back, and this is to me like not just for this year. This is beyond. This is his entire career. One element that he's going to be so effective at, besides just as a wide receiver, we know he was a running back in high school. They have had him now twice in the Wildcat. And it's very much a Debo in his prime type of look. He looks comfortable with the football. Yards after the catch is why he's great as a receiver. Well, he's a former running back, so now they have him lined up as a quarterback/running back, and it's worked. They led to a touchdown, as we know, this past week. He has got 4 touchdowns in the last 10 quarters.
I think that there's a real part of this that's
12 now, but
no, it's okay.
10. You know what
I think there's a real part of this that's going to work, and that they are planning on. And we talked about this as it relates to the running game. They are planning on this being a part of their offense. What I would say is make it a regular part of your red zone offense. Where I thought it looked the best was when they got Xavier Worthy in the backfield next to him, and you don't know whether to crash inside, because if you even so much as hint at a crash inside, Xavier Worthy's going to be around the corners so fast. And I think, and this is probably a bit of an indictment on the running backs, the best run I've seen all year from an inside the tackle, as in movement inside the tackle base, might have been Rashee Rice. He seemed like he understood movement in space as it related to an inside handoff. They get good push in the interior, let Rashee Rice either run it up the middle or hand it off to Rashee Rice on the outside. I saw enough, or have seen enough of it already. I wouldn't mind more, especially in the red zone.
Once the
where
game,
this
they
team
should
is
be
still
doing-
not perfect by any means.
Once the game, especially near the goal line, wouldn't mind the wildcat look. I'm with you. You know, I
This
know.
goes back to the sneak, too. Like, if you just told me Rashee Rice was going to line up under center and just going to shove him behind, he's a strong player. Why not?
Yeah, I don't know if I want him in that role. I would rather for me, like I'd rather him in the wildcat and let him use his speed and ability to as you said, choose.
Yeah.
Versus, you know, if you're telling me just go with a non-quarterback under center and do a tush push, Rice would not be my pick. I don't think. Other than just doing it with Gardner Minshew, it would probably be going back to trying the Noah Gray stuff again. Robert Tonyan, you know, it'd be. Hell, Kareem Hunt.
It used to be Blake Bell.
Yeah.
But, like, why? I guess this is part of it. Like, why not train Noah Gray? Like, why not spend an entire training camp training one player to be your QB sneak guy? We've already pointed this out. It doesn't matter that they're running it. Gold, before Josh Allen, ran 2 different quarterback sneaks in that game. He said, here it comes, and it's going to the left. Did they get it? Both times. Like, it's not like a mystery. People know what you're going to do. It is, at this moment, an indefensible play, the quarterback sneak, especially because you can shove and push them. So just, until they change the rule, just train somebody to do it. My whole thing is like, you're never going to do it with Mahomes, and so it is. That doesn't explain away the rest of it. This is where I kind of like the Rice thing. This shows a willingness to choose a different package and use these different people in a spot you don't want to use Mahomes. Because Mahomes could run that same read option, run up the middle like Rice. Now, he's not the athlete of Rice, obviously, and would not get there. But he would have some success in a read option run play. They just don't want to risk Mahomes that close to the goal line taking that kind of hit versus a wide receiver. I hope we see more and more of it.
I think we're going.
I think it's really worked. It's effective. The Debo comparison's very good. I like it. I hope we see more and more and more.
I think that's a long-term thing, too, for his career. Like, I don't, this is not just unique to, this is something that's working in 2025. I think this is, for the next 3+ years, could be a big part of his, go ahead.
I looked at the text line and someone said the corner would be press coveraging his downstairs area with how tall he is.
Wemby?
Yeah, where exactly is he pressing him against the line, you know?
Yeah.
Jeez.
Not the state.
True.
Not, you know.
Yeah, I mean, if you're a 5'10" corner and he's 7, what is he now? What is he? He
7'6" basically, but people say he's 7'7".
So he's 7'7" and you're 5'11". Yeah.
Think about where you'd be pressing.
Doesn't matter. You just mug him at the line of scrimmage. He's not getting into the end zone.
Yeah, that's fair. Back off of the Wemby stuff for a minute. But yes, I really do think
someone needs to make an AI version of like that sequence just so
at this point,
someone can do that.
I think we need I'm asking Nate Taylor at one whether or not he's a big NBA guy and a big NFL guy. I'm asking whether or not he
could
thinks
do it. Anyways,
Wemby
He
would
is
work in
way
a red
too
zone.
way too skinny. Way too skinny.
I'm just talking red zone. Not every snap. I'm not trying to out here play him 50 snaps a game. I'm just saying you get down to the 5-yard line, he just stands still. What is his reach with his arms over his head? Do we know?
Oh, it's got to be.
I mean, well over 8 feet.
9.
I mean, his wingspan's 8 foot, but
9.
Yeah, but obviously his
feet.
arms go up.
I bet you it's
Yeah.
9.5 feet. I bet you it's 9.5 feet. About.
I didn't know what it is.
I mean, he's able to dunk a basketball basically standing. So I mean, it might be 10 feet.
Like,
actually.
what are the highest verticals in the NFL Combine? Like 40, like 42 inches
Didn't
or
like
44
Cooper
inches?
DeJean have a ridiculous one? Where
Yeah,
I don't know if he broke the record. It's like probably 43, 45.
46 inches is the highest jump in NFL history. I think that's right.
Is the highest jump in NFL history?
Yeah.
So we're getting 4 feet of leap, and they're 6 feet tall. They
Chris
can get
Conley was 45 inch.
the highest vertical leap, coupled with somebody 6 foot tall, can barely get to where Wemby's arms would just reach.
Guess what Wemby's vertical is?
I have no idea.
I bet it's 42 inches or something.
40. So he's 7'6". He's 40.
They don't have to throw it up. Is the point?
All right, the trade deadline is at 3:00 this afternoon, and it's been quiet, as we said. We mentioned a couple of the moves for the Chiefs. Barring a big shift, either they're not going to do anything or it's going to be like one small move, it appears right now.
It's starting to feel like, they're not going to do anything. I saw the Bears are shopping for a defensive lineman, which is a problem for the Chiefs, obviously, because that's the same position they need.
There's only been one trade that I wish the Chiefs would have made that I've seen already happen.
Not the Jacoby Myers one.
Not Jacoby Myers, not even Jalen Phillips.
That was a
third-round pick.
Great player, though.
Jermon Jones is who I'm talking about here. Conditional 5th-round pick, could become a 4th, I believe. Rental player, 4.5 sacks over the last month. Not a ton of money remaining on the 1-year deal that he signed because we're halfway through the season. He's somebody I would have been very interested in. Instead, he ends up with the Baltimore Ravens. Now, like all these things, were the Chiefs in on him? Did they just never have any interest? What was the reason for it? I'm not sure. But he's the only trade where I'm like, all right, didn't have to give up a whole lot. Productive player, makes some sense there. As far as who's left, we get back to the names we've all been mentioning. Collins from Cleveland. Sebastian Joseph Day in Tennessee, I think would only take like a 7th-round pick. And then, of course, Calais Campbell, as you brought him up earlier in the text line. That's kind of it. Otherwise, I don't think they're making much of a move or any move.
Well, I think it's a mistake, and I'll say as much tomorrow if we get through this. If we get through today and they don't make a trade, it's a mistake to not make a trade for a defensive lineman. It's come on, look where they are. Just look where they are. Charles Omenihu played 35% of the snaps and hadn't gone anywhere. And outside of and they haven't gone anywhere, and Chris Jones hasn't been the same. George Karlaftis is the only consistently performing player. As we speak, another trade's happened in the NFL. The Jets are now trading cornerback Sauce Gardner to the Indianapolis Colts, a team the Chiefs will see in a couple of weeks in a blockbuster deal,
Sauce
I would say.
Is out of
on
New
that
York.
End. So the Indianapolis Colts have traded Sauce Gardner to the Indianapolis Colts. I have not seen the trade compensation yet. Sauce Gardner 5 minutes ago sent out a tweet that before this news broke that said, New York, it's been real. And then obviously somebody did some digging and found out that would be the case. So yeah, Ian Rappaport and others now reporting that Sauce Gardner's out of New York and heading to the Indianapolis Colts. Certainly the Chiefs matchup 2 or 3 weeks from now got harder. They just got a number 1 corner to go with what was a defense that was already performing pretty well. I'll get you back on the compensation when it comes out. But yeah, another massive deal here in the NFL. That's way bigger than any deal I thought was going to get made today.
It's the biggest trade of the deadline so far. Yeah. He is 24.
Yeah,
he just signed a deal, 4 years. They just signed him this offseason. Is that right?
That's probably right.
To an extension? That's the Jets for you. What I mean, honestly, though.
Well, then everyone's available. Call him on Quinnen Williams.
I mean, the Jets.
Let's swing for the offenses officially.
They just signed into an extension this offseason, 4 years, $120 million. I remember bringing this up when we were discussing Trent McDuffie's value and everything. 4 years, $120. So he's making $9 million this year, $12 million, then $23 million. So the Colts are getting, I'm assuming they're taking on or are giving up massive draft capital here to pull this off. They're signing a player that's already under contract for the next 4 years.
I mean,
on top of it,
they've got the space. They're not overpaying their quarterback, although they will have to pay him more after this season because obviously he's going to remain a Colt for a while now based on where this season's going. That's a massive upgrade for the Colts. I wasn't sure any team was going to take this. They're trying to, and we talked about this with the Colts. They're trying to take advantage of Gold of what might be a 1 or 2 year window. It's Daniel Jones still. It is a limited opportunity sometimes when these Mark Sanchez, Blake Bortles, Joe Flacco years comes piled together.
Oh, here you go.
And you got a small window to get it done.
Massive, though, compensation as we were expecting. Not to this extent. Adam Schefter, 2 first-round picks going back to the Jets. So if you're the Jets, that's why you do it, because you just signed the guy to a contract. Wow, so the Colts are, you can't be any more all-in on this year now. You just gave up 2 first-round draft picks. I'm assuming one is this year.
They know it's a limited window.
And one is next year. I don't know if they had multiple first-round picks. So my assumption would be it's a 2025 and a 2026 first-round draft pick. Can I say, if the Colts end up going to the Super Bowl, it doesn't matter, okay? If the Colts win the Super Bowl, nobody cares. Otherwise, it's a great trade for the Jets. You're getting 2 first-round picks in an organization that is stuck, has no future quarterback, and now you're adding a couple first-round picks. Ahmad Gardner is a very, very good corner, one of the best in the league. But you have way bigger issues there. I'm getting 2 first-round picks back, and I'm freeing up all that money.
And we're way behind in a roster construction standpoint that Sauce Gardner alone is not going to solve our problem. I'll say they only have 1 first-round pick next year, so it probably is each of the next 2 years. They have an extra 7th next year to the Colts. Don't now, obviously, as they just traded it. If you're the Colts, some of this gold is like what you said. If you win a Super Bowl, it's worth it. is it worth
Massive.
taking this big of a swing for a team led by Daniel Jones? This goes back to like our feeling.
I think it just stabilizes your future. He's your
in
guy
what
going
way?
forward.
Like you're still quarterback is the only way to stabilize a future, like in the long term.
Oh no, yeah, I mean on defense.
So yeah, but like there's part of it that I still wonder whether or not this is the right kind of risk. This risk would make more sense to me in a way if you were like a Bills team, or a Chiefs team, or a team that had stability in a lot of other areas, and you wanted this kind of start. Now, look, they don't need it because they got the quarterback. Maybe that's the argument. But I mean, it's definitely an improvement. Don't get me wrong. The Colts are now harder to play in 3 weeks.
Another trade in the NFL I want to get to in a second, but real quick, just finishing this conversation for a second on Ahmad Gardner, for just joining us, getting traded to the Indianapolis Colts for 2 first-round draft picks. Someone says, we keep doing this with the Colts, moving the goalposts for them. They keep winning, looking competent. I don't think this conversation is moving the goalposts. We're saying, look, if the Colts win the Super Bowl or get to a Super Bowl, then it's fine. In general, giving up 2 first-round picks for a corner, I think acting like it's not risky and it's not a massive haul would also be inaccurate. Like, fans in Indianapolis should be fired up. Your organization is doing like it's like you playing your Madden video game. Like, hell yeah, who cares?
Yeah.
F them picks kind of thing, right?
And they are one of the better teams in the AFC right now.
But it's the truth is, yeah, if the Colts lose in the first, but the same thing applies to if Kansas City did this exact same trade. If the Chiefs would make a trade like this and lost in the wild card round, then it's a bad trade. The same thing is going to apply for the Colts. Yes, they get Ahmad Gardner for 4 more years.
Sure. Look, I guess if they win a Super Bowl anytime in the Sauce Gardner era, I'll give it to him gold.
All right.
It doesn't necessarily have to be this year.
Yeah, that I think is the.
But I agree with you in the sense that they still got to win in order for it to work. The other trade you were mentioning is the Saints are now sending Rashid Shaheed to the Seahawks, according to multiple reports as well. So another guy, that's an NFC trade, doesn't affect the Chiefs nearly as much. But Seattle adding yet another wide receiver to their already talented wide receiver unit. Shaheed just offers a slightly different deep ball skill set.
Yeah, different type of receiver. Cooper Kupp's been a little banged up. That one is more like middle road type of trade, I would say. It's lower end than the Jacoby Myers one.
Yeah, it is.
Earlier.
But it's still not nothing. I mean, Seattle, we see these teams right now. This is what stands out to me. Sam Darnold, Daniel Jones. I've told you, we talk about windows all the time in the NFL. Gold. The window for the Chiefs is Patrick Mahomes' entire career. This is not moving the goalpost for the Colts this year, who have been, and I think established themselves as one of the better teams in the AFC. What I'm saying is they know that a Sam Darnold, Daniel Jones, those windows are limited. Baker Mayfield is the only one I can think of where like they've at least extended it out multiple years in a row of competitive football. All these other teams who have had these, they pop in quarterbacks have moved on from them, as in like the Vikings moved on from Sam Darnold, or mattered for a couple of years and then kind of came back to like relative mediocrity.
Other teams that did trades for 2 first-round picks. This is updated. This is a little outdated article, but it gets us where we need to be. The Bears used 2 first-round picks to acquire Jay Cutler from Denver back in 2009.
Oops.
The Dolphins, of course, acquired Ricky Williams from the Saints for 2 first-round picks in 2002. The Bucs used 2 first-round picks to acquire Keyshawn Johnson from the Jets. The Falcons used 2 first-round picks to acquire Jeff George. Then we go way back, Vikings, Herschel Walker trade. We keep going back. Point is, it doesn't happen very often, and usually it doesn't involve a corner, I guess is what I'm getting at.
Yeah, normally you mentioned quarterbacks for at least a few of that. So yes, it's surprising. Look, he's an incredibly young corner who could play for you for more than a decade, hypothetically, or 6 to 8 years or 9 years. Obviously, he's under contract for that. But you're right. He just this offseason signed a 4-year, $120 million extension. And they currently are the best record, including tiebreakers, in the NFL, tied for the best record in the NFL as it sits right now. And so, yeah, this is a massive deal. This is way bigger than any deal I thought was going to happen at the trade deadline. And it just so happens to be a team that is the next, not the next game for the Chiefs, but the game right after that for Kansas City against a game that we already thought was going to be very difficult at home for them against the Colts. That matchup just got a little more juice as Sauce Gardner is obviously heading to Indianapolis, if you're just tuning in, for 2 first-round picks, according to pretty much every NFL insider at this point. So massive, massive, massive deal in the NFL. I guess we'll see if anything else is coming to fruition. That make Brett Veach decide he needs a defensive lineman anymore? That's one of the teams ahead of you.
Yeah. I don't think any of these trades are changing the Chiefs' outlook and whether or not they're going to make a move later today. But the headline, I still can't get over the Sauce Gardner trade.
It's an overpay, I think.
He's a hell of a football player.
He's been the best corner in the league according to PFF since he got there. Like, he's been the best corner in the league.
I don't want to downplay how good of a corner he is. He is very, very good. He's now going to join for the first time in his career a good football team, a really good football team, in the Colts. My only thing, and I think it's fair, and this is the calculus that they're taking, and if you're a Colts fan, you should love it. They're all in. They think they're having, and they are having, a very special season. The AFC looks a little more wide open than it's been. The Chiefs look more vulnerable. They're certainly a 5-4 team, not a 7-1, a 7-2 team. The Colts are coming off a game in which they just had 6 turnovers. So that's
still had a shot to win it.
And yeah, within reason, late. It is just that you don't get to an AFC title game or Super Bowl. And you guys disagree with that. I think you said it also applies to next year. I just don't know how sustainable the Colts run is.
Maybe it's not all 4 years, but yeah.
But you give up 2 first-round picks. You better be on the doorstep of winning a Super Bowl.
I will say,
and maybe they feel they are.
We can talk about this coming back from the break because I think it's interesting. Do you think any part of this big move by Indianapolis, or the fact that the Jags have made one of the bigger, not a big deal, but a bigger deal of the ones made today in Jacoby Myers, is them spilling blood in the water, that maybe they think for the first time in a very long time they actually have a shot at the AFC because the Chiefs have actually shown some flaws.
All right, we'll get to what's trending, and as you said, we'll get back into the trade deadline, the biggest move of the day. Sauce Gardner, now a member of the Indianapolis Colts in exchange to the Jets for 2 first-round picks. We'll also talk about how the Chiefs are handling these one-score games in 2025.
This is Cody and Gold on your new home for Chiefs football. 96.5, The Fan. Brought to you by Heartland Men's Health, the leader in men's sexual health. Thousands of men have been successfully treated for low T, ED, and more, all with discretion and compassion. Make your appointment at heartlandmenshealth.com.
Get ready for next spring. Have your dream space for the rest of this year. You can have your dream deck over at All Weather Decks. The right deck at the right price. It's gorgeous this week. You remember what it's like to sit out there by the fire pit, the outdoor kitchen, the dreams you've been thinking of, or just get your space ready for next year so that you can have that dream space when spring weather comes around. I want to point out that they've got maps of their work all over town, and they've been serving the Kansas City area as a locally owned and operated company for the last 15 years. So whether it be wood decks or composite decks or outside kitchens or pergolas or like the cover screened-in patio that I love having on my house so much, you have the ability to make that dream space come true. Don't just take it from me. Check out some of the reviews over at allweatherdecks.net and see what other customers like myself are saying about the quality of work that they do. A strong track record of quality since 2008. Triple B rated or Triple B A+ rated, and everything else in between. They've got every standard of quality that you would come to expect. Go to allweatherdecks.net, schedule a free estimate today, or give them a call. 913-206-1974.
FanDuel is putting you in control right from NBA tip-off because every day to start the season, you get to choose your reward. Take your shot with the Profit Boost token. You can play it cool with the no-sweat bet, or you can get a little backup with the Bet Back token. So what I like to do is I like to pick 3 players that I think are going to score at least 20 points. It gives you something to cheer for. It gives you something to root for. So you can put a little bit of extra sauce on it with the Profit Boot token, or you can just play it easy. You can play it relaxed with that no sweat bet. Whatever your pick is, whatever your strategy is, get into the game and play it your way. Head to FanDuel.com/KFNZ to make it your choice. FanDuel is an official sportsbook of the NBA and also 96.5 The Fan. 21 and present in Kansas. Opt-in required. Rewards are non-withdrawable. Restrictions apply, including bonus and token expirations, league requirements, and max wager amount. See terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. FanDuel is offering online sports wagering in Kansas under agreement with Kansas Star Casino, LLC. Gambling problem? Get out with your best bet. Call 1-800-522-4700. Visit kansasgamblinghelp.com.
Hey, friends, it's noisy out there with information coming at us all day, every day. It's hard to know what to trust, and the world of wealth management is no exception. That's why UMB Private Wealth Management helps you tune out the noise and tune into what matters most. They'll create a financial plan based on your unique goals, so it's your voice that comes through loud and clear. Get financial clarity. Go to umb.com/private wealth to schedule an appointment. That's umb.com/private wealth.
It's a classic odor tale. You fried fish for dinner, cleaned up, but the smell is still in the house. And the neighbors are coming over for game night. They're on their way. And then you spray Febreze Air Mist. Febreze Air starts working instantly to fight even your toughest odors, so you go from fish to fresh like that. Now all you have to worry about is Pam cheating at charades.
Breathe happy, Febreze, la 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 la.
Let me tell you about this new pretzel cheddar club. Hey, I'm Carlos.
And I'm Ebony. And a little thing we love about the Chick-fil-A Pretzel Cheddar Club
is the tangy Dijon with the pretzel bun. It takes it to a whole nother level.
It goes perfectly with the chicken and the cheddar cheese and the bacon.
Man, you know how much you love bacon. And I love the different varieties. Grilled, spicy, the original. It gets you nice and excited for fall.
Order the Pretzel Cheddar Club with Cherry Berry and Sprite for a limited time on the Chick-fil-A app. Real guests paid for their testimonials.
We're on a mission to get everyone high-quality health insurance and better health. We have plans with low out-of-pocket premiums. For coverage to start January 1st, you must enroll by December 15th. Go to ambetterhealth.com/enroll for your free, no-obligation quote. That's ambetterhealth.com/enroll. Ambetter Health, on a mission for better. Ambetter Health is the brand name for health insurance products underwritten by subsidiaries of Centene Corporation. Go to ambetterhealth.com to see offerings in your state. This is a solicitation for insurance.
Nationwide is so much more than a great insurance company. They're one of America's largest financial services companies. Like how I'm more than Saquon Barkley, the NFL's reigning leading rusher. I'm also the NFL's leading husher. Shh, hush up back there. Wow, I might have just set the hushing record. Well, almost. For your insurance and financial needs, Nationwide is on your side.
Nationwide Investment Services Corporation, member FINRA, Columbus, Ohio.
This is the story of the one. As a custodial supervisor at a high school, he knows that during cold and flu season, germs spread fast. It's why he partners with Grainger to stay fully stocked on the products and supplies he needs, from tissues to disinfectants to floor scrubbers. All so that he can help students, staff, and teachers stay healthy and focused. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
When you're hiring, have you ever felt like you're missing out on meeting truly great candidates for your roles? It seems impossible to find them, but they have to be out there somewhere, right? Well, they're not hard to find when you know where to go, and that place is ZipRecruiter. And right now, you can try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. ZipRecruiter helps 10 million people with their job search every day. And because these people are actively looking for jobs just like yours, it's easy to find the right person right away. In fact, 4 out of 5 employers who post on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. But if you're not using ZipRecruiter, you're missing out. So see what it's like when the impossible is easy. When you go to ZipRecruiter.com/free right now to try ZipRecruiter for free. Once again, that's ZipRecruiter.com/free. ZipRecruiter.com/free. Never miss out on great candidates with ZipRecruiter.
Cody and Gold, weekdays starting at 10 on Kansas City's FM sports station. 96.5 The Fan, KFMZ FM and AM, HD1 and HD2 Kansas City, in Odyssey Sports Station. What's trending?
God dang!
Brought to you by Telly Tire and Auto Centers. Winning starts with a great drive. Since 1942, Telly's certified techs have delivered complete car care with top brand tires and expert auto service. Keep your drive going. Take it to Telly. Visit TellyTire.com today.
Number one on what's trending, it is trade deadline day, and things got really interesting in the last 15 to 20 minutes or so. The headliner of all the trades in the last week or so, Sauce Gardner, Jets' 2-time All-Pro corner, headed to the Indianapolis Colts in a blockbuster trade. 2 first-round draft picks from Indy going back to the Jets. Also, the Colts' second-round draft pick from a year ago, wide receiver A.D. Mitchell, going back to New York as well.
Quite the haul for New York.
A huge haul for New York. An all-in move for the Colts, who have a quarterback playing like an MVP, a running back playing like the best a running back can possibly play. And now they get a new cornerback 1. You remember, just signed a 4-year contract, did Sauce Gardner, this offseason for $120 million. So a stunning trade. We'll talk more about it. It got us thinking a little bit about the Chiefs situation as well.
Correctly pointed out, I think, by a couple of guys, his contract structure is part of the reason this is possible.
It's the bonus structure.
Yeah, his bonus structure keeps it from being a big dead cap hit for the Jets, which makes it more plausible.
Also, Rashid Shaheed,
he's a
talented
Seahawk.
deep threat from the Saints, traded over to Seattle to join up with Jackson Smith and Jigba and
you
Sam
mention Jacoby
Darnold.
Myers?
Jacoby
To
Myers
the-
from the Raiders
to
to
the
the
Jags.
Jags. Those are the big moves of the day.
Chiefs, nothing yet. Crickets.
Deadline
from
3
Brett
o'clock.
Veach. We still got just a little bit of time left, at least on that. Next up on What's Trending, MU started their season off beating Howard last night. Kansas easily beat Green Bay, and K-State will kick off their season tonight right here at 96.5 The Fan against UNC Greensboro. I did happen to look up the UMKC score. A little tight against Evangel.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Really? How
Not-
tight?
not a-
How tight?
Real tight.
Like what? Give me
4
a number.
points.
Oh.
Not a great sign for the old Ruse
Wow.
basketball squad. We'll
It's
see.
game 1. A win's a win, Cody.
Yeah, dub's a dub. Dub's a dub.
MLB news, a lot of the awards starting to come out and finalists announced and everything. Also, we're getting the opt-outs happening.
Yep.
Shota Imanaga, the Cubs pitcher, opting out of his deal with the Cubs.
I guess it triggered like an option to continue with the squad, but then he denied the $15 million club option as well, or a player option as well. So we'll see exactly where it goes. Lastly, on What's Trending, Live Golf officially announced they're switching to a 72-hole format. Wow. Really made it a whole 2 years being like, we're going to give you your family life, and we only do 54 holes and no cuts. Guess what, Drew? 72-hole format, exactly like every other golf tournament.
Is there a cut? Do we know?
I mean, if they're going to a 72-hole format, I'm going to guess there's a cut.
It's team stuff. I don't know.
Yeah, maybe not.
I wonder if it's not. But yeah, I think the PGA Tour can pat themselves on the back a little bit more.
That is what's trending here on Cody and Gold. We'll get to all 32 in a bit, but let's keep talking trade deadline. So once again, Sauce Gardner brings back a massive 2 first-round pick haul and their second-round wide receiver from a year ago, A.D. Mitchell from the Colts to New York. An all-pro, 2-time all-pro corner. Sauce Gardner is a hell of a football player. I'm not trying to act like he's not. And they get a player that's under contract for 4 years, and they're all in. And if you're a Colts fan, you should be fired up that your organization is doing that. I will say, though, and this is, call me a Colts hater again, they gave up a lot.
Oh, yeah.
A lot. It's a great trade for the Jets. There's a chance it could be a great trade for the Colts as well, but it comes down to what do they do in the playoffs. I mean, this year and next year, if the Colts are one and done in the postseason, then it's a bad trade. Sorry, it just is. It's the reality of how it works when you gave up a first and second round pick. It also tells me they plan on giving an extension, in my opinion, to Daniel Jones in the offseason because you already now have traded 2 first round picks. You're not going to draft a young quarterback.
Nope.
So this you think you have found your franchise quarterback. And by the way, he's playing like it. So okay,
At the moment, yeah,
and
he is.
2 first-round draft picks, you figure you got your number 1 corner locked up. You got your running back figured out. You got, the question for them is going to be more on the defensive line moving forward, I think, long-term. A lot of rumors that the Colts would go trade for Trey Hendrickson or somebody. I guess they still could, but they just traded away 2 first-round draft picks. I think they gave up too much, but time will tell, ultimately, on that. So naturally, when you see a top corner in football get traded and you see two first-round picks, you say, wait a second, the Chiefs
have a top corner.
The Chiefs have one of the best corners in football, and this offseason, it's all going to be all about getting a contract extension done with him. If the exact same compensation was there, and by the way, I don't think the Chiefs would get 2 first-round draft picks for McDuffie.
But let's say they would.
Oh, well, in the offseason, because they're not going to trade him in season.
No.
So hypothetical offseason, Chiefs have an offer on the table for 2 first-round picks. Any hesitation?
So I want to preface this by saying I like Trent McDuffie, and I think he is an excellent player. If some team in the offseason offered the Chiefs 2 first-round picks for Trent McDuffie, so
yes, absolutely.
And I say that knowing he is a great player. I also say that knowing that Brett Veach evaluation. Let's not get in an argument over every single part of the job he does. Although they've been to 3 straight Super Bowls, so I don't think he exactly stinks at his job.
His value
Like
is not
some
the
think.
same as Sauce Gardner. It's just not.
He is excellent at identifying cornerback talent. Christian Fulton might be his lone miss in an offseason or a draft department. And that's a free agent, so it's a little bit different. He has done a better job than most GMs at identifying corner talent than just about anyone. So if someone came across the table and said, I'll give you the 2 first-round picks this year and next year for Trent McDuffie, I'd sell in an instant. In an instant. That's what Micah Parsons was for. We're talking about elite-level pass rushers. They have a different value in the NFL, according to everyone. Like you mentioned, some of the quarterbacks who were traded for 2 first-round picks. That's why we go back to the Jets. If they offered it, I'd have to take it. I think if you were Brett Veach, you'd have to take it. Matter of fact, you have to, because of this, make calls you weren't planning on making. You have to at least take
again in the offseason.
That's what
you're saying. You're making call.
Hang on. In the offseason, I would at least find out if there's somebody else who wants a corner for 2 first-round picks.
You're saying theoretically they make Trent McDuffie available for trade in the offseason.
Drew, if somebody's willing to give up 2 first-round picks, you better find out if there's not another somebody.
I do think if it was March and the season's over, and especially if you don't feel good about where negotiations are going, with a player like that, it's never just like Sauce Gardner was never announced to be available. It's one of those where you have people calling around.
The Colts were looking, but I don't think how many teams do you think are calling about Trent McDuffie?
It's a hypothetical. It's a hypothetical in the offseason. They're not trading him in season.
Like legitimately.
Well, I know, but even in the offseason,
Who? He's a top corner in football. You're acting like there'd be no interest for him.
There'd be plenty of suitors.
No, I understand that, but who's calling? Cody, the way you're making this hypothetical seem is that the Chiefs would make him available in a trade, calling other teams, hey, would you give us 2 first-round picks for Trent McDuffie rather than a team offering 2 first-round picks for Trent McDuffie?
I think it's both, hypothetically, but I don't really care.
Because for me, if you're the Chiefs, yes. If you are another team, I think I would really hesitate if you had Trent McDuffie, depending on the front office.
Yeah, we're talking about it with the Chiefs success. We're getting it. It's hypothetical. We're not claiming that there's an offer on the table.
Well, no, I'm saying to your original question is, would you trade Trent McDuffie for 2 picks if you're the Chiefs? Yes. If you were the Titans, no, I wouldn't actually, because you can't trust that organization.
Well, first off,
the
Titans are going to pick in the top 5, so they're obviously insane. But Drew, the reason why we're able to ask this question is a team just paid it. A team paid 2 first-round picks for a top 5 corner in the NFL. Trent McDuffie's a top 5 corner. So we can't say that it's astronomical value that doesn't exist in even a hypothetical world. A team is actively paying that price.
I agree, Drew. I agree with you, Drew.
Yeah.
I wouldn't make the trade if you're making that.
Yeah.
But that's
I certainly would make it if I'm picking in the top 10.
And it's the reason why I'm telling you I think the Colts overpaid for Sauce Gardner. And I will admit, I don't think in the offseason that if the Chiefs were willing to trade Trent McDuffie in this hypothetical, that they would get 2 first-round picks. We're just saying, if a team offered 2 first-round picks, hell yeah, I'm trading them, no matter how great you think he is.
The hypothetical you're giving is the Colts are calling around asking for 2 first-round picks for Trent McDuffie.
That's just
they're
why does that matter?
Who's willing to part with it.
I don't know why that matters. You're hung up on a weird detail that's not really super important for the conversation. It's just whether or not you trade him. And so, the way I would point it out, and here's the truth, Gold. I can't name that many players on the roster I wouldn't trade for 2 first-round picks. One is named Patrick Mahomes, and that might, genuinely.
Well, that is it.
That might be the end of the list.
That is it.
There might not be, if somebody said, I'll give you 2 first-round picks for Rashee Rice, sold.
Right.
And I like Rashee Rice, but if somebody's coughing up 2 first, do you know how hard it is to get a team to come off of 2 first-round picks for any player? That's what makes this trade so crazy in its own right. I told you, I think part of what's happening here is that the Colts, one, are in a limited window, and they know that. They got Daniel Jones. They don't know how long the window is. You get Sauce Gardner. You try to extend it and give yourself a chance to win a Super Bowl. Again, the Joe Flacco, Brad Johnson, whatever version of the way, right? You try to do it. And so you try to connect that way. But I think the only reason they're willing to make a move this big, the only reason I think the Colts are willing to make a trade this strong is because they think the Chiefs can be gotten for the first time forever. If the Chiefs were 8-1, I don't think the Colts make this move.
I just think they think
if the Chiefs are 7-2, I don't think they make this kind of move. I think they think the AFC's only open because the Chiefs have not been the same Chiefs.
I think it's the fact that they have a quarterback, and it's weird because he's coming off a game in which he looked terrible, but for the most part, 99% of the season so far, Daniel Jones has looked awesome. Jonathan Taylor has looked awesome. They're coming off their worst loss of the season, only their second one of the year. And the Bills look vulnerable despite what they just did to Kansas City. The Chiefs clearly are more vulnerable than ever before. And so why not us? Just kind of your thought process in Indianapolis. The same thing they're probably saying in New England to a certain extent. And so that is why they make this move. Not to mention Sauce Gardner will be their number 1 corner for the next 3 or 4 years. That's part of it. I just think if you, like with most of these trades where you're giving up serious compensation, same thing applies to the Packers too, by the way. They give up what they give up for Micah Parsons. If the Packers don't get to a Super Bowl in the next 2 or 3 years, then the trade did not work out. Doesn't mean it was at the time it didn't make sense, but it means it did not pan out.
I agree. I think in the years the first round picks are next year and the year after. I give them a couple of years.
If the Colts over the next 2 years do not get to an AFC title game, knock on the door of a Super Bowl, then it wasn't a good trade. But they're willing to take that risk because they think they got a good enough team and they got a hell of a lot better today.
I just think, and again, Jags have made a deal, Colts have made a deal. I wouldn't be surprised to find out that the Bills make one here in the next 3 hours. And if everyone around the AFC is making some of the bigger trades, of very few trades that typically happen around the trade deadline, I think it's because they finally see a window of opportunity to maybe actually get past Kansas City once. Like, that has not been much of an opportunity at any point over the last couple of years. They have not looked in a vulnerable position at all, really, for the last 5 years in a row. This is the first time, and I'm not saying the Chiefs will win the Super Bowl, go to the AFC Championship game. I don't know that yet. They're still capable of doing all those things. But I do think that this is the first time the Chiefs have looked, this is the most vulnerable Gold they have looked maybe ever under Andy Reid and Patrick Mahomes. And so because of that, I really do think that that's why a team like the Colts is willing to be more aggressive. I will say, giving up on a second-round pick after a year and a half while giving up 2 first-round picks. I still do love this deal for the Jets.
Isn't it, though, like, to me, because I think part of this is the Colts know that they'd have later picks anyways. Are you sure that in the next 2 years you're going to encapsulate the same amount of talent as you would have with Sauce Gardner being the all-pro corner that he is, one of the best 2 corners in football probably? Like, I think that's part of the premise why the Colts are willing to part with it is, like, you might, if you got a great front office and you think you can make the most of those 2 first-round picks, then sure, you'd be willing to part with that player. But I think it's difficult to give up a top 3 player, top 5 player, in their position, and for 2 first-round picks that you hope come together to match what that player is giving you. I think that's why I think I wouldn't just jump to trade Trent McDuffie right away, because are you sure that you're going to get that amount of production that he gives you, where he takes a number one literally off the field? What we've seen. Are you sure you want to trade that guy for 2 first-round picks that you hope one of them can land and not be a bust or not be a Felix or anything like that? I think that's why I'd be more hesitant than just, done, 2 first-round picks, I'm trading it.
To your point, I would agree that their thought process with it would have to be a little different than the Jets. The Jets are not anywhere close to competing. So if you're the Jets, again, you signed them to a 4-year deal, though, 5 months ago. That's the only part that's weird about it is. But the Jets are not going to be competitive for at least another 2 years, at least. And frankly, with their history, we'll have Vinny on the show. You guys will have Vinny on the show tomorrow when I'm gone, because he has a baseball camp today, but he'll be on and we'll get his perspective on this trade. But the Jets are not close to competing. So them giving up a top corner, what are you really losing at this point in time in terms of your bigger picture? Whereas, as you're saying, the Chiefs would be taking on more risk. I just think any player in football, frankly, with the exception of Micah Parsons, Myles Garrett, there's very few where you're like, you wouldn't even hesitate to, obviously the star quarterbacks, but that you wouldn't be willing to give up or trade for 2 first-round picks in a position too where, to your point, Cody, they have had a good track record of acquiring talent. Now, 1 first-round pick, absolutely not. No, I would not trade Trent McDuffie in the offseason for 1 first-round pick. We're specifically talking about the exact call the Colts gave up. So I guess in that hypothetical, Chiefs get 2 first-round picks, and sure, why not? They get some team's wide receiver that was a second-round pick the year earlier.
Small trade. Browns are sending defensive end, another defensive lineman, Joe Tryon Shoyinka, and a 7th-round pick to the Chicago Bears in exchange for a 6th-round pick, according to sources. Kind of move maybe the Chiefs you would expect to move. Bears, according to Jordan Schultz, were interested in improving their defensive line depth after losing one of their players for the season in the game on Sunday. So small deal in the NFL, certainly not anything like the Sauce Gardner deal for 2 first-round picks and A.D. Mitchell. 5 years under contract. They'll pay the remaining $131.5 million.
Okay.
But yeah, it's just an interesting combo because Trent McDuffie's still not under contract. This is also why the contract thing, the trade thing is interesting to bring up. He is not under contract. George Karlaftis, of the people they have to pay, George Karlaftis is, so you'd think he's here to stay. Trent McDuffie's not signed a contract yet. Obviously, any acquiring team would have to work out a long-term contract extension with him before they made any kind of exchange for him. Now, I'm not saying the Chiefs are going to trade.
Yeah.
Trent McDuffie, they traded up for him. He's been a great corner for them. They love him in the building. I think it's way more likely he is just a Chief.
Yeah, but
under
when you
a
have a
long-term
trade like
contract.
this today, it's an interesting conversation.
When we
It's
start
like-
establishing value of like extreme significance, it is kind of hard to ignore in there. Drew, like if I were Cincinnati, like, and this is it's just any team. There are maybe 30 players. Let's take out quarterbacks. Maybe 30 players in the NFL wouldn't trade for 2 first-round picks. Non-quarterback.
Yeah, is it even 30? I don't know.
I don't know. I mean, like, I probably wouldn't trade if I were Bengals. I probably wouldn't trade Jamar Chase for 2 firsts.
Well, sure. I would agree with that.
Right. Okay. So there's one. In that case, like with Micah
How many,
Parsons.
but also,
right?
how many players would even bring? It goes even deeper, right?
Yeah.
How many players would even realistically bring us
An offer like that, yeah.
2
Justin
first-round
Jefferson,
picks?
Jamar
I mean,
Chase. It's going to be a lot of wide receivers. Brock Bowers. Like if they
Yep,
offered you 2
he
first-round
would.
picks, would you trade Brock Bowers?
I wouldn't if I was the Raiders,
wouldn't either.
but he would bring that. Yep.
Yeah. So like I could probably get to 30. It might be a stretch. Maybe it's only 20, but it's a very, very, very small number in the NFL.
All right, let's get to all 32. What a crazy day already. Trade deadline in the NFL. Mine is not centered around that. It's just last night we saw Monday Night Football. The Cowboys lose at home. They really should not be making any trades today. They're toast. They lost to
They got Logan
Jacoby
Wilson.
Brissett. They did. They lost to Jacoby Brissett and the Arizona Cardinals. I bring this up only because Kyler Murray's been banged up. He hasn't looked good this year. Jacoby Brissett, this offense has looked better with him. Now, he's not a long-term option or anything like that. He's limited still in his own right. But the team likes playing with him, you can tell. And
He throws it to Trey McBride, which
he's
seems like a good
not
idea.
making mistakes. On target to McBride, on target to his best receiver in Marvin Harrison Jr. Kyler Murray better look good next week when he's back and making a start. If he's bad, you're going to have some locker room problems all of a sudden in Arizona for Jonathan Gannon.
They're winning more games with Jacoby Brissett than they are with Kyler Murray. Somebody pointed out this 3-game stretch from Jacoby Brissett in his starts this year is just about as good as any 3-game stretch from Kyler Murray in his entire career, which is not a great sign if you're them. They certainly do have weapons. He threw it to Marvin Harrison Jr. and Trey McBride. Seems like a good decision. Plus, you got Marvin Harrison Sr. bagging the Cardinals organization in the public, too, so that just only adds fuel to the fire. I will say an all-time L moment in that Cowboys game. Stephen A. Smith, yesterday, before the Cowboys game in Dallas, said, I will host the parade if the Cowboys ever win a Super Bowl in the time in which I am living on this earth, saying he is so confident that will never happen that this risk is essentially worth nothing. Only to have him sit directly next to Jerry Jones in his box in the middle of his team receiving an ass kicking. I'm sorry, that's a new low. That's a new low if you're a Cowboys fan. The man dunks on your franchise every single week. The owner puts him right next to him in the box while you're getting worked by Jacoby Brissett.
Well, that's because Jerry likes the
embarrassing moment.
Jerry likes the attention. He knows if Stephen A. is sitting there, he's going to be shown on TV more. I mean, it's all a show. It's all a show for him. That's all it is.
I just thought it was like an all-time embarrassing moment. You are right, though. They're going to be better off when they get an owner who wants to win more than, I don't know, see himself in
I mean,
a
I don't
headline.
think his son's any different.
I don't know. I don't see
He
Stephen
doesn't,
Jones.
he doesn't have the same personality, if that's what you mean, but like
Yeah, so maybe he'll.
his son's
slide.
been helping make decisions for years too. They haven't exactly worked out all that well.
No. No, they have not. My all
No.
32. I'm kind of hung up on this. I said it a few weeks ago whenever
All
we
right.
were talking about this. I think the Giants, look, it was fun. Jackson Dart comes in, looks good. Maybe he'll save Brian Dable's job. It's just not going to work. They just need to fire Dable and let Kafka coach, and let us see if Kafka can try to make something more of Jackson Dart as the season continues and feel even more encouraged going into next year. Whether Kafka's the guy or not, I don't know, but I think Kafka's name is going to come up a little bit more, just along, or maybe it should come up a little bit more, I guess, with how with how Jackson
Matt
Dart has
Nagy
looked
gets
in
the
his
job.
time.
I was kind of hoping Kafka could come back here and be the
Isn't Kafka already calling the plays though?
Which is why I think I would just make him the head coach and just get Dable out of the entire system and just because there's not. It doesn't seem like there'd be that much of a change. I don't think with how things are going with the removal of Dable. Just take Dable out of the picture. You don't even have to worry about it ever again.
So I think Dable's going to get fired. I'm with you at the end of the season. I guess I don't know like the rush in season as much. Kafka's already calling the plays. You don't have Malik Neighbors. You don't have all these guys. Like what's the
No Cam Scatterboot,
What's
no
the
Malik Neighbors.
You know what I mean? Like what's the difference? Like I do not think Brian Dable for 8 more games is going to be why Jackson Dart's career sucks. He's not the one calling the plays for him even at this point.
I think
Dable's the one that was willing to bench Russell Wilson to go to him.
I guess.
to save his job.
Yeah, I mean,
But my point is, like, we all agree that they need to reset the organization, but I just, Mike Kafka coaching the final 8 games, I don't know if that really does anything.
I mean, it doesn't even have to be Kafka. It could be whoever. I just don't think Dable, if you're going to get rid of him, why not get rid of him now?
Well, this goes back to our conversation from months ago.
Well, yeah, which
Should've
is why
got
I
him.
said
They should have
Rewind
fired
the
him
clock and fire him.
Yeah, I
last
think I've been on.
February.
Yeah.
I would have fired his ass. Hey, if I draft, I'll just tell you right now, if I'm drafting in the top 10 and I take an NFL quarterback, you are not my coach. You bombed it. Why were we so stinky? Like, unless it's the Peyton Manning year, right, where they draft Andrew Luck because the star quarterback or the starting quarterback gets devastatingly injured. He had a lot of different quarterbacks there, and he hasn't made it work. He had Daniel Jones, who currently has a team that's 7-2 and willing to trade for Sauce Gardner. So, yeah, no, I don't.
That is all 32, by the way. A tweet from James Palmer, who's well connected in Denver just moments ago. I wouldn't sleep on the Broncos making some noise. So we'll keep an eye on that as 3 o'clock is the trade deadline. Perhaps the Broncos about to enter the conversation. The Chiefs, of course, will take on Denver right out of the bye week. The Colts made a big trade. The Chiefs get them in 2 weeks or 3 weeks as well. So, yeah, things are getting even tougher for Kansas City. Up next, we will discuss a little bit more about a survey the Royals sent out in regards to their stadium and the random question of the day.
What's up, Chiefs Kingdom? It's Creed Humphrey. You're listening to Cody and Gold, weekdays 10 to 2 on your home for Chiefs football, 96.5 The Fan.
Brought to you by Heartland Men's Health, the leader in men's sexual health. Thousands of men have been successfully treated for low T, ED, and more, all with discretion and compassion. Make your appointment at heartlandmenshealth.com.
Synergen X and Low T Center are the original MVPs of testosterone replacement therapy. You might ask, all right, what makes them the MVP? Well, to start, they use pharmaceutical-grade testosterone to increase your testosterone to a level that's right for you. They do it with individualized treatment in their centers, and it's a test that can be done in as little as 20 minutes with on-site labs. So no reason to pay high prices for online service prices. Plus, you can have a chance to just do in-center care, or with a new app, you can just do online care as well and make those virtual appointments for whatever works best for your schedule. You can schedule a free T-test this month and find out for yourself why maybe you haven't been feeling the same. Maybe the energy's been a little bit lower. Maybe the workouts have been worse. Maybe whatever version of it could have changed and been worse for you across the board. You can find out where those problems have been. And for a limited time only, visit Synergen X or Low T Center for a free hormone consultation and free T-test and automatically be entered for a chance to win an autographed sports memorabilia such as jerseys, balls, or helmets, or maybe even a pair of tickets to a major sporting event in town. So imagine how much better you could feel. Book your appointment now at trtmvp.com. That's trtmvp.com.
Inside the Huddle is brought to you by Blue Cross and Blue Shield of Kansas City. Discover the benefit of blue.
Around here, we've got each other's backs. When it comes to health insurance, we want that same kind of support. Blue Cross and Blue Shield of Kansas City gets that. They're from around here too. Backed by the national strength of the Cross and Shield, they help you make confident choices, no matter where you are. Blue Cross and Blue Shield of Kansas City. From here, for wherever you are. That's the benefit of blue.
What's up, guys? It's Drew. You should be able to show up when it matters, just like the athletes that we love and enjoy watching, no matter the sport. Be more confident where it counts. I'm talking about Blue Chew, a small chew for a big difference. You'll have flashbacks to your glory days, and date nights just got longer and better for everyone because showing up matters during life's most exciting moments. Blue Chew provides access to chewable tablets that can help you feel and perform at your best. Stronger, harder, longer lasting, like someone gave your downstairs a pep talk and a gym membership. Blue Chew's licensed medical providers work with you to find the right ingredient for your prescription. And it's not just about performance. Give her group chat something to talk about. Nothing makes you more of a legend than a little Blue Chew. You can discover your options at BlueChew.com and get your first month free when you use the promo code KFNZ. At checkout, just cover $5 for shipping. That's BlueChew.com and get your first month free. Then you'll be ready to chew it and do it.
Hi, I'm Emily, your friend and jeweler at Shane Company, where a small box with a burgundy bow will help you win the holidays. As an in-house designer, I love creating meaningful, fine jewelry gifts. Choose a necklace with a gorgeous infinity charm to symbolize your everlasting love. Or go for a personalized piece with an engraving, their zodiac sign, favorite color gemstone, or their initial accented with pave diamonds. Because a friend wants you to be a holiday hero. Stop by or shop now at shaneco.com. Shane Company, your friend and jeweler.
BetMGM is coming soon to Missouri. On November 17th, sports fans in Missouri can pre-register and get up to $1,500 paid back in bonus bets if their first bet loses, plus an additional $100 in bonus bets if they deposit before December 1st. Enjoy a betting app that was designed for game day, with features like live bets, same-game parlays, BetMGM reward points, and surprise boosts dropping in your account all throughout the season. It's everything a sports fan could want in one app. Pre-registration is coming soon to Missouri on November 17th. BetMGM, make it legendary. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. See BetMGM.com for terms. 21 and older only. Missouri only. New customer offer. Subject to eligibility requirements and minimum deposit of $10. Bonus bets are non-withdrawable and expire in 7 days. Please gamble responsibly. Pending BetMGM's licensure as a mobile sports wagering operator with the Missouri Gambling Commission register for a Missouri online sports wagering account 1117. BetMGM's insurance of welcome offer is conditional on full license.
Hey, Chiefs fans, Crown Royal is the official whiskey of the Kansas City Chiefs. And this season, it's not game day without the generous spirit of Crown Royal. Whether you're at the tailgate, in the stands, or watching from home, Crown Royal is the reason and the reward for coming together. Grab a glass with the Crown Royal rig at a stadium near you, because we'll be sharing the generous spirit with fans across the country. Crown Royal, fueling game day with a generous spirit. Visit www.crownroyal.com/Royal Rig for more on the Crown Royal Rig Tour. Please drink responsibly.
This holiday season, Target has your back with irresistibly cool gifts for everyone on your list. For the trendsetter, start with affordable beauty kits and gift sets. Need something the whole fam will love? Grab snuggly matching fits in every size and style. And for the thrill seekers, don't forget the hottest toys and tech of the season. Target's got you covered with the best deals for endless fun. Shop in store or online, and step into the holidays with Target. Restrictions apply.
Oh, how's that flu, babe? Did you take DayQuil Intense Flu yet?
Nah, I got this. Ugh, okay, I don't got this.
You stay on the couch, and I'll grab the DayQuil.
Undo your flu symptoms with DayQuil Intense Flu. DayQuil Intense Flu provides powerful relief of your flu symptoms.
I'm ready for that to-do list.
Wow, you do got this.
DayQuil Intense Flu. The daytime coughing, aching, fever, under your flu, medicine. Use as directed, keep out of reach of children.
Must qualify for enrollment. Results may vary.
We all hear the radio ads about the IRS. They tell you to be afraid, to be scared, and they try to frighten you into calling. I'm not here to do that. Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000, $50,000, or $500,000, we have a solution. It doesn't matter if you're sitting in your car, at work, or with your kids. No matter where you are, call now. 800-583-5795. Don't lose hope. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS. Generous programs are now available that can give you a fresh start. Our passion is taxes and helping individuals fix their IRS problems. We have over 1,000 5-star reviews on Google and an A+ with the Better Business Bureau. You don't need to be afraid of the IRS any longer. End your tax nightmare today by visiting us online at TRA.com or call 800-583-5795. That's 800-583-5795. Tax Relief Advocates. Real solutions for real people.
Okay, I have to tell you, I was just looking on eBay where I go for all kinds of things I love, and there it was.
That hologram trading card. One of the rarest, the last one I needed for my set. Shiny like the
designer handbag of my dreams. One of a kind. eBay had it, and now everyone's asking, ooh, where'd you get your
windshield wipers? eBay has all the parts that fit my car. No more annoying, just beautiful.
Millions of finds, each with a story. eBay. Things people love.
O'Reilly! Cleaning your fuel system can help your engine run better and improve gas mileage. Visit O'Reilly Auto Parts and pick up a bottle of Chevron Techron Fuel System Cleaner on sale now. Buy one, get one free. Plus, loyalty members receive 2 times O-Rewards points. Just add it to your tank during your next fill-up. Stop by your O'Reilly Auto Parts store for details.
O'Reilly Auto Parts.
You're listening to 96.5 The Fan from the DM Injury Law Studios. Mike's got this.
Coming up in 30 minutes, Nate Taylor, our Chiefs insider from ESPN, will join us. A lot to discuss with him. We'll get his thoughts on the massive trade that just went down involving the Colts and Jets. Sauce Gardner, one of the top corners in the league, is now a member of the Indianapolis Colts. Some other wide receiver moves. The Chiefs, to this point, ahead of 3 o'clock deadline, have not done anything. Does Nate think that'll change? What does Nate believe is the timeline for Josh Simmons, who is reportedly back in Kansas City, was at the team facility yesterday? So plenty to discuss with Nate Taylor. Hope you guys are having a great Tuesday. Fun show when we get the breaking news during it. I think everybody...
You mean Sauce Gardner being traded after signing a $120 million deal?
Yeah, like these are like every show can be fun, but these are a lot of fun when you get fresh news throughout the day. Regarding the NFL, and it has a trickle-down effect, and certainly one of the big contenders and threats for the Chiefs, at least in terms of an opponent coming up, and obviously, of course, the playoffs. The Colts going and adding a number one corner, so it is significant. All right, we'll get to the random question of the day here in about 8 minutes or so. Don't forget, Sports Talk on 96.5 The Fan is presented by Paramount Plus. You can't count on much these days, but you can always count on Sundays with the NFL on CBS and Paramount Plus. Watch your local NFL game live every Sunday on CBS and Paramount Plus all season long. Visit ParamountPlus.com/NFL to get started today. We'll pivot away from the NFL briefly because you and I thought it was interesting how yesterday the Royals, some of you that are listening may have received this, not all of you, a survey about the stadiums and just about your view of John Sherman, about the organization, the investment that they have made in the team. Do you think they're on the right track? Let's start with the stadium and how they ask those questions. Still reference the 3 sites that we all know about.
Yep.
119th and Knoll, North KC site, and still the Washington Square Park.
I thought what was really interesting about it is that they did not ask the same questions necessarily about him. Now, some of them they did, right? They asked if the North Kansas City one was attractive or somewhat attractive like there, but they were asking questions of, will you attend more games if it's in North Kansas City? Will you attend less than you do before? Which ones of these will you do? And they are clearly, I think, still trying to figure it out. It says, as some of you heard in the news, the Royals are considering 3 different locations for their new ballpark. Are they still trying to figure it out? They must be, right? Why else are they sitting this out in their thing? Johnson County / Overland Park, Clay County / North Kansas City, and then it had a space and said, and downtown, near downtown Kansas City, Missouri. Why the and? Like sometimes it's little stuff like this. Do I overread into this?
Yes, I think.
Why separate between the two?
I think that
Why not just listen together?
I think that might be reading too much into it.
Yeah,
now,
maybe.
This is complete speculation on my part. You were asking about, are they still considering all 3 sites? Pure speculation would be that no, that you're also still trying to have feedback from the community and you're trying to show that there was input and everything like that. That's my pessimistic way of looking at it, I guess, is that no, they want to put out a survey. They might have a good idea, but one more time at the survey, they can also say they gathered all this feedback and it's why they considered blank site.
I guess what I want kind of here, we'll do our own version of this survey on the air, 913-586-7965. What I need to hear from are people in different parts of the city. If you live in Johnson County and actively go to Royals games, I assume you'll go to less Royals games if they're in North Kansas City. Vice versa, if you live in the Northland, I would say you're less likely to go to some if they end up in Johnson County. I guess the question is it a deal breaker? Because when I look at the phrasing of some of these questions, like, do you think it's less attractive, more attractive, when talking about the stadium location site at 119th? And then asking the question is, if you're more or less likely to go to games in the North Kansas City site is. I take this as, I still think they like North Kansas City because it offers them the near downtown, as in we're close, we're almost there, we nearly did it. But they are fearful of losing anybody on the western side of town or the eastern side of town, in fairness, on the eastern Jackson County side.
Right.
But in fairness, it's not St. Kaufman, so you're not going to keep it there no matter what.
Right.
So, I think they fear losing South Johnson County too, but I looked it up. Like from your place, you live in South Johnson County.
Mm-hmm.
It's a 2-minute difference between the North Kansas City site and where you go to baseball games now.
Yeah.
So I don't know why that would be a deterrent, other than if you're just it's appealing to you to drive 10 minutes to a baseball game at 119th.
And as you said, you and I are. This is why we want you guys
We're
to text
terrible
in.
examples.
We're bad examples of this because I'm going to go to games no matter where they put the damn stadium. Okay,
Especially in a brand new stadium.
I'm going to go, but I understand. We host a sports talk radio show. We're not exactly the demographic of not sure if I'm going to go to many sporting events. We're just not the best example for that. Now, you and I both are from Kansas City.
Yep.
So I that perspective obviously is something that I offer. But I would say, you're going to go to games in Overland Park. I will go to games in North KC. I would go to games in downtown, just like I have for my entire life gone to games in KC Mo over at the Truman Sports Complex. But I do think, Cody, and we don't have, they are not public numbers, okay? But there is some truth for baseball versus NFL, where on a Tuesday night when you've got 80 games across the year at home, you're trying to, are you going to get a family of 4? Use whatever part of town you want. I'll say Johnson County because that's just where I'm at. But a family of 4 for Johnson County, are they more likely to go to a game on a Tuesday night at 119th and Knoll or in downtown or in North KC? And that is part of a factor. Yeah. And there's people in North Kansas City, a family of 4 there, that on a Tuesday night, are they going to go all the way down to Overland Park? I understand it works both ways. But if you think the majority of your season ticket holder base now or future is going to be, let's say, in Johnson County, then you might factor that in. I think all of these are things they're trying to consider. 913-586-7965. Someone says, no desire to drive through downtown to get to North Kansas City. Someone says, Lee Summit resident here. I don't want to go that far up north. Already have 30 minutes to Kaufman right now. Someone says they go to 10 games a year. They'll still go to 10 games a year no matter where it's at. I still want downtown, though.
Look, we have already established this, so I guess I didn't feel some reason to say it, but
yeah,
downtown is where I want baseball. I just always felt like that feels like more of the long shot in my head now than the North Kansas City location, which at one point I thought was like kind of comical that they were bringing up and I didn't think was a serious option, and now very much is, it appears, in the 119th. My issue with the 119th and Knoll is, it is, in my opinion, the antithesis of almost every single project they have described the entire time they were talking about stadiums. They were talking about downtown stadiums with a ballpark district. You know what 119th and Knoll offers them? Neither of those things. The district already exists, and it's definitively not downtown. And look, North Kansas City's not downtown either. They can at least build the district part of it, I guess. And the downtown Washington Square Park place at least gives them downtown, but the district's going to be challenging there because of the real estate. So nothing's perfect. It just feels like the 119th option's neither.
So, we have talked about it. You and I, from the beginning, did both prefer the downtown site. And I told you the first time, frankly, I think when Bob was mentioning he was hearing over a year and a half, 2 years ago, or whatever it was at this point, about the 119th and Knoll site, I was like, what? That makes no sense. That was my reaction immediately. There? And so with the understanding that no matter where they put the stadium, the renderings and the new stadium is going to look great. They're not going to screw up the look of the stadium, but it is the real estate around it that you would own. Now, my understanding is that the 119th and Knoll site, though, Cody, is that the Kansas Star Bond District, in that case, that one, because there is a district that already exists, it would potentially offer an opportunity for them, the ownership group, to have the stadium paid off much sooner than the remaining whatever percent of financing paid off sooner than it would at some of the other sites. And that's what might be really attractive to them.
And it's very clear based on this. Man, Gold, they are still in email asking season ticket or partial season ticket holders, or maybe just fans who'd been to a game this year. They are still asking, please tell us where you want the stadium. Like, I got to be honest.
Well, if you believe deadlines, the Star Bonds expire in less than 60 days. If you believe the deadline at the end of the year. And you and I are
don't.
both skeptical on that. 913-586-7965. I see a lot of just figure it out. I don't care. I've seen that. Fair enough. Someone else texted in and said, I don't think convenience-wise 119th is a good idea. I have a feeling would be very congested traffic jam. That's one of my concerns as well.
Sure.
Someone else saying they'll go anywhere as long as they're competitive. If they're not competitive, basically I'm not going to go.
For what it's worth, those were also questions asked in this exact same survey. So, like, if you're curious if they're worried about that part, there was all kinds. So there were, do you believe the Royals are better than they were last year? A lot better. Some, not very much, nothing at all. What is your level of importance when it comes to attending, or like the TV broadcast and how often you choose those things? And then it was, do you realize that the Royals are spending money on things, including 3 of the highest paid contracts in their franchise's history? And have you been aware, or are you aware, that they have put additional resources in the development and equipment bases that also exist in the team? And so, like, they're asking those questions in this survey too. They're trying to, and this is not uncommon. I will say, I get sent surveys all the time. Be like, hey, tell us about your experience. Never click them. Ever, under any circumstance. In this case, because it's like choosing the stadium and they're trying to figure out what you know about the good we're doing or what they think they're doing as a team. And they also ask the obvious question, which is, what do you like about Kaufman that you would want in a new stadium? And nobody that I've seen has given me an answer other than, and this is presuming that they're getting a new stadium because Kaufman doesn't exist, other than Crown Vision and the fountains. Did you see a single other answer earlier? What is the answer?
No, those
you can't recreate like the shape.
If you're saying just nostalgia, well, you can't transfer the nostalgia over. Yeah, it's. I think no matter what, you have to have fountains. You have to have fountains. You have to have a pretty impressive scoreboard. Whether it's Crown Vision or not, it has to be those two things. I think those are the two elements that people were disappointed for going way back to the April vote 2 years ago with some of the renderings that were out there. And truth be told, as we're talking about all the sites and everything, they're not going here, but East Village to me still to this day, and probably whenever they announce the future site, whether it's Johnson County, North KC, or downtown, East Village, I will stand firm in saying I still think all around would have been the best site possible, period. And there's a lot of, there's
and I don't know why that ever
a lot of reasons why that went away. But that was the best site, plain and simple. That was not going to,
can we get back to that one?
Impact as many people from displacement, businesses, all that. And unfortunately, that was the case. Someone said they only care about groups, business people, the family of 4 on a Tuesday night. It's not going to matter.
No, those are where
suites and hospitality areas. Well, no matter what site they go to, it's going to be suites and hospitality areas.
But they do care about the Tuesday night crowd.
Absolutely. I think that is the whole reason why the 119th and Null site is a little interesting. It makes a lot of sense from that angle, only that angle. But that would be it. But the idea, like, well, the suites and hospitality is more one site than the other. Like they could build it in North Kansas City, they could build it in downtown or in 119th and Null. The new stadium is having plenty of suites and hospitality areas no matter what happens.
Yeah, it doesn't really matter which way it goes. We'll see which way it goes. Obviously, the Royals sent out these surveys to maybe some of you as well.
Random question.
For you, Gold. For you, Drew. Text line 913-586-7965. Random question today brought to you by Kansas City Urology Care at KCUC. Remember, you see the best in KC. Visit kcurology.com today. You can always hit us up on YouTube, Twitter, Twitch, Facebook. Live stream the show 4 hours every single day. And we are over on the chats as well. I've been interacting with some people who are currently fighting with each other in the YouTube chat about the stadium. Well, if they can respond to each other.
If you guys could see the text line that we see and it allowed you to respond to each other.
No way.
I mean, it'd be chaos, but for at least for like 30 minutes, if we just allowed it for 30 minutes a day, it would be kind of fun.
We can't share the numbers.
We have
with
to have
people,
a benchmark segment around the text line.
Oh, my goodness. It would be a bleep show. Anyway.
And it's not lately, it's actually been kind of nice, but sometimes there's some like weirdly hateful stuff over there. I don't think if everyone communicated, it would be good for anybody.
No, but there's part of me I would love for everybody to see some of the texts that we get.
Yeah. But anyway, let's get to the random question. I'm accused sometimes of using the random question of the day to help myself.
Oh, boy.
So instead, I'm going to use it to help Gold. How about that?
What direction are we headed here?
Alex Gold heads out of town tomorrow. He'll be on vacation in the Bahamas. He'll be sipping a drink on a beach by not this time tomorrow, but sometime near here tomorrow.
No, by this time tomorrow, I will be.
You got an early flight?
Yeah.
So drink in hand in no time. So the question I have today is, what is the best thing you have ever purchased before going on a vacation? We all do this. We all shop for a little thing. Like the last time I went on a road trip, I bought little fans for my kids in the car because they're constantly complaining about being hot, and I can't let them roll. I don't want to roll down the windows on the highway. So, like, I bought them little fans for that. That was pretty good, or snack containers, or anything else in between. I just want to know, what is the best thing you have ever purchased before going on a vacation? The thing that you're like, man, I'm so glad I bought that.
That's a great question, actually. It's a great question. What the heck is my answer, though? Something that I bought before going on a trip. I mean, the simple answer is like,
Power bank. Those are popular.
Yeah, so those are good. I was thinking, because now everybody is charging for baggage fees, like even our friends over at Southwest, I finally invested in a pretty nice carry-on. Normally, I'm anti-carry-on. Like, this, whenever we travel, I check my bag.
Yeah, even for like 2 days.
I know. I overpack. It's a bad thing. So this is actually something I just got for this trip. So I have a new carry-on, and I finally bought one of those vacuum-sealed things. So you can pack in more clothes and it doesn't take as much space. So that's how I'm doing it.
Makes me think of those old 90s infomercials when they were doing it with like closet storage.
This one comes with its own little pump, so you don't have to use a vacuum. It has like a little pump. But I would say that because I'm trying to now avoid checking my bag forever, and I want to still be able to overpack a little bit. So this is the first trip that I'm going to try it out. I bought one of those like a week or two ago, where basically I'll be able to vacuum seal some of it so that way it
Try to
doesn't
make
take
a
up as
little
much
bit more
space.
room in
Yeah.
there. Okay,
yeah.
so we'll find out if that's on yours. Over at the 816, noise canceling headphones, great purchase. Love having them on an airplane. It's fantastic. From the 785, a massaging travel pillow.
Massaging?
Yeah, there you go.
They get a little neck massage while you're sitting up there. That doesn't sound so bad, does it?
I mean, okay. Yeah.
You know, that doesn't sound so bad. A lot of people saying weed. That feels like just like an everyday purchase.
That is a no-go in the Bahamas. That is very illegal in the Bahamas.
is it?
Oh, yes. Yes, it is.
I did not know
very
that.
Very much so. And they don't mess around. You're not a slap on the wrist. They don't mess around there.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Not even so much as a gummy.
No
coming
gummies
your
or
way.
anything in the Bahamas.
Got it.
Nope.
Multiple people mentioning the overpriced neck pillow at the airport, which obviously is there. Liquid IV. They say they just want to try to keep up the hangover stuff. It's a small purchase, but they found it to be a big one.
That stuff is clutch. Yeah. The liquid IV is a good answer.
Yeah, I'd say that's at least some of it. Somebody said upgrading from their answer over on Twitch was upgrading from basic to basic plus. Added leg room, made the jump to upgrade to first class. He's saying just get a better flight. That was the best purchase. Just get a better ticket.
Yep.
Just get a better ticket. Somebody says toys to keep your kids distracted. I will say, I've seen people build Lego on that seems like a disaster. I don't need one set of turbulence and then the Millennium Falcon you're trying to build spills into a gajillion pieces.
Yeah.
I don't need that. But I am pro any kind of entertainment that keeps the kids busy in there. Man, somebody was just talking about. I guess I didn't realize the Bahamas was so serious about it.
No, it's a real thing. Yeah, you do not try to bring weed to the Bahamas or something.
I will say, did you pack sunscreen this time?
Mm-hmm.
So you're not paying that resort price?
So here's what I did.
You made that mistake in Vegas.
So
a couple
here's
times,
the only
and
part that I
it's
hate
pricey.
about the carry-on thing is obviously you can only have liquids 3.4 ounces or whatever. So I had to buy. It's still cheaper than buying the $35. I bought 4 separate travel size sunscreen because. Otherwise, you're paying $30 a piece for them. So I did that. It's tough with the carry-on. It takes up most of my, my quart bag or whatever I can put liquid in. Yeah.
Somebody says a little Bluetooth speaker lantern that was a camping all-star. I do like having. I bought one year. We bought a fold-out solar panel because there's no electricity at the cabin, so that solar panel that you can charge a speaker to. Man, that's huge.
I would say the best purchase or one of the underrated purchases, particularly because I vacation. If I can't vacation, is the beach. So we bought a wagon that you can carry all the stuff with.
Drag it with you.
Yeah, it is a long. It is a long.
Who brings
drag
it
at
every
times.
year?
Sorry.
Does somebody bring it every year?
We bring ours every single year.
You pack it as a checked bag.
It's like your foldable wagon you have for camp.
Sure. I guess I don't fly to the beach when we go to the Outer Banks, we drive.
That's right.
So having that is very convenient just for lugging it around and carrying things. You don't have to worry about.
I had to lug some
taking
stuff.
multiple trips and stuff. It's been clutch.
I had to lug some stuff yesterday, and I used that wagon for the first time since training camp. I own a wagon that used to be for stuff with my kids and is now only exclusively used for radio equipment when Alex and I are up in St. Joe. And then yesterday I had some things I had to take several trips out of the car and used it to haul stuff out of there. And so a little bit of everything. Someone said portable board games like chess and checkers, some of the other stuff. Someone says no purchase, but I download a ton of movies or TV shows to watch.
Yeah, I need to download a few things for the flight. But I told you I bought the book that Vinny is reading. I bought the same book, so
there you go.
I'm planning on reading that on the beach or whatever. I'll report back to you.
Yeah, I want to know whether you liked it.
I already
it
started.
I'm already the same way it inspired him.
It hooked me already. I read 40 pages or so already of it.
Oh,
so
you're off to
I'm already off to a
early
good start. Yeah,
you saw that Cardinals Cowboys game last night.
That is when I read some of it.
And then boring. That game was boring. In a hurry. It was absolutely boring.
Ooh, this is interesting. Someone said they went to the Bahamas. They packed styrofoam cooler full of all of their meat, so they didn't have to pay island prices. Now, did you have an Airbnb? Where were you grilling?
Yeah, what's this? No,
Interesting.
I'm curious. They're going to need to explain that one further to you.
Yeah, I'm fascinated.
Someone from the 314 said the airport burrito so they can sit next to Cody.
Nah, man, that guy.
Airport burrito. That was the last flight we took.
That guy.
Right next to him, Drew.
Scarfed it down. Scarfed it down.
This is where not being able to smell is fine. I don't have to if someone's tomorrow, if somebody's eating some fish, or tuna next to me, I'm not going to smell it at least, so it's not going to bug me as much.
I got to say, some of it, Gold, admittedly, was that He was the last person on the plane, and I was mere seconds away from having a free middle seat.
You don't know his story, though. He could have got off a connecting flight.
This guy comes down. He's watching questionable material. He's slapping his gross burrito
Questionable
down
material.
and eating it on the plane.
Jeez.
Monstrous behavior.
You're saying he just took over, essentially, is what he tried to do.
We do live in a society. We can have a little decorum.
Yeah.
That's all.
For the 816, this person said their wife and them bought a new car on a road trip. It only had 6 miles on it when they pulled out of the driveway.
So your first real drive was right on the road trip.
Man.
I will say the car I bought because I knew we were getting ready to take a long road trip, and I didn't want to take an older car anymore. It was great.
Getting one on the road trip.
Not that. I didn't take one.
That's
interesting. They're saying they got it and then went right on the road trip.
Oh,
So
I thought they were saying they were on the road trip and they got it while they were on the road trip.
No, that'd be way more wild.
Although I had not quite the road trip, I had a friend that was in Oregon for a college football game, was already looking at a car that they saw online, and they bought the car. His wife flew home, or took another vehicle, I can't remember what it, flew home. He drove that car all the way back to Kansas City.
Wow.
Crazy.
Yeah.
Hey, you get a deal, I guess, and you really need a car, then hey.
That is the random question of the day. Up next, right back to the Chiefs. The trade deadline a couple hours away. Also, Josh Simmons back in Kansas City. Nate Taylor from ESPN stops by.
This is Cody and Gold on your new home for Royals baseball. 96.5 The Fan, brought to you by Heartland Men's Health, the leader in men's sexual health. Thousands of men have been successfully treated for low T, ED, and more, all with discretion and compassion. Make your appointment at heartlandmenshealth.com.
Around here, we've got each other's backs. When it comes to health insurance, we want that same kind of support. Blue Cross and Blue Shield of Kansas City gets that. They're from around here too. Backed by the national strength of the Cross and Shield, they help you make confident choices, no matter where you are. Blue Cross and Blue Shield of Kansas City. From here, for wherever you are. That's the benefit of blue.
The Chiefs have been scoring a ton of points lately, and that means I'm saving a ton of money at Hy-Vee. And now I have even more reason to cheer on the Chiefs because I score big fuel savings when I shop Hy-Vee the day after any Chiefs game. Win or lose, I'll earn a fuel saver discount equal to the Chiefs score based on the amount I spend. If the Chiefs score 35 points, I save 35 cents a gallon when I spend $35 on groceries. So the more we score, the more I save, only for my friends at Hy-Vee.
It's the most wonderful time of the year. Time for Hy-Vee's holiday baking sale. Make your list and check it twice. Time to stock up on the sweetest deals of the year, like Hy-Vee sugar, $1.99, brown sugar, $1.48, Hy-Vee butter, $2.49, peanut butter, $1.88, and don't forget the Hy-Vee pumpkin pie filling, just 88 cents. Jump in your sleigh and dash away this Friday through Sunday at Hy-Vee.
Is your garage door too loud and whining for help? Overhead Door Company of Kansas City will make it all better. They will perform their full 26-task garage door tune-up for just $79. That's just $79 for up to 3 garage doors and openers. You need this done once a year, so why not now? And for just $79. Call Overhead Door Company of Kansas City at 816-221-0072 or schedule online at overheaddoorkc.com.
Gear? Check. Snacks? Check. Tires? Not so much. I didn't have time to deal with this, so I asked my friend. Her answer was simple. Take it to Telly, she said, and I'm so glad I did. They didn't just take care of my tires, they took care of me. We got you, they said, and they did. Fast, friendly, and stress-free. Now I know when life throws you a red card, take it to Telly. Stay in the game. Take it to Telly.
FanDuel is putting you in control right from NBA tip-off because every day to start the season, you get to choose your reward. Take your shot with the Profit Boost token. You can play it cool with the no-sweat bet, or you can get a little backup with the Bet Back token. So what I like to do is I like to pick 3 players that I think are going to score at least 20 points. It gives you something to cheer for. It gives you something to root for. So you can put a little bit of extra sauce on it with the Profit Boot token, or you can just play it easy. You can play it relaxed with that no sweat bet. Whatever your pick is, whatever your strategy is, get into the game and play it your way. Head to FanDuel.com/KFNZ to make it your choice. FanDuel is an official sportsbook of the NBA and also 96.5 The Fan. 21 and present in Kansas. Opt-in required. Rewards are non-withdrawable. Restrictions apply, including bonus and token expirations, league requirements, and max wager amount. See terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. FanDuel is offering online sports wagering in Kansas under agreement with Kansas Star Casino, LLC. Gambling problem? Get help with your best bet. Call 1-800-522-4700. Visit kansasgamblinghelp.com.
Smokehouse Barbecue has always been our choice when it comes to barbecue in Kansas City. We love everything about Smokehouse Barbecue. And now Smokehouse has street tacos, their newest menu item. 3 flour tortillas, chopped burnt ends and smoked sausage, plus corn elote and Cajun sour cream and a side. And now, every Tuesday, kids eat for $1.99 with the purchase of an adult entree. So visit Smokehouse Barbecue in Gladstone, Zona Rosa, or Independence, and at smokehousebbq.com. It's Smokehouse Barbecue.
We all hear the radio ads about the IRS. They tell you to be afraid, to be scared, and they try to frighten you into calling. I'm not here to do that. Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000, $50,000, or $500,000, we have a solution. It doesn't matter if you're sitting in your car, at work, or with your kids. No matter where you are, call now. 800-575-9834. Don't lose hope. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS. Generous programs are now available that can give you a fresh start. Our passion is taxes and helping individuals fix their IRS problems. We have over 1,000 5-star reviews on Google and an A+ with the Better Business Bureau. You don't need to be afraid of the IRS any longer. End your tax nightmare today by visiting us online at TRA.com or call 800-575-9834. That's 800-575-9834. Tax Relief Advocates. Real solutions for real people.
Must qualify for enrollment. Results may vary.
We all hear the radio ads about the IRS. They tell you to be afraid, to be scared, and they try to frighten you into calling. I'm not here to do that. Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000, $50,000, or $500,000, we have a solution. It doesn't matter if you're sitting in your car, at work, or with your kids. No matter where you are, call now. 800-583-5795. Don't lose hope. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS. Generous programs are now available that can give you a fresh start. Our passion is taxes and helping individuals fix their IRS problems. We have over 1,000 5-star reviews on Google and an A+ with the Better Business Bureau. You don't need to be afraid of the IRS any longer. End your tax nightmare today by visiting us online at TRA.com or call 800-583-5795. That's 800-583-5795. Tax Relief Advocates. Real solutions for real people.
Jefferson's Wings, Burgers, and Oysters. Located in Lenexa, North KC, Lawrence, Topeka, and Joplin.
Inside the Huddle is brought to you by Blue Cross and Blue Shield of Kansas City. Discover the benefit of blue.
This is your home for Kansas City sports. 96.5 The Fan, KFNC FM and AM, HD1 and HD2 Kansas City, an Odyssey sports station.
1 o'clock hour here on Cody and Gold. Alex Gold, Cody Tapp, Drew Nixon with you. 2 hours away from the NFL trade deadline. Nate Taylor, our Chiefs insider from ESPN, settling in. We'll get his perspective on the deadline, both from what has already happened. The big news, Sauce Gardner, member of the Indianapolis Colts, quite the haul they gave up today to get him, but they are all in, if you were wondering, for 2025. And there's also the news from yesterday that Josh Simmons is back in Kansas City. So we'll ask Nate about that as well, including maybe our random question of the day. We can carry over that right away.
Yeah.
For Nate Taylor.
That's a man who travels. That's a
And I was gonna say,
man.
Travel tips, Nate Taylor absolutely can provide some. I don't know if he's ever been to the Bahamas, though, but he's certainly been out of the country more than anybody else in this building.
I said, what's the last thing you bought on a trip? What's something you bought on a trip that you're like, what a great travel purchase that was? To make travel easier.
Okay.
And I guess you want to do this from the adult perspective because there's always kid stuff you buy, but
exactly.
Al's travel solo.
Yeah. It was really cool to get my son a throwback Pele jersey.
Nice.
On my return from Sao Paulo.
That's cool.
In terms of like what has made my travel life easier, now this is held up for I want to say more than 5 years. I know it's going to cost a lot, but luggage is so important, ladies and gentlemen. I cannot stress that enough. It was Holly who put me onto Away. So we both have Away bags. They are durable. They are flexible. I am someone who, even if I'm going on a week-long trip out of the country, right, I still don't. And again, I'm a man. I'm not a lady. You guys have totally different requirements. But I'm someone who doesn't like to check a bag as much as possible. Even if I'm going to London, even if I'm going to like Sao Paulo for 5 days or whatever it was, like, so that luggage is really, really important. And I would also say like noise canceling headphones.
Yeah. Oh yeah. With you.
Somebody already said I love
the luggage thing.
Kind of. I mean, again, and I got kids. I got a 6-month-old, so I understand why you would need that.
The luggage thing it's interesting. That's what I was explaining to them is like normally I'm all about checking the bag because I overpack. But now that everybody's charging for bags and stuff, I'm like,
Correct.
no. I bought a nicer piece of carry-on / personal item luggage for this trip.
Excellent.
And I also bought one of those vacuum things.
Ooh,
so I'm hoping so I can still overpack. So if this goes well, then I'm never gonna check a bag again.
You know there's a movie and I need to double check it. No, it's not that one. It's got George Clooney in it.
Up in the Air.
Up in the Air, yes. Up in the Air is in. It's one of my favorite
Anna
movies.
Kendrick.
Yes, that was an early Anna Kendrick.
He just tosses her suitcase and he's like, no.
No, we
Get
cannot
your life
do this.
down.
Yeah.
You're talking about how much minutes you waste in an airport.
Correct.
Like messing around with stuff like that.
I hold that near and dear to my heart. I completely agree with the principle of that. You know, for me, I was once the young Anna Kendrick character, and you know, my sensei, my trainer was Howard Beck, who covers the NBA. We used to work together way. God, it feels weird to say, like almost 15 years ago at the New York Times. And this is my first time like traveling as a young up and coming adult. I was like 23, 24 at the time. And again, NBA schedule is even more difficult than NFL, obviously, because you're going on 4-game road trips. You know, 4 games in 6 days or 5 games in 9 days, depending on like if it's a West Coast swing. So you really got to get this stuff down. But yeah, headphones are a big deal. If you really care about your neck, I guess you could do a pillow. I've chosen not to go that route.
I don't care about my neck, I guess.
I really don't care about my neck either. But like, I understand people, in particular, like who don't like to be in, planes. You might want to have that. But luggage, which is like the first thing that they address in the Up in the Air movie, I completely agree. Like this is your life that you're bringing with you. You need it to be secure, sound, and able to get through multiple airports.
Sauce Gardner packing his bags to Indy. So yeah. What do you make of that trade, huh?
I love this woman. I love this woman so much. And if you don't know who I'm talking about, ladies and gentlemen, it's Carly.
Yep.
Like
Colts owner.
I love Carly Ursay. God,
it's
I
an
love
overpay though, right?
It's such like new ownership, hot new thing. Like I got control of the team now. It's. I mean, I hate to say it, but it feels a bit new ownership, knee-jerk reactions.
Another big trade in the NFL. The Jets have also traded away defensive tackle Quinnen Williams. He is now a Dallas Cowboy, according to
What are the Cowboys doing? All right, let's stick. We'll get to that trade.
Get to that in a second.
What the hell are the Cowboys doing? All right, sorry.
Well, they're out on Maisie Smith. We know that. Just insane. Hey, Jerry said we can't be losing to the Cardinals no more, baby. Give me everybody. Logan Wilson, the whole crew. Well, it's clear their defense sucks. So, I mean, I guess if you want to not deal with draft picks and deal with your scouting department, go ahead. When it comes to Carly, though, I do love this that, like, once again, Chris Ballard has found a way to, like, clear himself another year or two, because we got to see this through with Sauce Gardner. This is also very reminiscent of NBA trades, and I know Drew knows this pretty well, where you pay the guy
and then trade him?
And then you trade him.
No. The way they structured the contract, almost like they were planning this all along or something.
Hey, new administration, obviously with the new head coach. They are cleaning house because even though the Jets have talented players, it has not coalesced in anything substantial, even with the addition and the subtraction of Aaron Rodgers. So again, makes sense. Get a bunch of draft picks, build this up the natural way in the NFL, which is through the draft. You hope Aaron Glenn continues to motivate guys. I know for Chiefs fans specifically, they're like, well, if they got rid of Quinnen Williams, come on, Jermaine Johnson, come on. Brees Hall.
Seriously.
Like, yeah, I mean, you could.
Everyone's on the. They
There's
might
no
get
reason.
the
whole
whole
team's on the block.
There's no
y'all.
reason not to trade the other two guys now if you're the Jets. I mean,
That's my
you're
point.
ripping this thing down to the studs.
Yep, and look, we know
foundation. They might be taking it to the foundation.
Yeah,
I'm not sure they're leaving the studs.
the Jets have only one win. They don't have a quarterback. They have a first-year head coach. Tear it down. Totally get it. But I just love the fact that Carly understands that as of right now, the Colts are still the 1 seed, right? Even though they lost. So hey, you want to lean more on defense. You want to build the entire roster around Daniel Jones. I mean, that's not a terrible idea, but you're gonna look up in 2026, 2027, especially, and be like, we don't
better
have
be in some AFC title. Better be in some AFC title
and
games.
Is Daniel Jones? My question is Daniel Jones going to be the quarterback in 2027?
I think this tells you that they're signing him to an extension in the offseason.
But is he good enough to ensure him that he's going to be on the roster in 2027?
So some of this could be the Colts owner, but the fact that the Jags are one of the teams who made one of the bigger moves. Obviously, the two biggest moves came out of Dallas and, of course, Indianapolis. But the fact that it was the Jags and the Colts, and we see these others, I kind of feel like there might be a little more aggressiveness in the AFC because they think that there's an actual opening in the AFC for the first time in a million years. And they're saying, if there's a year to just throw all caution to the wind and take a shot at this thing, maybe it's when the Chiefs are 5-4 and don't quite look like themselves yet. And maybe there's if there's ever going to be a window in the let's get past Patrick Mahomes camp, maybe this is the season and let's find out if we can do it. I kind of thought maybe it was that. The Broncos made a small move, I think, for they're rumored to maybe make a small move.
They'll make a move by the
they'll make a move.
They'll make a move by the end of the trade deadline, is my understanding.
Will the Chiefs? I guess that's what people who are listening to this show want to know. I want Malik Collins. I think that's daydreaming. So can I get anybody? Is there a trade out there? Because trusting this defensive line right now. And I think teams have figured out to put them in base, and that's why Jaden Hicks can't get on the field.
Correct.
And they're exposing their linebackers. It just feels like they need a body on the defensive line to solve some of this.
It would definitely help. Now, I want to make sure people understand it's easier to acquire a running back based on draft pick compensation. The Chiefs, depending on what website you look at, don't have a ton of cap space. So that's why the Christian Fulton of it all becomes fascinating.
Yeah,
because
that would take that deal.
If someone is willing to take that deal, that could free up more cap space for you to make an addition where you actually going to play that guy on the field. I know there's a lot of concern amongst fans that are saying, "Hey, if Brett Veach and the front office do something, are they actually going to play that player in a way that's going to make a serviceable impact?"
Last year they didn't with Josh Uche.
Correct.
And I think it's very tough to crack through on Spags. I don't think it's a nothing. That's why I think defensive tackle matters. Defensive tackle, I don't think it would be a Spags thing. I think they're the starter by default immediately.
Correct.
As in, they don't have somebody else they can just make an excuse to play more than that player. At edge, they'll just still play Gelati. They'll still play Amenahue. It'll be hard to get the snaps.
Yeah, Dana's somewhere in the mix. Way. Yeah, I know. They need an extra edge rusher, in my opinion. I think that's what was most revealed, because you kind of knew the issues already with, Drew Tranquill, right? He's not in the prime of his career necessarily, but he's still a good, very useful football player. Chris Jones can still occupy double teams, as we saw late in the fourth quarter. He can still affect the quarterback that led to
Chris Jones.
Oh, of course not. No, he's still really good, guys. I know that there's numbers. I know there's metrics. It's the talent around him, right? He cannot, lift all boats in the same way he did in 2022. That would be asking a lot for a guy. But you would have hoped, even with signing him to a contract, that you were going to use a number of draft picks, and none of them have worked out outside of George Karlaftis. We'll see what happens with Ashton Gelati. They need to play him more to get him as much experience as possible. But look, Felix Enrique-Uzama, not on the team right now. He's on IR. Same with Omar Norman-Lott. Unfortunate, but that's what has happened. Charles Amenahue has not been as consistent as we've seen in the past.
He's been a better second half player, so I'm just hoping
you're hoping
for that.
Yeah, you're hoping.
Do the Chiefs view? I guess here's a question we had mentioned earlier in the show. They're 0-4 in one-loss games. They're 0-4 when teams score more than 20 points. which is weird for them.
Which is,
That's
right.
the opposite of everything they've been the entire Patrick Mahomes era. They are historically way better than normal
right.
in those spots. They have a winning record when teams score more than 30 against them. It doesn't under Mahomes. So that's surprising. Is there a thought internally of fear that why they're having more struggle against winning teams this year? They're 1-4 against winning teams.
Correct. Well,
teams actively in the playoffs. How about that?
The game script has not gone according to plan in the first half, and I think that puts a lot of burden on Mahomes, as we saw in those first 2 weeks. They had an awful first half against the Chargers. They had a chance to take the lead against the Eagles. We know that's when Kelsey dropped the touchdown pass that turned into basically a 14-point swing in the other direction. When it comes to Jacksonville, that's probably one of the more wild variant games that you can ever have, because they were up 14-0 and allowed Jacksonville to sort of hang around that game. Of course, we all know Chris Jones is not realizing the play was still going on. And then you have a team like Buffalo, who I need to give a ton of credit to, because I thought they did not play up to their talent for the past month. But it was clear to me that they were very much locked in, focused, motivated against knowing exactly how to attack the Chiefs, both offense and defense, and hoping that they would get a lead that they could sort of control the tempo of the game and obviously manage the pass rush ability and just managing the overall blitz intake that you're going to get from Steve Spagnuolo when you're not behind, when you're the one sort of dictating on first down. Obviously, James Cook is still a very good football player, but when you are ahead, Josh Allen doesn't feel the need to make mistake-worthy plays. He can be playing in more control. He can spread the ball around to more tight ends. What we are noticing is that the Chiefs don't get control by the second quarter. It is hard for them, for whatever reasons, and I've shared a few of them, it's hard for them to sort of take the reins back in the second half. And I think that's one of the reasons why they've lost these one-score games is they are not the team necessarily dictating. And at the same time, if you're a talented team like the Bills, well, now I can run on first, second, third down, because I still have fourth down with a giant quarterback who I'm more than comfortable giving the ball to on quarterback sneaks. And you're not comfortable doing that, which means you're playing at a disadvantage.
Do you got compensation for Quinnen Williams? This, by the way, it's funny because Sauce Gardner is their opponent.
I haven't seen it, and I'm not ready.
You ready?
So it's just funny because Sauce Gardner's their opponent 2 games from now.
Correct.
Quinnen Williams is now their opponent 3 games from now.
Yep.
So Broncos, I guess, go and add whatever future star jet they have. Garrett Wilson to the Broncos.
Every upcoming
right?
every upcoming opponent is added a key player. Now, Sauce Gardner, of course, with the Colts has multiple years remaining on his contract. Quinnen Williams has multiple years on his, but Jake Laser reporting final compensation is still being worked out. But as of now, the Cowboys are trading a second-round pick this year and a first next year for Quinnen Williams. And I understand he's under contract,
3 first
but
2 years from now and 2 first next
they're
year.
a 3-5-1 football team. Okay, they're a 3-5-1 football team, and they just gave up more draft picks for the defense.
In fairness, he said he was going to replace Micah Parsons with a star defensive lineman, and he certainly spent the capital they got from Micah Parsons on.
In order to do it.
He spent a little bit less because it's a first and a second, or second and a first versus a first and a first, but it's pretty close.
Parsons in a second for Williams and Clark.
But is that worth it?
And 2 first
pay
rounds.
No, that's what I was about to say, but at some point we have to sit Jerry Jones and say,
by the way, it's the Cowboys first they gave up, not the Packers first. So it's even worse.
Yeah, even worse.
You gave up the pick
Based
that's
on
going to
what we
be
know
worth.
about these 2 teams, yes.
The Packers are going to be picking 20-something. The Cowboys are going to pick 10 to 15 probably.
So again, we have to sit Jerry Jones down and say, who is the better player? Who is the more impactful player? It's Micah Parsons every time.
I know people want the Chiefs to be aggressive, but some of this stuff is crazy. Like our buddy Rich, Rich is a good dude, listens to the show on the station all the time. He said, hey, at least they're trying to get better. Can't say the same for the Chiefs. I mean, yes,
She's been at 3 Super Bowls in a row.
Come on now. You want Jerry Jones's mindset instead? Are you kidding me?
No, I don't. Again, Jerry, whatever interpersonal relationship you guys had, whether there was, legitimate friction, obviously, you didn't love that Micah Parsons had his own podcast or whatever. That dude is so talented, and no one's ever said, well, he doesn't play hard. It's not like he doesn't care about football. if you're willing to, and again, everybody said this, I'm not breaking new ground, but like if you're willing to pay Dak Prescott and CeeDee Lamb, you make a nice trade for George Pickens, so your offense is humming. Your offensive line has actually been better than I anticipated. Like, all you had to do was pay Micah Parsons, and you would have been functional on defense. The problem is Jacoby Brissett is knifing you down the field because you don't have a functional defense.
Nate, what are you hearing on the Chiefs as far as because I get all these moves. And look, I think earlier today I'd sent out a joking tweet that said, man, they're trading him. Trade for Quinn Williams, Chiefs. Like, kidding, but not kidding.
Not
but maybe,
kidding.
But maybe you don't think about it.
Not with that compensation.
So, well,
Making
in
up a
fairness,
second and a
I
first
sent that
rounder.
out before I knew what the compensation would be.
So,
but
yeah, go ahead.
The rumors is that I think that there might be some truth to this. The Chiefs aren't going to want to overuse draft capital because they see a roster rebuild in their future, and giving up too much at a trade deadline like this probably isn't worth the juice for them. Do you think that there's some truth to that?
Correct. Yeah. I mean, I don't know. I'm trying to be reasonable, ladies and gentlemen, and whether you like this or not, I'm sorry, but the Chiefs are not giving up a first or second round pick for anybody today.
They shouldn't.
No. No.
And so
I didn't think they would be in that market.
And so if you're asking me right now, based on the market, which again, kind of going crazy right now, because I thought this was
Jets are getting theirs.
I thought it was going to be a pretty mild trade deadline, to be honest. Now, no one maybe saw the Jets going like full on fire sale, or they obviously kept it a little closer to the vest. For the Chiefs, I think the highest they'll go is a 4th round pick that can conditionally turn into a 3rd round pick.
Okay.
There you go, ladies and gentlemen.
They're also getting Mozzie Smith, by the way, in that deal.
Yeah, because like I said, the
Jets
Cowboys are out on Mozzie Smith. We've known that for
he's a part of the deal.
A couple maybe a month now. I think that's been in the circles, as I should say.
Yeah.
So obviously the Jets will take on a rookie contract versus a contract that we just gave someone.
Have you heard any name, though? Like, again, I'm with you on the compensation. We've brought up like a Sebastian Day or whatever, Joseph or whatever his name is in Tennessee. That's like a 6th-round pick, probably compensation for him. Obviously, the Collins kid out of Cleveland, people have linked only because he's from Kansas City.
Right.
I feel like more than anything else.
He's getting sacks.
He is, but I think we make too much of the KC connection. I wouldn't mind him here, though. Are you hearing anything?
I mean, of course I'm hearing things.
Okay.
Guys.
Okay. All right.
Any other players we didn't just mention?
So Myles Garrett. Wow. Perfect. Got it figured out. Yeah.
Bradley Chubb.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
Look,
for the Dolphins, they should be They should be trading him.
You're talking about another local connection, right?
Exactly. Yeah.
But Bradley Chubb is someone that the Dolphins should not be keeping past.
Dolphins should be doing what the Jets are doing, honestly.
Well, they're in a bit of a strange situation because obviously they got rid of their general manager,
right?
And they're still trying to decide what they're going to do with Mike McDaniel. Obviously, they gave that money to Tua. You can call him, you can bug him. You can be annoying. I mean, I'm not saying you can be annoying. Look, if they go get Breece Hall, I mean, it'd be interesting.
I just don't think it solves their real problem.
Correct. Yeah, and that's no disrespect to Breece Hall. It's just their biggest priority needs to be how can we get to the quarterback, and not just a quarterback, I should say. How can we get to these above average quarterbacks that we know we're going to see if we're in the mix in January, like Justin Herbert.
Yeah.
Obviously Josh Allen, who you just saw and kind of exposed. I mean, look, guys, why did the Chiefs lose? Here's why they lost. You can say whatever you want to say about the offense, right? And Andy Reid's being ultra aggressive up until the point that it's like 4th and goal from the one right before halftime, even though you know you're getting the ball to start the second half. Forget all that, okay? The offense had a bad day. The offensive line, as we all know, kind of had his first performance of the season. You want to know why the reason you lost to the Bills, ladies and gentlemen? Josh Allen completed 23 of 26 passes.
Yeah.
All that tells me is either A, they were finding easy solutions, which, yes, i.e. tight ends, and B, you couldn't get consistent pressure on him to make him have more incompletions, let alone hitting him, sacking him, all those, without a blitz in the mix.
Two things on the defensive line. One, if they were to trade for a defensive lineman before 3 o'clock, How much different how much communication do they have with Steve Spagnuolo with this? Because last year, Uche, of course, never got on the field. I think we all agree. I don't care if they trade for somebody and they don't put them on the field, then it doesn't matter.
What are we doing? Right.
So that's where I'm at. Like, hey, if you're not going to find out that you're going to play him in a couple weeks, then I don't want them trading for a defensive lineman. And then the follow up to your Bradley Chubb, rumor that you're hearing.
I'm just saying.
Yeah, is I pulled up. No, I agree with. I pulled up his contract.
Yeah, I'm doing the same thing.
This seems like a no.
Well,
to explain the contract for me, how does this work?
They would have to eat some money.
$12 million the rest of the, or $12 million cap hit this year, $31 million next year, $31 million the following year. Potential out, there really is not one.
They'd have to eat some money.
Yeah, that's. And Chris Jones has a $48
I think it's why I like
million
Malik
cap
Collins. He's essentially nothing.
Let's be honest about the Chris Jones contract. You can move some things around.
Okay.
Next year.
Good, because they need to.
Yeah, and they know that. Yeah.
That number's high.
Yeah, they know that. I mean, I'm not again breaking new ground. Like it's you can look at a certain thing now and say, well, okay. I mean, honestly, because of the Jets, just go get Jermaine Johnson, man.
There's rumors that they're talking there. I think the rumor from maybe it was Rappaport, I don't know if it was Pelissaro, is that they've been offered a second for him. Now, if that's the price tag, I don't think the Chiefs are interested.
Come on.
I also think that that's probably the Jets GM claim.
Correct. I mean, come on.
You're not trading him for a second, then.
No,
that was
I
like
would
the same
tell
rumor
no team to trade him for a second-round pick.
Same rumor that the Bengals were asking for a first for Trey Hendrickson. I'm like, yeah, and what? Like in the Miracle Land this 2 years ago? Like, no. You can ask for whatever you want.
I need to double check this. Did the Jets do the fifth-year option on Jermaine Johnson? God, there's a lot of players I need to look.
Jets do now have 2 first-round picks next year, 2 second-round picks next year, and 3 first-round picks in 2027. So
hey, they're doing great.
If they want Fernando
Full-on
Mendoza, they're not
rebuild.
going to have any trouble getting whatever quarterback they want.
Look, so yes, what team is willing to eat money? Again, as I've said before, guys, you're not playing Christian Fulton. So how can you get out of that deal?
They did exercise the 5th-year option on Jermaine.
Okay, just wanted to double check that. So there is some now. Again, it jumps up a little bit, but you could manage that. The big question that I don't think people are talking about enough is, you gave Christian Fulton a real contract, and this man has not played. And I don't think the defense has necessarily suffered because he hasn't played. Again, I think it's more pass rush than coverage.
But teams are looking for corners.
Correct. So
lots of teams.
So if you can't do it today, that would be quite the like not only did we pay him, and he was kind of out of the mix early in training camp, but he came back. He's been largely a professional. He's been available at times this season. Now, hey, you made an investment in Noah Williams. Noah Williams, I thought, has been everything you could ask for a rookie cornerback as you're trying to bring him up slowly in the Steve Spagnuolo system for a rookie. Are you going to play him, though? Like, if you're not going to play him and you've already paid him and he can't go somewhere else where he has a better chance of playing. And, again, if you trade Christian Fulton, whatever the divvy up on the money is, that would give you more cap space to maybe acquire someone that can play for you.
So what are we talking from a draft pick? 6th?
Oh, I mean,
conditional 7th.
It's a bag of balls.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. Like a conditional 7th round pick.
But if he's not playing for you anyway, it's
correct.
I understand.
Right? It's a salary dump.
I just worry the depth. It's the NFL. All of a sudden, Jalen Watson gets hurt. Then just all of a sudden, you're getting really thin. Like as much as it seems like they got depth.
I think they play Knowles before they played Fulton at this point. The same as they played.
Well,
Clyde
Knowles already playing.
Mitchell.
Yeah, Knowles already playing.
But I understand your point, Alex, to where it's like, hey, you're one injury away from being. And again, let me just remind people, Najee Johnson's ready, guys. He's just ready to come off IR. Just ready.
Okay.
You want to see Najee Johnson again? I'm just saying.
Yeah.
I've seen him in the locker room. He is available.
Let's keep talking about this. I want to get your thoughts also on Josh Simmons, who reportedly is back in Kansas City. We got a lot to get to. It's trade deadline day in the NFL.
This is Cody and Gold on your new home for K-State Athletics. 96.5, The Fan. Brought to you by Heartland Men's Health, the leader in men's sexual health. Thousands of men have been successfully treated for low T, ED, and more, all with discretion and compassion. Make your appointment at heartlandmenshealth.com.
FanDuel is putting you in control right from NBA tip-off because every day to start the season, you get to choose your reward. Take your shot with a profit boost. You can play it cool with a no-sweat bet or get a little backup with a bet-back token. I like the no-sweat bets. Gives you an opportunity tonight for some NBA action, and you can make your pick. Get in the game and play it your way. Head to FanDuel.com/Alex to make your choice. FanDuel's the official sportsbook of the NBA and 96.5 The Fan. 21 and President, Kansas, opt-in required. Rewards are non-withdrawable. Restrictions apply, including bonus and token expiration, leg requirements, and max wager amount. See terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. FanDuel is offering online sports wagering in Kansas under an agreement with Kansas Star Casino, LLC. Gambling problem? Getting help is your best bet. Call 1-800-522-4700 or visit ksgamblinghelp.com.
This is Jeff for Heartland Men's Health, where we've successfully treated thousands of men for low testosterone and helped them feel like their old selves again. Please take a moment and listen to how we help this patient.
Hi, this is Doug. I'm a patient with Heartland Men's Health. I've been doing low T treatment for just under a year now. I've always dedicated my life to work. I've always found the time to go to gym. I'm 46 years old. My energy level has been on a roller coaster. With work, when we would have like long, stressful meetings, I would notice that I was very exhausted and drained afterwards. And with the low T treatment, I'm not as stressed. I started to feel a lot more level-headed. The roller coaster kind of went away. I think Heartland Men's Health, they really have it figured out. The professional staff, I think it's a wonderful treatment for men of any age. And it's definitely a benefit I'm going to continue.
Thank you. It's true. Your initial appointment includes blood work and a medical consult. And if you start on testosterone the day of your appointment, your visit is free. Call 844-447-6600 or go to heartlandmenshealth.com.
I woke up this morning feeling like I was coming down with something. Cough, congestion, headache. My first thought was, nope, this can't happen. I have big plans this weekend. So I took Mucinex Kickstart. It provides all-in-one and done relief with a morning jolt of instant cooling sensation. Thanks to Mucinex Kickstart, I didn't even need to cancel my weekend plans. If you start feeling cough and congestion coming on, take Mucinex Kickstart for relief with a kick. At your favorite retailer. Use as directed.
All right, gentlemen, this is Emmett Smith on behalf of Depend, and I've got the perfect play. Run straight to your doctor's office for a life-changing catch. Because when prostate cancer is caught early, it's up to 99% treatable, and one blood test might be all it takes. And now through November, Depend is donating to the Prostate Cancer Foundation for select purchases. Talk about a great play.
From September 1st to November 30th, Depend is donating 25 cents to the Prostate Cancer Foundation for Depend Shields Guards Real Fit products purchased in the U.S. up to a maximum of $300,000 or in Mississippi.
BetMGM is coming soon to Missouri. On November 17th, sports fans in Missouri can pre-register and get up to $1,500 paid back in bonus bets if their first bet loses. Plus, an additional $100 in bonus bets if they deposit before December 1st. Enjoy a betting app that was designed for game day with features like live bets, same-game parlays, BetMGM reward points, and surprise boosts dropping in your account all throughout the season. It's everything a sports fan could want in one app. Pre-registration is coming soon to Missouri on November 17th. BetMGM, make it legendary. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. See BetMGM.com for terms. 21 and older only. Missouri only. New customer offer. Subject to eligibility requirements and minimum deposit of $10. Bonus bets are non-withdrawable and expire in 7 days. Please gamble responsibly. Pending BetMGM's licensure as a mobile sports wagering operator with the Missouri Gambling Commission register for a Missouri online sports wagering account 1117. BetMGM's insurance of welcome offer is conditional on full license.
This is the story of the one. As a maintenance supervisor at a manufacturing facility, he knows keeping the line up and running is a top priority. That's why he chooses Grainger. Because when a drive belt gets damaged, Grainger makes it easy to find the exact specs for the replacement product he needs. And next day delivery helps ensure he'll have everything in place and running like clockwork. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Morning, Zoe. Got donuts.
Jeff Bridges, why are you still living above our garage?
Well, I dig the mattress, and I want to be in a T-Mobile commercial like you. Teach me, Saldana.
Oh, no, I'm not really prepared. I couldn't possibly. At T-Mobile, get the new iPhone 17 Pro. On them, it's designed to be the most powerful iPhone yet and has the ultimate pro camera system.
Wow, impressive. Let me try. T-Mobile is the best place to get iPhone 17 Pro because they've got the best network.
Nice, Jeffrey.
You heard them. T-Mobile is the best place to get the new iPhone 17 Pro on us with eligible trade-in in any condition.
So, what are we having for lunch?
Dude, my work here is done.
The 24-monthly bill credits on experience beyond for well-qualified customers plus tax and $35 device connection charge. Credits ended. Balance due if you pay off earlier. Cancel. Finance agreement. iPhone 17 Pro, 256 gigs, $1,099.99, and new line minimum $100 plus a month plan with auto pay plus taxes and fees required. Best mobile network in the U.S. based on analysis by Ookla Speed Test Intelligence data 1H2025. Visit T-Mobile.com.
This is the story of the one. As a custodial supervisor at a high school, he knows that during cold and flu season, germs spread fast. It's why he partners with Grainger to stay fully stocked on the products and supplies he needs, from tissues to disinfectants to floor scrubbers. All so that he can help students, staff, and teachers stay healthy and focused. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Sports fans, listen up. 1 in 8 men will be diagnosed with prostate cancer, and bladder leaks can be a side effect. That's why Depend is teaming up with the Prostate Cancer Foundation to encourage screening. Because health is a long game, and it's yours to win. Now here's the cool part. Through November, Depend is contributing up to $300,000 to prostate cancer research by donating 25 cents for every purchase of Depend shields, guards, and Real Fit products. Void in Mississippi. Learn more at Depend.com.
Chiefs coverage brought to you by Andy's Frozen Custard. Visit eatandys.com to find the location nearest you. Top your day with a smile.
Let me tell you about my good friend Andy from Andy's Frozen Custard. He's from Kansas City, never misses a game, and serves the world's finest frozen custard. Tailgate with a pick six, or grab a freshly made custom treat before or after a game. And tell him Mitch and Andy sent you.
You're listening to 96.5 The Fan from the DM Injury Law Studios. Mike's got this.
Back here on Cody and Gold. A lot of stuff going on. It makes it fun around the office. We got Rob Brendan here talking some football with us as well. Nate Taylor from ESPN joining us 90 minutes, less than 90 minutes away from the NFL trade deadline. Nothing new happened during the break. Just rumors that are out there. Nothing new. Nobody else got traded during the break. But my guess is before we kind of. The next 25 minutes, my guess is another trade happens in the NFL though. So we'll see. Real quick though, Josh Simmons update. Where are we at? He's in Kansas City?
Yes.
Okay, that's a great sign.
He's back with the team.
He'll be available in a week and a half against the Broncos.
That's definitely a possibility.
Right.
Especially, we'll learn more next week when the team comes back off the bye about the severity of Jawan Taylor's injury.
But he can't practice. He can't be at the facility, right? NFLPA stuff prevents him from working with the team officials, right? Like he's not allowed to work with. I thought it was like they're not allowed to work with Nagy. They're not allowed to work with Reed. It's a design like separate, be apart. Is it not that way? Maybe a little more gray than I'm giving it.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, I'll give it a little more gray. Let's be fair to Josh. So, again, whatever he is dealing with personal, family-wise, hopefully that has been cleared up and he's in a better situation. Him returning to the facility yesterday does make it a possibility that he could be available for next week's game against the Denver Broncos. That will largely depend on Jawan Taylor's situation. It was tough to see even someone like Trey Smith play through, obviously not being 100% against the Bills.
It was a tough day on the offensive line.
Correct.
And nobody practiced that week because Trey was hurt and they just had a bunch of different stuff. So nobody was practicing together.
So with that said, again, I don't know how quickly you can reacclimate him to football shape. Again, he has not been practicing. Josh Simmons specifically has not been practicing for almost a month now. There's a whole weight and conditioning standpoint. There's an endurance. There's obviously the playbook has, it sort of morphs during the course of the season. There's new concepts, new plays, new protection schemes based on what you see on film against the upcoming opponent. So there's a little bit of a mental side to this too in terms of getting just reacquainted, obviously getting the timing right with your teammates. I'm not saying like it's a for sure thing that's going to happen that he plays against Denver, but it's a possibility.
If he played, would he start? Or would that only be if Jawan Taylor couldn't go?
Right. I think that's the clearest path towards him playing is like for some reason Jawan Taylor needs a few more weeks. You would obviously slide Jalen Moore to right tackle. You put Josh Simmons at left tackle and just see how he does in his first game back. I think there's some case that, hey, well, what happens if Jawan Taylor is available against the Denver Broncos, and you still have Jalen Moore at the left tackle. Okay, well, that means Josh Simmons can still be active. He can still dress. He could be sort of in case of an emergency situation, right? I mean, one of the reasons why things kind of fell apart offensively is once Jawan Taylor left, and again, he wasn't having a great day already, but you put in, Wanya Morris, and Wanya Morris in clear passing situations is kind of a 50-50. It's basically what the numbers turned out to be. Like Gregory Rousseau got pressure on half his snaps.
He was pressuring half his snaps
against Wanya Morris, and I think that's a pretty okay. Well, in a game where it's fourth down, I know I'm going after the quarterback. A replacement level player will give up pressure on half those snaps. So maybe if it's against Denver, if something were to happen to Jawan Taylor, if it re-aggravates, if something goes on with Jalen Moore, you would at least put in a higher threshold of player in Joshua Simmons than obviously what we saw in the fourth quarter in Buffalo.
It might be small because he was being pressured a lot, but there were 2 or 3 snaps still that I was surprised that Mahomes left a pocket early last year. It only took one game, Nate, for him to have the yips back there for a minute.
Mm-hmm.
And a couple of times in that game when he abandoned too early.
Right.
Earlier than he should have. And that was a problem last year when the offensive line was about getting him killed every time.
Yep.
And it took a half of football against the Bills, and he started going. And I think you can always tell. The Chiefs games in which they're going to lose or it feels that way, Mahomes plays in a very frantic almost style where it's hero ball.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying he shouldn't do anything to try to win, but it turns to hero ball or whatever, and he starts flooding the pocket and trying to throw the ball 50 yards down the field or something. The one I'm thinking of is the one where he tried to hit Hollywood, kind of down to whenever. He left that pocket and it was clean.
Correct. And there was only about 2 guys rushing initially with a little bit of a looper and a spy to prevent you from just the Bills are please stay in the pocket. But hey, if you leave the pocket, we at least have a guy ready to sort of meet you at that angle. That's the first drive coming out at halftime, which is also not great.
And he was getting, they were getting pressure in the first half. There's no doubt.
Yes. And they had an interesting plan where they were using more linebackers, guys in 2-point stances to sort of, pick off certain angles or sort of close certain angles against again, Trey Smith or Jawan Taylor, just to give them an extra thing to think about, where could Creed sort of help left or right. Hard to tell sometimes for him based on where the Chiefs were in terms of shotgun and their overall protection. Part of this is also game plan issue where, again, on some end, I understand what the Chiefs were trying to do because they wanted to go down the field against a secondary that has not been good this season.
They ran a lot of deep routes, yeah.
They ran a lot of deep routes. But, of course, in order for that to happen, you would, like to be in control of the game in terms of the game script and the scoreboard, and you would need more sound protection for your quarterback to take that extra half second, that 2.5 to 3.5, to get somebody to open up more easily for the ball to be delivered on time. Once it was clear that the protection was not going to present that to you, the Chiefs didn't really have that many off-speed pitches to go towards. They ran one possible screen, which immediately got blown up for Brashard Smith, but that's the only time they tried it. There's a few times where Mahomes could have checked it down to Kareem Hunt, but again, he's looking more down the field, trying to get someone like Hollywood, Xavier, Rashee Rice open. It's amazing what they did on 4th and 17.
That was so easy.
Despite them having multiple issues with giving the quarterback time so that the quarterback could settle, have his feet, be in the proper place to deliver the football on time. The game plan was The game plan left a lot. The game plan left a lot to be desired, especially when you knew you were coming out of halftime down 21-13. Like, this cannot be like we're just gonna spread them out and just like fire it all over the place. They're actually waiting on you to do that, and that's why the quarterback has to hold the ball and why he sort of got out of rhythm within himself based on what we've seen the previous 8 games.
Nate, the Chiefs are still, believe it or not, Super Bowl favorites, divisional favorites. As well, co-favorites to win the AFC, despite sitting at 5-4, despite being out of the playoff picture. They got a minimum to get in the playoffs, be a game better than the Jags the rest of the way, with the way the standings currently sit.
Yep.
What's your feeling on just their standing in the division and the postseason. I said, I'm very worried about the division. The Broncos game is everything. Playoffs, I'm not worried at all still.
You're not so, it's Broncos or nothing?
You think
You're not a buyer of Bo Nix.
Hold on. You think seriously, you think they can lose to Denver, drop to 5-5, and still win the division?
Yeah.
Can you talk me through that?
You must hate Bo Nix.
I kind of do.
Let's just start
it's
there.
every week where it's like, the problem with Bo Nix, who is a talented quarterback.
He looks terrible for 3 quarters every game.
He's so inconsistent. He must drive Sean Payton kind of insane, but at the same time, unlike Russell Wilson, you do know Bo Nix can deliver in the fourth quarter. That's probably been the most impressive thing about Bo Nix when he's not playing someone like the Cowboys defense before they made all these moves. But it's like, Houston has a good defense. I want to make that clear. But also, why you look this bad in the second and the third quarters of these games? And if it were not for Davis Mills being in the lineup, you guys would be in a more precarious situation. We obviously saw that with the Giants, where he had to have a miracle performance in the fourth quarter, and everything essentially kind of had to go right for the Broncos to win that game. It sucks that they don't have, that we won't have Patrick Surtain for this game. That will be the more interesting. I think the more interesting matchup of the two teams will actually be on Christmas Day. But there's a chance for them to win the division, even if now you make it harder on yourself. I'm not disagreeing with that, but it could come down to week 17, week 18, because again, the Chiefs finished the year, if you're wondering, ladies and gentlemen, at home against the Broncos on Christmas. Then you have the Raiders to end the season in Las Vegas. Who knows what in the world they'll be playing for? They might actually sit guys for obviously, the understandable reasons of like, hey, we don't want to get anybody hurt as we, enter year 2 under Pete Carroll. So, I mean, I would still like the Broncos to. Now, one thing that I do respect about the Broncos is they are 4-0 at home, so it's not going to be an easy game. I totally understand that.
And they're getting a mini bye. The Chiefs aren't getting the full bye advantage.
Correct, because they play Thursday night against the Raiders. Now, hey, let's see if they can cover Brock Bowers, because did you see that guy? My God.
He is.
Now, I may not like Bo Nix. Man, Brock Bowers is incredible.
How much different Geno Smith looked with just one
guy?
Yeah. just all it took.
And by the way, it was like the Jags didn't know. It's like, hey, Brock Bowers is out there. We cannot cover this man. So look, they have I think they'll beat the Raiders, we assume. I think the Chiefs obviously can beat the Broncos. It does get a little bit tricky because they will face the Raiders again on the road. Then they have the Packers, the Jaguars, the Chiefs, the Chargers. Not a great 5-game stretch in the season. But you're telling me that the Broncos are going to go 15-2, even if they win?
No.
Yeah. So I mean, I think this team is, give them credit. They've won the games they're technically supposed to win, but their schedule will get harder, and the Chiefs could go 5-5, and then would I be shocked if they just ran the table from that point on? No, I wouldn't be shocked. Their schedule,
these are the 2 toughest games remaining on their schedule.
At
Denver and at home versus the Colts.
Maybe, I don't know, that game. That Thanksgiving Day game. I
mean, they got better with Quentin Williams today. I'll give them that. Yeah. Like for this year, they got
and
better.
it's on. I mean, again, it's
Short
a quicker
week,
turnaround. It's on the road. It's on a holiday. Like
it's hard because I just watched Dallas get their ass kicked by Jacoby Brissett.
I
so
understand.
It's not a great day to try to convince me that game's
right.
tough. But I got.
But again, Dak Prescott. I mean, the outside of their terrible 4th down plays last night and their turnovers. Dallas still has a very capable offense, so they can stay in the game.
Yeah,
is all I'm saying. And again, like, beating the Cowboys on Thanksgiving Day is not easy just because they inherently have an advantage with that game always being on their schedule and you, the opponent, having to go there. So it's the next 3-game stretch is really fascinating to me because of course I can see them going 3-0. I mean, it could be very similar to what we saw when the Chiefs came back after the Jacksonville Jaguar game. We like, what in the world was that? And then they just, won, they swept their 3-game homestand. So they can still win the division if they lose to the Broncos, but they would have to go on a run after that. And again, they are more than capable doing that. We'll just see if they make a move between now and 3 o'clock. But I would still pick them to beat the Broncos. I just know that game's going to be, that game will be difficult.
Feels like it's going to be 24-21 or 27-24. It's going to feel like a dogfight, I feel like. The Broncos.
Yeah.
By the way, just as we're talking, Nate, I'm sure you've probably heard some of this as well, but Diana Rossini just reported a few minutes ago that the Jets are seeking a 3rd-round pick for Breece Hall.
Yeah,
So
that's
take
what
a 4th.
Hey, somebody asked you guys during the break.
Would you take a 3rd?
Would you
That's
trade
exactly
a 3rd?
what you asked.
Yep. So I mean, look.
And I said nope.
Well, there you go, kids. Hey, ladies and gentlemen, the Chiefs don't feel comfortable about a 3rd-round pick. Now, look, if you feel like you got to do it, or if you want to be a conditional thing, like I said earlier in the
4th
hour,
that turns into a 3rd if we go to the Super Bowl, that kind of thing.
yeah, I mean, like now, I don't think other teams would be thrilled with that because they saw that the Chiefs did go to the Super Bowl and they didn't play DeAndre Hopkins 50% of the snaps, and so you were betting against yourself. The Chiefs have proven that they can, manipulate some things when it comes to like a conditional situation.
And that was a 6th or 5th. I mean, that wasn't even like they were playing small ball.
And they still got away with it. So yeah, I asked you guys during the break. I love Diana Rossini, by the way. Kind of miss being her teammate from time to time. But, she's right on it. I mean, it's why I asked you guys, would you give him a 3rd-round pick? Like, that's the easier option. I don't know what's going to go on with Jermaine Johnson. That's been a little bit trickier to figure out. But, yeah, ladies and gentlemen, would you give up a 3rd-round pick that maybe, possibly, could be a conditional 4th-round pick for Breece Hall? That's where we stand right now.
I mean, most people are saying Jordan Schultz is reporting he wants to be traded. Multiple reports suggested that they weren't likely to trade him. But, I mean, he just sent out the ellipses.
Right. He is floating in the wind.
I'd want to be traded, too.
Correct.
I mean, because, like, if you're Breece Hall.
What are we doing?
This is running back. You only get 4 years in the NFL of guaranteed production. That's it. That's it at running back.
You tell me I could be on the Chiefs? Or the blank?
One of those years was wasted on the Jets last year. This year with the Jets is going to be even worse. What, I got to wait 2-3 years for your rebuild when you got all your 1st and 2nds? By that time, I might not be a running back that matters. If you're Breece Hall, you got to get way the hell out.
To your point.
Yeah, that's why he wants to be traded. Yeah.
To your point, Cody, lovely friend Jordan Schultz.
Yeah, just now. Yeah.
Wait, you just get traded?
No, he just said
Breece Hall wants out.
A little over an hour ago, but Breece, quote, wants to be
out. Hey, man. Cut me.
I just about given up. I understand the extension part of it too, but
so,
I'm not giving up.
Breece Hall is now a 4th-round pick, buddy.
Yeah, seriously. I don't want to give up.
No more 3rds for you because you want to be out.
A 3rd-round pick for 10 games of Breece Hall.
Somebody said, don't let the trade deadline distract us that Tom Brady cloned his dog.
Yeah.
Which, by the way, that is not honoring your original dog.
Exactly.
What are you doing, sir?
I agree.
Like, come on, man. Again.
I also just feel like nobody watched Pet Sematary and not trying to set themselves up for failure.
What are you doing? Get another dog, another breed.
Someone says, I'll treat it like a different dog. I'm like, but it's the same dog.
It's the same dog. Come on.
Good
I mean,
gene.
it's not the same dog, but we know what we're saying. Like, no. If Lord Willie, my dog will be just fine. But if Maple were to somehow perish,
and you just got a new puppy,
I'm not getting another mini golden doodle.
You're getting a new dog.
Yes.
You're not cloning that one.
Come on, guys.
Nate, I know we don't have that much time left, and there's one other thing I swore to the audience I would get your opinion on.
Okay.
I am under the belief that Victor Wembanyama would be an excellent red zone threat inside the 5-yard line. Your thoughts?
I said he.
Sign. Hey, can we teach him how to run a fade?
He can also block
Nate,
a kick.
I said he'd just get pressed and mugged like no other at the line of scrimmage. He's skinny.
But he's so
skinny.
tall. But he's so tall, the ref has to throw the flag because he's so tall. You're like, come on, man.
Think
You're
about
tackling him within 5 yards.
Someone said they'd be pressing. Do you know where he'd be pressing? Think about the height here.
His sternum. That's what he'd be pressing.
Maybe.
Get out of here.
He'd be reaching up like a little kid for upsies, trying to push him on the sternum.
Can you imagine if
I think he might be able to catch a ball without jumping and catch a touchdown.
You
the highest vert and a 6 foot tall guy. He might be able to stand there.
Hey, we watched. Did Jimmy Graham have a basketball background? Right?
People mentioned Willie Cauley-Stein was an all-state wide receiver in this town.
Yeah, Jimmy Graham played in college.
Yeah, I mean, come on. Like, now, I don't know if his 40 times going to be the same, but Jimmy Graham was 6'7", 6'8" on a good day, and was working people in the red zone.
I'm talking red zone on a Super Bowl Sunday, 1 day contract, Wemby.
1 day contract.
Line him up in the corner.
Cody, if you had the ball at the 1 yard line, he could get pressed all as long as he can reach the arm over top of his shoulder and get a ball.
Yes.
He doesn't even have to cross the end zone.
It's literally the example of Space Jam when his arms are just all stretched out and he just reaches into the hoop. But he can do that with a football over the end zone. Throw on the one, it's an instant touchdown.
Yeah, I mean, I love the idea of like, can we get him to run slants? Just in breaking routes, nothing out breaking, but just like in breaking routes. Yeah, exactly.
No, not gonna let him off the line of scrimmage, man.
How are you gonna do that? By the way, people, I need people to realize
inside 5 yards, Nate.
Victor Wembanyama is stronger than you think, guys. Just because he looks like that, don't mean he ain't strong. All right, like
and we're acting like the 6 foot corner's not strong either.
Okay,
I'm saying he's not strong.
Sure.
Well, now Wemby's the strongest player known on earth.
That's not what I'm saying. This all came up because I said if we were cloning a quarterback, I wouldn't clone Tom Brady. I'd clone a more athletic quarterback.
Right. You clone
that. You
clone like Cam Newton.
I said I'd clone LeBron James and just make him a quarterback.
But I don't know.
Because I think the best
does LeBron
athletes
have
in the
the
NBA.
arm accuracy though? That'd be the problem. Like he
you
might
put
be
LeBron at wide receiver, and he's Calvin Johnson.
Correct. Yeah, LeBron at tight end is probably a more serviceable comparison. The idea though, the idea that we can clone anyone, I'm like, I don't know, guys. In terms of arm strength, accuracy, mobility, breaking tackles, short yardage situations, I might want to claim